Hey everyone.
52!
Okay. Oh, this is bad. Hold on.
What?
Fucking screen's weird. Hold on. Dell. Take off window capture. There we go. Now we're playing video games.
I think you might be able to, like, full screen it.
This is full screen.
Really? Oh.
Actually, that's a lot better. But then how will they know who's speaking?
Oh. Alright, I get you. Never mind. You can leave it like that then.
Yeah.
Oh.
I swear, the Make 52 looks so seamless.
I know, right?
I can only dream of playing 52 like that.
I know, right? They make 52 look smooth.
$15 more minutes.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm gonna shit myself out of excitement. Damn, we could play like 2 games while we wait.
Do we want to risk it?
Not really.
Because then we can get into 2 like really long games.
That's true. So true.
I'm sorry. This song's gonna get catchy after 5 minutes of play. Welcome to...
Now you on Google.
No. Stop this for a sec. Go over here. Turn it back on. There you go. I'm docs proof.
This is gonna be crazy. What if Jackpot just loses?
I mean, do you want them to win?
I kind of want them to win, yeah, but I'm also rooting for Unadon because I have the off meta comp.
Right. I would like it if Jackpot won. I would like it if any of these teams won. I don't really hate any other team.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that. I think it'd be cool if something off meta won.
That's very valid.
But who's to say what will happen? So true.
Something like that. I think that's how that goes. Oh, dude, do you think the servers are gonna be dead right now? Or do you think people like play Splatoon and watch Worlds at the same time?
It's really hard to say because like there is a bunch of casual players.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
this is probably gonna be like, what's a tournament?
Yeah, there's some people that don't even know Worlds are happening. But you know, I wouldn't say it's gonna be dead. Because like you said, there might be people that are like that have the stream on one monitor and you know their game on the other.
Right. Oh, what happened?
Oh, it's just it's the actual stream. I didn't do anything, I swear.
I'm so happy I didn't click off.
This is so hype.
Guys, they're sitting down! They're sitting down! Holy! They're in their gaming setups!
Dude, I'd be so nervous to play, like, in front of so many people, you know?
Dude, if we ever did that, just play Splatoon, but in front of, like, 50 million people?
Even when it lands is, like, nerve-wracking. The screaming is so real.
The fucking... That's what I'm saying, I love Kaiser so much. Oh yeah, they should go without saying. Please don't copyright me. This is not mine.
Excuse me?
Uh-huh.
Am I gonna have to find another stream?
Is there closed captions? What she said.
No. I mean... Should I find another stream? What the fuck? Or should we just watch this one?
I mean, isn't this just a Nintendo stream?
Yeah.
I don't think like any other version is like publicly available right now.
Alright. I know. I think there's someone. Nah, this is fine.
I'm listening respectfully.
Me too.
This is like when I was learning Spanish. Like someone will speak to me in Spanish and I'll be like, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sí.
See, and then ja.
改めてもう本当にマッチアップ自体で言ったら12345マッチアップで終わってしまうのでどうぞ皆さん最後まで
Why small fry hitting backshots on Grisco?
What
the fuck? That's very interesting.
And welcome into
Let's
day
go!
two of
Yeah!
World
English
Championship
sweep!
2024. Jordan Kent, your spray-by-spray host. And joining me, we've got Nine, our
Why is he-
lead Splatalist for all of the action that'll
Why
take
is he
place
kinda
here
cute?
today.
What the hell?
Nine yesterday.
He's
we
happy to
went
be there.
Round robin in the groups as far as finding our seeding as we get set for the ranked modes. And today we will crown a champion. And from what we saw yesterday, the competition is going to be fierce, and these teams are really playing their best Splatoon that we've seen all year from them.
Yeah, it was a tantalizing taste yesterday, Jordan, and I can tell you all of the teams today have been pacing around. They have been staring holes in the wall. They are ready, and they're going to put on their best.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got quarterfinals action, semifinals action, and then finals as well, too. And we've got a tournament format that we'll get to here in just a moment to give you an idea. And as you look at the screen, we talked about the group stages that gave everybody their rankings coming in, and now today we have our championship bracket. A couple of teams will have buys to that semifinal.
They're going
We've
straight
got
to
4
quarters?
teams in the quarterfinals. We'll
Hmm.
get the action going here, and as you take a look at the schedule throughout the day, we've got our quarterfinals at 10:10 p.m. Pacific time, and then at 11:45 p.m. Pacific time, our semifinals, and then at 1
Quarterfinals is like in
brew another cup of
10
coffee.
minutes.
We have got our finals, and we will
Damn.
have a champion.
Am I really gonna be up this
set
long?
to dawn a new day.
We're gonna have to.
Different set of
Yeah,
rules
we are.
throughout the championships. Our round robin was a little bit
Who would
different.
we
Just a
be as
reminder,
content
all
creators if we
weapons and
didn't
gear,
stick it?
Primary gear abilities only?
The game language will
Bro?
be English, and then voice chat. Of course, you have to have it on. How else could you communicate with your team at that point? And then as you take a wider look at all of the rules here, your
Bluefin?
quarterfinals will be best of 3,
Eastern time,
semifinals
right?
best of
All right,
3,
EDT and
our
EST are the
first
same
team to
thing.
3 wins there.
We're
Yeah.
fine.
And then our finals will be the first team to 4 victories, which is a best of
I had
7.
to, I had to like
And these
I had to
are
like Google check
pre-defined
myself.
stages and modes, and that was something, Nine, that we talked about. These teams have had all sorts of time to prepare specifically.
Oh, that's
for the modes
right.
and the stages
They
to
gotta get
surprise
Turf War out there.
No surprises and no excuses either. This has been publicly available to all the teams that have been competing, and for the more versatile teams out there, it's going to give them a real opportunity to hone in on their strengths on these given maps and modes.
Let's focus in on the quarterfinals, and here is how the
Oh my
quarterfinals
god.
will take
Bluefin
place.
Zones is
Flat zones of
diabolical.
Bluefin Depot First Tower Control and Ship Cargo Company. Say that 5 times fast. And then Rainmaker and Robo Ramen. And then if necessary, again,
All right, I like that.
Split
Shipshape Cargo Company. Say that 5 times fast.
Turf War at Moss
Literally
Park.
AI-generated map list.
2 to 3 wins will be
Why
victory.
Clan Blitz Surgeon?
Let's
Like,
check
out of
out
all the
bracket after
fucking...
all of the action yesterday. It was Jackpot from Group A. They got the #1 seed with 2
I don't hate it.
and
I don't love it either.
From Japan, Group B, they also got the other bye. That means Kaiser, the representatives from Europe, will take on Unadon, the representatives from Korea, in our very first quarterfinal.
So
After
Jackpot
that,
and
the
Phantom
Greasy
get, like,
Goblins, a surprise
extra prep
victory. They
time?
played very well yesterday. They get the #2 seed in Group A.
Right?
They basically, they have more chances to win based on seeding.
That sounds about right. Steam is doxing me. Go on.
And you look at really all of the teams that we have here, Nine, and what stood out is Kaiser surprised themselves with how they played in Turf War. Phantom Thief looked really dominant in Turf War as well, too. Jackpot looked a little vulnerable as well. Leads to a lot of excitement today as there's no clear heavy.
What did finals look like again?
Happen to some of these top teams.
Yeah, and that's
I forgot.
game, right? Is depending on the map, depending on the mode and how you prep for it, things can
I don't want to like
very,
go
very
back into.
quick.
Actually, hold on.
Joined us yesterday, we discussed
I'll have
in
the stream on a
Turf War,
separate
you really
screen,
wanna wait for those
and then I'll
last
check.
30 seconds, that big firecracker moment, if you will. In all these modes, that can happen at any point. They are not going to be one caught slipping.
One thing that you pointed out yesterday with Turf War, you can make this huge push early in the match. However, when you get to ranked modes, that huge push you make could be the only push you need to make. You don't have to play all 3 phases. That's going to change a lot of strategy here.
Well, yeah, you get to keep your best score, which is pretty nice.
So
Of
it's
course, the
Tower
opponent
Zones,
certainly has an
Clams,
opportunity to have a sporting chance and, you know, beat that score as
Rain
time goes on.
Zones,
But in
Tower,
Turf War, if you go out to
then
a
Turf War.
lead, you are playing until the end
Interesting.
of time, whereas in these other modes, at the end of time, whoever
Which-
has the higher score wins, but that can be acquired at any point in the game.
And
Yesterday
best of
was
4.
obviously an adjustment for
So there's a chance that it just might not go to Turf War if one of the teams sweep.
and to get used to things.
Mm-hmm.
Nine, we were even talking to players, and they said the new controllers
That's
take time to break in because you get that brand new Pro
Mhm.
controller. It's a little slick. You got to get a little bit of it worn out here, so you've got a better grip. I think the teams are going to look a little bit more comfortable today.
Yeah, well, they all expressed happiness that it was divided in such a way that they got those games yesterday where there were certainly stakes for the seeding, but you aren't out of the tournament if you aren't comfortable maybe with the chair with whatever your setup has to bring. I know some of these new monitors maybe a little bit faster or sometimes slower than what the players have at home, but it's all a matter of comfortability. They were much happier, and all of them expressed some sort of confidence that today would be their day.
As we get into the ranked modes, we're going to get a chance to break each thing down as we get set as the game is ready to roll here. But let's start with Splat Zones, because that is a mode we're going to see frequently. A lot of times it might pop up twice. The general strategy for Splat Zones, these teams, what are they telling themselves that they're getting set?
Sure. So, Splat Zones, the big thing to note about it is these players, looks like they're getting set on the screen. You're going to want to work very, very gently about the map once you take control of it. You want to
Kaiser!
You want to
Kaiser sweep? Question mark.
Positions, let the opponent come to you, and it's
I want Kaiser to sweep so bad, but I know it might be
I don't know.
unlikely.
Kaiser takes the
Yeah.
stage, and obviously the charisma. Majin was part of that 2018 team for Kaiser that was part of the World Championships. They're facing off against Unadon. Early thoughts on both of these teams?
Well, I gotta say, a couple players for you all to watch for from Kaiser. Ishik, their NZAP 85 player. The one note here for Kaiser, they are the only team that does not run a traditional
85?
backline in that Snipe Rider 5H to provide their tactical loose. That means that Ishik
Like
is going
the
to have
Chumps
to play
one?
an important role with that
No,
NZAP
that's the
85
regular one.
of working
Oh,
with
okay.
the
All right.
team, fighting, being active with that short-range shooter, but still providing the tacticoolers. And on the other side with Unadon there, Huide, I was very impressed with the mechanics of that sloshing machine, one of the strongest main weapons in all of Splatoon right now. You can get behind somebody, you can be ahead of somebody, but it's all going to come down to that weapon starting things for them so Shino and the rest can get in and create havoc.
And with Unadon, we saw a tremendous amount of Tentabrella. Do you foresee that in the ranked modes?
85% snipe ready usage, that's crazy.
War of all places.
Yeah.
It might be one of the weaker modes for Tentabrella here, where you have a central objective in some of these modes. That wide canopy of the Tentabrella can absolutely make it easier for you to push forward, hold on to a tower, push a Rainmaker, and keep that zone your color.
Kaiser, one of the teams that surprised themselves yesterday by being able to pick up a game in Turf War. They felt coming in Turf War as our weakest mode. We don't expect much. We want to be in the quarterfinals. You talked about how they wanted that opportunity to shake off the rust and get a little bit of momentum going early on.
Yeah, Majin said yesterday when I was talking to him that they think that finishing second or third in the seeding is actually an advantage because you do get this game to, again, just get a little bit more familiar with your setup, but also to build momentum for yourselves. The big M, as
That's pretty valid, actually.
Sporting world, but
Yeah.
listen, when you have a big dominant set and you feel like you can beat anybody, it builds, it compounds, and right now Kaiser knows if they want to make this run, they have some absolute monsters they're going to have to face. Let's get it started now and get the ball rolling.
And with that,
Woo!
it'll be Splat.
I have that exact same headset. That's crazy.
As the players get their controls and their weapons ready to
Oh
roll.
shit.
You played this mode several times at Bluefin Depot.
They all have
There's
the
a
exact
couple
same-
things
Whoa.
to keep in mind on this map.
Well, this is one of the most unique
Culture shock.
Splat Zones maps in the game. Maybe the most unique in this particular facet. It is a moving Splat Zone, Jordan. There have not been a lot of them over the course of Splatoon's
Do you think anyone's gonna fall off the map?
here in Splatoon 3. But what it means
I'm
is
waiting
that
for, like,
you can send a Splat Zone
my bet's on,
over
like,
to the
2
left
fall-offs?
and right side of the map, depending on who is controlling it. But what that means is you have to be able to pivot your defenses in the middle of the moment, and it means that some backline weapons can influence it from safety all the time.
Does that have any influence on how teams like to secure the zone, then push forward the fact that you've got this moving Splat Zone?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the things is I kind of noted earlier about Splat Zones is you want to set up just ahead of it and move around to meet the threats coming from the opponents. That's all predicated on the Splat Zone not getting a little squirrely and moving away from you. When the Splat Zone moves, you have to be a little bit more.
You think it's required for them to have it wired?
Ahead of where that
I think
Splat
so,
Zone
yeah,
moves
just in case the
versus
controller
some specials
disconnects.
there.
So what is Kaiser thinking here? Without that true anchor, here we go into Splat Zones. What do they need to do as far as all 4 members being on the same page without that traditional anchor?
Well, that's an interesting thought because Majin did have listed under the weapons a ballpoint splatling. Now, that could have been a long time ago that Majin was asked that question, and we know they're a chameleon of a team anyway, as said in that nice opening video that you all got to see. So they could use it specifically for this map. This is certainly one where if you've got it in the pocket, you use it. But Jordan, we're not going to have to speculate any
Oh,
longer.
shit!
The World Championship is finally here.
Let's go!
Let's get it started.
First game,
the
let's see it.
very first game of the Splatoon 3 World Championship 2020.
Double dually, that's
for all the
interesting.
marbles, day 2, as we begin the
They're playing
quarterfinals.
Junior.
Kaiser versus Unadon. 9, what do we see here with our initial loadouts?
Well,
I know
some
Alpine's
very
happy.
Interesting changes from what we saw yesterday. That is the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco. Say that a few times fast. Coming out from Majim. On the other side, we have a double
Okay.
dually composition
Okay.
that is coming out here from Unadon. So a couple of weapons that are fine to dive on the opponent's side of the map.
Oh, they got a
without
bubble
whole lot
early.
Of assistance. It creates a very interesting dynamic. It can get away from you in a hurry. And right now, it is crazy pandemonium in the middle of the map.
Unadon,
Nice
the first
jump.
team to get
Nice
the
kill,
zone,
Jay.
to build a 19
Damn.
lead, a splat there, 3-2 advantage, 3-1. It's a wipeout for
They
Kaiser, and an
wiped.
opportunity to take the
I'm
lead.
surprised they're doing
Textbook there
Tetras
by
instead of
Majim
like
with that Rapid
Pool
Blaster
or
Pro
anything.
Deco, simply peppering
Mhm.
all of those blasts or all of those dualies rather. If you're a weapon that is very mobile, that chip damage that that weapon can apply can put a lot of that damage on from safety, and you let the rest of the team take over.
Kaiser's lead
Oh.
continues to build. They have locked down
Okay.
the zone, and now they are pushing out Unadon. That tent umbrella coming out from Unadon,
Okay.
trying to create a little bit of space.
Oh,
They're
shit.
finally
The
able to get
tent
some
shield
Oh, they
into
got the-
bubbler?
seize control.
Yeah, but you're going to see a lot of that. This zone flips very, very quickly once you take a dive down on the side. Now, one thing that's important to note here is that Xera's on that Splatoon.
Oh, they're gonna get zone again.
Has been getting into a lot of positions that are very difficult
Nice.
to challenge.
Mm.
He gets a couple more.
They're
Oh
locking
my
out low-key.
goodness gracious.
They are.
Xera's one of the best
That's what they're trying to go for.
The second wipeout of the game.
Oh, this is
for
this
Kaiser.
is exactly
Now
what I'm
they're
talking
pushing
about. Cooler like
forward, trying to keep
invalidates
Unadon
what
at
Tetris
bay.
does, and that makes me so
3:30
sad.
left, but the timer is starting to go down for Kaiser. They're cutting into that penalty. Unadon
Oh, they're
trying
two
to
down.
get back into the game, but so far Kaiser building that lead.
Oh, they're gonna get zone here.
They could come back, they just don't have a lot of paint.
Damn.
Zone back again here. You can see that Ishiga doing a fantastic job holding down this left side of the zone, making sure
I
that
feel like
nothing
if
gets
they just
pushed
had one
back,
less
being very
dually.
safe. I noted earlier this player
Right?
had to be very patient and deliberate about when attacking because of all this diligent
Uh-oh,
moving.
uh-oh.
They continue to score more and more points even as players have gone down.
Lead is still in the hands. 13 seconds.
Oh,
away.
they're not gonna
take it,
they're not gonna
Seconds
take
left. They're
it.
Trying to push everything. They've got 3-1 on the map. 9.
It's
They're
over.
the third
Yeah.
wipeout of the game,
Let's
and
fucking
Kaiser,
go.
How about that? A
Kaiser
dominant performance
sweet.
out the gate. Unadon had to go through 3 wipeouts as Kaiser gets game number 1.
Nice. It could still go either way.
Showing there
It
for
could.
Kaiser. And listen, Kaiser felt comfortable in the Splat Zones mode coming into this event. It was one that they felt like was one of their better ones. So you see this as your first map, you feel
Next
happy right there.
is
But the way that they played
Power
around
ship
how
shape.
Unadon was trying to come and attack. I
Interesting.
noted earlier, those
That has the
two
potential to be like one
duels,
push over.
they were moving quick. Things can get out of hand a little bit, but they never let them get behind them. Xera's
I feel like
always
Kaiser's
up
gotta
on those
keep the
laser
comp.
stamper, made sure there was
Mhm.
no
and then I think
push,
Unadon has
no
like a
tricks, and they attacked them
probably
in
has a
the
strategy for
exact
this.
right fashion.
And the mobility they have without having that true anchor for the most part, it felt like whenever they need to scramble left or right with that moving splat zone or advance, they were able to do so, and they were able to move fast enough to really find those advantages to create those 3 wipeouts.
And they also did a great job of taking advantage of the range that they had here. I know you look at that no backline, you say you don't have a ton of range, but when the opponent is bringing in 2 dualies and a Splattershot Junior, I mean, they're going to have to run at you in pretty much one way. They're not going to be able to hit you from distance, do some damage from safety, or poke at your defenses. So, again, credit to Kaiser understanding the advantages that they had and executing when the moment presented itself.
So Kaiser gets game number 1 over Unadon. It's the first of 3 wins to advance to the semifinals, and they looked very comfortable. Took that initial onslaught from Unadon. Unadon built up a 19-point lead after that. It was all Kaiser.
The one thing that you can say for Unadon is that is a very tricky map to play Splat Zones on, as we kind of noted there. So if there was one that you're a little more unfamiliar with, it's one of the newest additions to the game itself. So they can shake that one off here. Still plenty of time in the other 4 modes for them to go through here. I'll be interested in seeing if they go back to the composition they used yesterday. I just got done talking about how I thought Huide on that sloshing machine really was the key player for them yesterday. Huide switched off of it there, and you saw without that fighting force of that main weapon, they just weren't quite winning the fights as cleanly.
It's a good point that you bring up because they never really took advantage of a lot of one-on-ones. They
Mhm.
just weren't able to get over the hump and get enough of those splats to give themselves the advantage. You frequently saw 3-2, 4-3 on the map. advantage Kaiser, and that's when you talk about that weapon choice. Sometimes you want to be mindful of what's going to give you the upper hand in those one-on-ones, because that's ultimately it's going to open up the window of those opportunities in these ranked modes.
Yeah, and at a certain
I don't think the
point,
one-on-ones would have
what
done it,
the mode
though.
is, You got to be able to fight, and Splatoon is a game of
It's
incredible
it's
quickness.
it's hard to say. You know,
'Cause
they did say it was their weaker mode.
That want to fight and a couple that don't. At some
Probably,
point, push
but,
is
like,
going to come to shove here. So plenty of answers.
they all had, like,
Unadon to go
weaker
back to
matchups
as
now.
well, and we've already
Mhm.
talked at length about how Kaiser can switch on a moment's notice. So this will be interesting to see.
They might be
Next,
saving their
Tower
comp. You know.
Ship Shape Cargo Company. Ooh.
Probably, but in a best of
Said it right
4.
there, my friend. What are we going to see with Tower Control
I mean,
here?
this is a.
I don't know. I don't wanna-
A
I don't wanna-
snowball map, as we like to call
I don't
it,
wanna
where the
jinx
game can
something.
Get away from you in a hurry. There are lots of positions that the opponent will like to set up their defenses on in tower control at those crucial checkpoints. But on this map in particular, it is
No!
the team
No!
to attack those positions. Look for Majin.
It's okay, I
with
got the kiss.
Blaster.
Oh.
If he does opt to
Oh,
put
I
it
got
out
the kiss
there,
too.
to be able to
Oh my
hit those
God.
From relative safety.
He's showing me
This is
love
Team
specifically.
Kaiser that is
It's-
very relaxed and very comfortable. As far as the
Oh,
body
let's go,
language
let's go,
goes,
let's
they are the
go.
most
Oh, game
expressive
two, game
people in those
two.
chairs. You see the
Kaiser
noise
W,
coming
Kaiser
out, doesn't
W.
mean it's a lack of focus. They just enjoy the moment here. So Tower Control, Ship Shape.
It's almost
Cargo
looking like
Company.
it.
Game 2, can Kaiser build a 2-0 lead, or can Unadon lock it up? I see a sloshing machine.
Oh, they got the
Let's see what's
slosher.
coming out from both sides as we get started here. On one
Really
side, you're gonna
interesting.
see the
They have-
sloshing machine
Oh,
White
Neo.
double
Tetris here is
Zuko.
interesting.
You're gonna see much the same. The sloshing machine Neo, Puyo sticking on those Tetra dualies, the dark Tetra dualies, excuse me. So they're gonna try
Those
to
are the
run in
lights.
and
Those are the
create
lights,
something on
wait.
that side.
Tentebrella comes out, retreats, still both teams fighting for space. You want to get that advantage before you think about moving the tower initially, and so far
3
it's
down
a 4-1
immediately.
advantage for Kaiser. They nearly
Damn.
wiped the field clean.
Well, and look, Shino is
Jump
all the way
back,
Oh,
bitch.
it jumped out.
there. That was the play. They were hoping that everybody would go in and attack.
He probably has, like,
people and
hella
they would work
QSJ.
through. Kaiser says,
Mhm.
well, okay, we'll just attack everyone that's not behind the Tentebrella shield. Excellent play and adaptation.
Nice.
What the opponent's trying to do.
First
Okay.
checkpoint, just a simple
Oh,
layup
they're
for Kaiser
they're
at this
3
point.
down.
And, oh my gosh, look at these Trizuka shots. There's a reason why it has become the special #1 in this game.
Yeah, get used to it here, folks. You're going to see a lot of Trizukas, but we'll talk more about those later
Oh
on.
no,
because
they
the second
missed.
wave of them
Oh,
are
they
coming.
missed.
Would love to see if Huide can hit
Damn.
one of those shots. Not able to, but they did sneak
Oh, they're taking it
Shino
back, they're pushing
close
back.
enough there to at least get the tower rider off. Would love to take a player down, but for the time being, they're simply trying to give themselves
Oh,
a little
Zuka.
stability and not get taken
Nice.
down by another Zuka.
Impressive opening push by Kaiser. They get through 2 checkpoints. They've got 38 on the
Canceled
board.
the
And look
reef.
at this, 4-1 once again, sending Unadon retreating back to spawn, and just the pressure.
It's
we're seeing
over
from
for them.
Kaiser right now. Nani.
I mean,
Oh,
this is what a double
I'm all
Trizuka
for
composition
underdogs, but Unadon.
is you can pressure the opponent out of spots they would like to go to defend themselves simply by firing that
Bucket
special
fight,
bullet
bucket
on that
fight.
side. Now look,
It's-
they're already attacking this
Splash.
perch that I mentioned earlier. Once again, Shino comes forward and is able to.
Oh, they take it back. They're taking it back. Oh,
Okay,
let's fucking go.
okay, okay.
Explosive wipeout on their
I
own.
like being wrong.
Finally gonna have the opportunity to make a
Hell
comeback.
yeah.
Worth noting, 30 points. Didn't take a lot off of that last checkpoint. If they get to that checkpoint, they could steal this lead.
Oh,
Unadon
shit,
stepping up to
Unadon.
the plate and hitting one as they get the wipeout. Now they're sending the tower back the other way. How can they coordinate this attack as Kaiser now put on the defensive for the first time? We take a look.
Oh,
a
they're 2
splat
down.
right behind the Tentebrella. No luck
Oh,
there.
nice
It would have
clean.
been
And then a
What
splat
the
on
f-
Ishik. That's
dude,
a
the
huge opportunity,
flicks,
but down
the
goes
flicks.
another member of Unadon.
Yep, very cleanly taken out means they're not going to be able to cycle anything.
Ooh,
out.
the
This one,
Zukas are
no, Unadon,
nasty.
the only team in this tournament who hasn't been running Tacticooler, which means they're not going to be able to jump back in quickly enough to continue that push. They're going to have to do it again. from scratch.
Damn.
That's right, they
Saw
just don't have
Huide trying to
cooler.
Go in there and mix it up, but Ishik able to negate that attempt, and now Kaiser just really trying to fortify their approach at this moment. You've got the lead, just over 2 minutes left. 9, what's their thought process as this game continues to go on?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're really trying to find some of these fights to break through. The problem is that Kaiser is too good at identifying where their
Okay, nice
weaknesses
pinch.
are. Finally, Typhon does sneak through. As everybody was
Nasty,
looking for
nasty
Puyo, so
behavior.
maybe there's an opportunity here, but no, they don't fall for any funny business from the Reef Slider, so they're just continuing to trade player after player. But Jordan, I'm going to keep reiterating it. No Tacticooler means that every one of these trades is
They're
going to
gonna-
favor Kaiser.
And Majin doing an excellent job of just holding down that anchor position for Kaiser, advancing the tower, trying to move forward, just peppering rapid blaster shots. Here comes the killer whale just to provide a little bit more support, and they've got Unadon scrambling in their spot.
Damn.
Xeris is
It might be
gone,
over
pushed
here.
up there. Nice shot by Huide to
Nice bucket
close
diff,
that
though.
one down.
Oh,
And with
2-2.
Y0 gone as well, it appears that Shino has stabilized this position once again, but
Tap it back.
stop them every time at this spot. They can clearly play defense and keep some sort of lead.
That
or
was
some
nice.
sort of opportunity for themselves, but I'm not sure how they're going to attack and fight through this. They have to get through 2 Trizukas if they want to get their checkpoint.
And Shino did an excellent job of dodging and then finally getting the splat with the Trizuka before they go down. Just over a minute left.
He's got to
71
pay for
30.
that
Look at the
Zuka,
back.
though.
Ishik trying to flank from behind.
Way behind there, waited that entire time and may have waited a little
Oh,
bit too long.
no.
The
Couldn't fall
other
back.
members respawned in time, so any push that may have gotten started there is immediately broken out by that one timely flank. Flanking is a skill. It's not easy to know when the time is right.
Majin just trying to cover that tower with those rapid blaster shots here, rolling with the
Ooh,
dualies,
ooh.
trying to avoid.
That's
a little bit
bold.
of damage.
That's bold.
Shino was about to jump in, but
A
no
little
luck
too
there
bold,
as
though.
that member goes down. Over 30 seconds left, and now Kaiser can take full control of this game.
Yep, and they're going to do exactly that. Simply get the spots on the map the opponent
Rapid
is
Pro
trying to
Deco,
come
though.
from here, and don't
Damn.
fall prey to any
Okay.
of these tricks. We know what the do. We know
Nah.
what these dualies are capable
Oh,
of,
nice.
and we know what they're
Oh, they're
going
2
to do
down.
with their tent umbrella. Sit back and
It's
build
just the
up their
dapples.
specials, and all 3 members who we were not
Bro, that whale
spectating
almost
there
fucked them
got
up,
taken
though.
down one by one. They're tactical. They're in position of the tower. It's going to take a miracle at this
Damn.
point for Unadon.
Kaiser
No.
just trying to close this out. 3 seconds left. They have control of the tower, and that's going
It's
to wrap
over.
up game 2 as Kaiser gets the victory, courtesy that initial push 9 had allowed them to focus a little bit more on defense for the majority of that game, whereas Unadon had to keep pushing that tower.
That's tough.
Never really
Sad.
comfortable, and you have to credit the way that Kaiser was able to quickly snuff out any potential push that Unadon was doing there.
And they really only gave them one opportunity, too, which is an
Damn.
especially impressive factor of how they played that game. Oftentimes in tower control between 2 teams.
Maybe they
that
could
are
have
of
played with their
similar caliber,
tent
you'll
more.
get one push one
It's-
way, then
it's-
the other way, and then haymakers being traded back and forth. With
It's
these
hard to
pushes,
say.
but there was only one
They
real
were-
opportunity for Unadon there, and
Unadon was really going in with like the 1v2s and losing.
hitting the tower from
Yeah.
the right angles there. They managed to segment some of the different players from Unadon off, take them
Like I
down
feel
one
like I
by
feel like
one,
team plays
and
could have
at
been the
that
win
point,
there.
they were really
But I
in
don't know.
control the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, the tent also kind of gets fucked because of the blaster.
That is true. The Rapid Pro is also very interesting.
Mhm.
Sometimes the timing of when you want to encroach and
I'm
have
surprised
that
they don't
risky
want the
move
jet.
can pay off, and right there for Kaiser, paid off well.
Yeah, and
Like,
said
I
earlier,
believe in them. I
flanking
believe
is
in
a
them.
skill
Maybe they're
because
gonna
if you do it
sweep.
right at the
Maybe
right
they'll-
time, you
maybe
put
they'll
that
pull
in
out
back of
the-
opponent's head, too. There's a human element to this game. I know these players sometimes play like
Insert
machines
squid noise
with
here. I don't know.
impossible accuracy, but if you think that an opponent might be flanking, maybe you spend a little more time turfing behind you. Maybe you throw a point sensor back instead of forward. You never know how much those seconds are going to add up and how they will change things there. So Ishik, with that nice timely push.
Yeah, that's true. Their tent had a really bad matchup.
One player
Yeah.
really led to another player going down as well.
Like,
and then it
Machine
also
and then
changes
Rapid
the
is
way you
like,
start to
come
down
on.
spawn.
AoE in general.
It puts Unadon
Plus
on
the
board,
pinches.
down 0-2.
Yep.
Kaiser has looked
And it's really interesting to
They have
pick
been
Dapples
looking
over, I don't know,
extremely
any other
sharp. This is a team
duelie.
that said once we get to ranked modes, that's where
Plus
we
the
feel most
Tetris right
confident.
after,
As we
which
get set,
they don't have a
we've got
bomb,
Rainmaker
and
Robo
the
Ramen.
special can only do so much.
And as you take a look at this
Yeah, like,
combination
top players aren't gonna
of
get caught by a
Rainmaker
Reef
Force,
Slider, you know what I mean?
your options have been
Right.
much more limited because of those checkpoints. You're going to have more of a predetermined path.
Like
What
like even if they're
advantages
saying,
might
yeah,
be
we don't really like playing meta,
You know,
it's
that's
still
an interesting
Worlds.
question because Robo
True.
Ramen Rainmaker isn't one of the more commonly played ones in competitive play. It's not necessarily that it's unpopular, but typically when you play a Rainmaker map or if you enjoy a Rainmaker map, it's because you're comfortable with not only the Rainmaker path, but how to defend. Rainmaker can very, very much favor a big explosive attack one time that leads to the
It should be
over and
Rain
over
Robo.
again. It can be very difficult
Yep.
to stabilize if you can't get to one of the choke points. But Robo Ramen has such an open access mid-area and ways to hit your opponent on some of these defensive spots that I almost think that that fundamental aspect of it won't apply as much. So I would look for Unadon if they get the opportunity to try to go in behind Shino's tent umbrella to break through, but I think there are going to be enough angles to attack them from that might not be as effective on this particular map.
Why does it feel like Unadon hasn't been able to pick up some of those key splats? We oftentimes see the advantage, as we said before. 3-2,
They're happy. They're
4-3,
so
a
happy.
couple of 3-1s. for Kaiser. What does Unadon need to do to clean that up?
Dude, imagine if Kaiser sweeps, and then they get the competence.
Squids and Octolings on the map.
Crazy. It's also possible, you know.
That's okay.
Let's be honest. Ship Shape Tower Control is a shitty map mode.
It's
Like,
Nintendo.
It's literally the one tower map that like snowballs so hard and it's really hard to break out of the lockout. They might end up, you know, they might end up sweeping because Rainmaker has potential for that.
It's a big disadvantage to try to fight through them without that. And again, I don't even think that they've been doing a poor job of fighting necessarily. It's just they have to win 2 fights.
Alright, let's see what they whip out this time.
Rainmaker, Robo
Stamp, let's go, let's go.
Ooh.
Sweep, or will Unadon force a game?
Oh, let's go.
There's
double dualies.
double. All right, double reef. Booyah. I kind of like it.
Very nice change, I would say, here from Kaiser going back to Xerath on that Splatana Stamper.
I bet they're gonna pinch with the reefs.
They got popped though.
Level, but I gotta be
Yeah.
honest, when this guy brings out the Splatana Stamper, it doesn't get a whole lot better.
Right now, a bit of a stalemate in the middle as both teams wrestle for control. A little bit more of Kaiser's ink in the middle. You see the super jump coming through, but here comes
Oh, they
Denver
got
dead?
Booyah, they're 2 down.
Okay.
Off a couple of members
Let's
of
fucking go.
Kaiser. Unadon with one of those rare advantages.
Oh,
they take
that
the
was
Rainmaker and
nice.
pick up another splat.
Yep, and they're gonna need to get this out of the way.
Oh, they're gonna get checked? Damn.
They got lead though. They got a lead though.
They do have lead.
That was a golden opportunity to break.
They just can't wipe.
This is one of those maps where that first checkpoint can go.
Oh, damn, they can't go anywhere with this.
Zipcaster L.
Yeah, Zipcaster L.
So kind of an awkward spot. Maybe was trying to wait for somebody, but it does appear that a Trizuka will take 2 players out to move Xerath up, and now
Jump
you
out.
should see Kaiser work up to that first checkpoint. Keep it yellow. Can they run forward?
Damn, they took the lead just like that.
Dunk.
Fly 0 with that Trizuka.
It's still anyone's game.
A little bit of real estate, and that gave Kaiser
Yep.
the opportunity to get into the cup for the first time. They get past the first checkpoint. They've got Tacticooler, and now they kind of have Unadon.
Oh.
Oh
my god, the Devils won the fight!
About earlier, where there are lots of ways to hit
How'd they die?
opponent from this choke point if they don't get through. One is now swinging behind them.
Ooh, the
and
tent
was
is kinda
almost able
gaming?
to take them out. Majin will
Oh, they're about to get
continue
flaked, they're about to get
give them some
flaked.
stability, but Jordan,
They could back
here
this.
comes Xerath. This is what I was talking about. Got behind,
Oh.
got pointed out there by a bomb, but still was able to find that.
There's no way they don't take that.
Nice reef.
Damn.
It goes down, but then their teammate able to respond real quickly. It's 3-2 though. Unadon has an opportunity here. A little
Oh.
more careful here, 9. They're not going to just go grab that Rainmaker. Until
Oh, they could have back pushed it.
In a moment, a booyah bomb to try to open things up.
Yep. You saw right there, Majin was doing a great job of making sure nobody could get that
Okay.
Rainmaker for free.
Oh,
And
that
it gave
machine's
the
in a
rest
really
of the
good
team
spot.
time to come back. It was
Damn,
a
they
rare
dropped.
time where Kaiser wasn't fully tacticoolered up there, but they've now rallied the troops, and Jordan, they basically stabilized.
And goodness, 9, that combination of the rapid
Okay. They're gonna
get
plus the
here.
tactical
10 push.
with that killer whale is really
Paint it!
Unadon at
No!
approach at all. They lose the Rainmaker again, and now it's 3-1 on the map. Kaiser
And
on a
that-
wipeout.
Oh no,
tricks at all
they're
will work
that's
against Kaiser.
over.
We
Look
saw
how
right there,
far
they
they
tried to
are.
use the E
No,
just protect against
dude.
most forms of damage, but it does not defend against.
Then they're gonna move
Zipcaster, which
forward a
is
couple
also
of inches.
really
Oh
good.
no! Oh
They don't even
no!
mind that they went 3 down.
They build the
They're gonna get their
41
momentum
that
back here.
allows them to spawn and get their defense.
They better.
And now it's Unadon that's feeling a little bit of pressure. Just over 2 minutes left. Typhon
Oh,
trying to
shots
move behind
alone.
that Tentabrella. Shino trying to provide a little bit of cover.
Oh, let's go, let's go.
Behind the Brella. Has that ink back ready to go. We'll see.
The
if
shot's
they
kinda
use it with
selling.
that Trizuka coming out. Still being patient with the 9, and this is when you really want to.
They gotta back push it.
You have that special.
Yeah,
It-
and always keep an eye on the top of the screen, folks. There, that will
Ping
tell you
this
when
way or
the
something.
specials are about
Go!
to be used, when they've
Get
been
in
pulled
there!
together. Fly Zero got a couple
Oh!
shots off there.
Oh,
No!
Close it out. That's a-okay though, because you have Xerath on your side, who takes 2 players out once again. The 2 front runners there alongside the Rainmaker. And once
No,
again, Jordan, once
dude.
those 2 goes down, once those Tentabrellas are gone, suddenly Majin can just poke at everybody and make sure there's no threat.
And that's what you see, the mobility of Majin moving forward and backwards, poking away with that rapid blaster while the teammates try to pepper.
Okay.
It's done enough to really.
Oh,
keep
he's
Unadon
dead there.
uncomfortable
That's in a
how
bit
they
of a.
approach.
Never
Well,
mind. They're in a good
there's
spot
just
again.
No actual answer for it. Every time that happens, Majin puts a little bit of damage on somebody.
Nice
and
pop.
it just breaks it open, and they don't have a lot of range
The
on
Stamper,
their
though?
specials to try to fight through that way. It's a zip caster.
They're
it's a
distracted.
reef slider, but it means that
But
you
it's-
have to really
That's
risk
true.
yourself as
Mm.
opposed
Damn.
To the Trizuka, which is at no risk at all.
The Trizuka once again claims another victim. 4-3 on the
They're
map.
still in that
Kaiser
fight.
down goes
What the
Emperor.
fuck is
Under a
happening?
minute left, they've got a 41
Oh, they got him,
point
they got
lead,
him.
but Unadon now turns the
Took like
tide.
30
4-2.
seconds.
I
Here's
think
their
Unadon's
first
gonna take it.
opportunity, 9.
If they don't get the checkpoint in this push,
Let's
I'm
go,
not sure
the
they're
shot's
going to
down.
get it. They push people back, and
Okay.
that's a special out
Get-
of
get
the
cap.
they're
Did
going.
they turf it enough? Can they swim up?
Bro,
No,
why are they
that
edging
vehicle
me
is
like
still
this?
Yellow, which means that they're going to be stuck. A slight misstep, Jordan.
An opportunity was there.
Nice
Now they've got to
play.
hustle. They get the
There
first
we go.
checkpoint, but then they take the splat. 30 seconds
That's a
left.
harder place to
Remember,
push from,
no
though.
Tacticooler. They aren't going to be able to respond quickly.
Oh, they got one?
Slider comes in. They're going to have to hustle. Now it's just a matter
Oh,
for
but they're in a
Kaiser
bad
to
spot, though, if they get it.
Avenue. Don't let that tent umbrella
Yeah.
push forward and create some pavement.
And Zeris
I don't think they have enough time to make a play here.
Damn.
Wipeout. Zeris dove right into the ink vac one other time. Again, the perfect answer for it. They might not even opt to pop this thing. Make it yellow, make it big, and let the opponent run forward. They're going to dive forward there, and your
Damn.
They
goes to
sold,
Kaiser in dominant
dude.
3-0 fashion.
Grab the broom, a sweep for Kaiser, and really just their defensive capability.
Kaiser's sweet, but I'm
That's what we're
sad
seeing.
now.
Yes, on offense, they got
Yeah,
some pushes, but
it's tough.
they didn't get a KO in either one of those two last games. They got the one push, but then what they're able to do on defense.
Damn.
Majin, that rapid blaster.
I was praying. I was hoping for the tent win.
Picnic, just ruining everybody's fun.
He's been
Rest
doing
in
it for
peace,
years, too. I mean,
indeed.
it's been
Buzz,
noted
buzz.
here. A competitor in
The
the
Buzz
World
Buzz.
Championship back in 2018
Buzz
to show
Buzz.
you how long this guy
Fuck,
has
I want to
been
grab
at
some
this
food, but like,
level,
I don't want to
and
miss.
really the entire team
Um,
Kaiser has been doing it for quite a while, and
It's okay, you can watch my
a
stream.
lot of grizzled old salts.
Oh, you're so right, actually. I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave this running, obviously.
All right. What's up, chat? It's me, your boy.
Unadon never really led for much of those first three games, to be honest. They had an early push in splat zones and then one push in tower control, but that was dominant from Kaiser. We keep saying 3-0. You just swept an extremely good team, and we do want to thank Unadon for being here and their representation for
God,
South
they're just-
Korea. Always great to build that team
They had the
into a
potential, but
world
just
championship.
Kaiser was so
But now it's
suffocating.
Kaiser moving on to the semifinals, where they will face off against Jackpot. in
And
the
then
next
and then
round.
they just sold in Rainmaker for
Not
some
going
reason.
Ready for that. But before we get to one of those main events, we've got another quarterfinals matchup coming. The Greasy Goblins from Australia, New Zealand versus the Smart Roast Chickens. from
Ooh,
Taiwan.
Greasy Goblins.
The Greasy Goblins. How about what they were
Zeros
able to
kept
do
diffing them.
and some of the surprises they pulled as they claimed that number 2 seed in Group A.
Honestly,
I
yeah.
went and talked to them after that event. I was like, "How are you all feeling about that?" And like, we
Like
won a
Zeros
set.
and
We
like Zeros and
New
Stamper,
Zealand,
it's
you gotta
just
win a set.
This is
mwah,
true.
chef's
Here.
kiss.
And you know, they said that in jest. Of course, they have high expectations
Yes.
for themselves, and they certainly deserve it with how they have dominated the Australia-New Zealand scene here. But they were in great spirits.
I'm
here.
still mad over that like
Even in the
30-second
Jackpot,
Tetris
there were
Stamper
some moments
1v1.
there where they could have taken
They were
some
fighting for their
action,
lives, and then Tetris was just like,
but
"Oh, I'm gonna get
expecting
you."
a great show out of them.
Oh, here I come.
The last year, what we really saw from Kaiser was just their coordination, and it felt like they never overextended themselves, and then defensively, the communication. But here it is in splat zones, a few of the highlights.
Yep, and you're going to see a lot of exactly that as you saw it in the game. Majin working around, shoot the right side, shoot the left side. And you'll note here that he's putting his shots so that all of the zone is covered by the shot. Whenever you have that sort of positioning, that sort of coverage, whatever your weapon is, it means you're going to be that much more efficient at keeping the zone yours and taking away those points.
Then in tower control, it was the initial push that nearly got through the third checkpoint. But after that, Unadon, every single push they tried to do never worked. Ishik, of course, we talked about the flank from behind, was so patient, went so far back into Unadon's territory, but then timed it perfectly with the teammates to snuff out one of those pushes.
Yeah, and it shows a great understanding of what Unadon needed to do if they wanted to get a bigger push. The anatomy of
We need a
push, as
Brazilian
we
team
like to
rep.
call it here. There's always spots that you have to attack before the opponent can set up their defense. So
I
if you,
I
as the
agree.
defender, get to one of those spots first, attack an opponent from there, and get them off that side. It's only a matter of time before the push falters.
And I think your point is correct. No tactical.
Honestly, I feel like there could be
really
good
put
teams, like,
Unadon in a
everywhere.
crunch because the number of times
But they're
that
just,
they've
like,
splatted,
not
especially
vocal.
those wipeouts, everybody's special being reduced. Everybody waiting 6 to 7 seconds at that point. That's too much time to give a great team like Kaiser in these modes. They're going to go ahead and run away with the game every single time. And Kaiser's ability to win so many of those one-on-ones or to create those 2v1s really seemed to be the difference.
Well, and to take the right fights as well. I noted it a couple
Yeah.
times, but every time that Ink Vac came out, which was clearly what Unadon was trying to build their bigger pushes on, and hey, it's a strategy that works. Let me tell you, if you can get your Rainmaker carrier some sort of protection with that Ink Vac, you can score some big points. But again, if the
But they
weapon
just
has
didn't
a
for some
lower
reason.
hit
He had the
box,
Vac
as some
behind him.
controllers do, and as the Splatoon
But like
sniper does,
he died
will
somehow.
take out
He got out of
anything
that.
through it. Every time that came out, Xeris right there on top, understanding the assignment.
The wherewithal and the execution. So as we get set here for Greasy Goblins versus Smart Roast Chickens, you've talked about Smart Roast Chickens, one of the more mechanical.
Oh, I don't know if they're about to show them, but I want to get water.
What they're able to do. Weren't able to really shine too much during Turf War, but we
No, I'm gonna wait till Green gets back.
compared to these rank modes.
I gotta stick it out.
And I think you can look back at the sets that they played against Kaiser, which you just saw yesterday, to kind of see what they're about. Clearly, if you aren't, if that last set didn't make the case for what Kaiser is capable of when they're fighting, you know that the Smart Roast Chickens do a good enough job. But if you talk about some mechanically strong players here, I mean, the Greasy Goblins up here as well. Next, the incredibly tall one that was up there, one of the finest mechanical players that you will see in the world.
Then the Smart Roast Chickens take the stage. Don't forget with the Greasy Goblins, we have one of the OGs of the World Championships.
This is gonna
as far as their
be
position for the Greasy Goblins.
Oh, Latias. I mean, this has to
Rainmaker
be,
Barnacle.
this is now tied for the most
Appearances.
Appearances.
7 years ago in 2017, the very first World Inkling Invitational, Latias was there and had a chance to represent Australia, New Zealand. Since then, this is a situation she's very comfortable in.
very comfortable in and wants to be back in. I noted it yesterday, but for the Australia-New Zealand players, because of time zone, it's not easy.
Why
for
is
them
Nex a
to get to
giant?
compete in a lot of these events that they would love to do. So for a
Hey,
lot of
Ponder.
them, it's simply not a choice.
Welcome to the
here.
watch party.
These are the only opportunities they get to try to prove themselves outside of their region. So they are very eager, very excited for this. They were all smiles earlier, Jordan.
And obviously, when you take a look at traditional anchors, we are going to see that Snipe Rider pop up for a lot of teams, and it's a weapon that has really become
Oh, that's right.
the centerpiece.
Like
of
the
what
only
we're
reason we
doing.
didn't see Sniper Ready yet
Yeah, back
is
in
because I think like
August,
every other
a
team's gonna use it.
5.0 came out, and that is meaningful for one particular reason, because that was
Like
the
we-
patch
like you've seen
that
Cooler,
made
but we haven't
by
seen Sniper
the
yet.
Special meter nerf, and for those of you at home, each of the weapons in Splatoon does have an associated number of points that you have to get from turfing the map in order to build your special.
Getting it muted? Okay.
When that number gets higher, means that you build less specials functionally. So that, in conjunction with the Snipe Rider slowly getting stronger over time, means that that backline weapon can build just as many tacticoolers as any other weapon, but can do it from relative safety.
And apply pressure from safety as well,
Oh, yeah.
too. This is
Oh,
not
yeah.
a passive weapon by any means, and that you
No.
can store those 5 shots. And it's not so much you're trying to take somebody out with 1 shot, because you can't, but the fact that that can combo with some of those other frontline players or those skirmishers, that's what makes it so potent, it feels like.
Now, Jordan, you're taking notes on what I've been giving you
Hey,
here.
you've been a
Very
great
nice.
professor, Nine. Just trying to do my best here. You
No.
speak, I listen.
finally
and I try to
affiliated.
Do my best to regurgitate
Oh.
Fred.
Well, you're
Um,
absolutely right. It won't take players out in one shot.
Congrats.
It gets them really close, and in this game, it doesn't matter.
Sorry,
how
I wasn't
many
expecting to-
100
I wasn't
you
expecting to
cross
hear
that
it.
threshold
Good-
and
good
an
shit,
opponent is
Ponder.
being sent back to spawn. So look for the Snipe Rider players today, like Latias, to be active as they move up with their team to continue to find a way to contribute, almost like rubber band physics in another game.
Oh, a game that we all remember oh so well while sitting around the couch with our friends. That would be one of the all-time great kart racers. And so as we get set for this very first game between the Greasy Goblins and their counterparts, the Smart Roast Chickens from Taiwan, I'm with you, Nine. It is starting to warm up in here. Off goes the jacket. Game 2 as we get set here. We've got the Greasy Goblins facing off against the Smart Roast Chickens. Best of 3 in our
Squeezer.
second quarterfinal. Let's see if the Aussies
The
can
Nova pick is
continue to make
crazy.
history by marching forward further than any other team.
Oh,
in their
it's the
nation's history in these World
same. Yeah, that's right.
Championships.
They're still
It's a
in
blowout here, my friend.
fucking.
Already, I see Nex bringing out a weapon that you're not going to see almost anybody else or anybody else at this play, which is the ink brush here. I saw
Let's go.
some people from back home were asking for it here. This is not a joke. Nex very, very strong with it. You can be an absolute menace and a pest with that weapon. And right now, the Greasy Goblins have done exactly that. The Smart Roast Chickens did score first, but oftentimes in Splat Zones, it's not who gets the zone first, it's who gets the full lockout.
And a reminder, these are predetermined maps and modes these teams have had weeks to prepare for it. And so the Greasy Goblins trying to race out to the early lead. It's at
Okay, wave.
comes that wave breaker.
Nice
Oh,
shot.
How about the shot by Remy?
Oh, Leo absolutely taken for a ride and then trying to go
could have gotten
for
the
it.
shot.
There is Leo. This is actually a really interesting dynamic, Jordan, because this is a backline battle where one
can move forward
has
like this.
deep range advantage. This E-Liter 4K is going
That's better
to
watch as the pencil stays are
outrange
numbered.
Latias on the snipe rifles. That's going to give some opportunities to really push them back.
I don't know.
and
They
make
might just
difficult
buff
for
it.
them to attack. They've taken it back. Smart Rose Chickens with a real opportunity here.
They're threatening to take the lead as the timer goes down. Greasy
Nice
Goblins
crab.
breakthrough. Crab comes out.
And then they
Now lost the
ooh.
lead as Smart Roast Chickens continue to hold down that zone. There's a lot of opportunity on the left there, but the Greasy Goblins just can't get
That's
in.
might just have to
No, and
paint
right
here.
now they're kind of scrambling to decide how they want to move in, how they want to attack. They're trying to build their specials and use them in that fashion, and they've done
Nice
just that.
double.
Great work there by Ardino, taking a couple out and pushing forward beyond the zone, not wasting any time. Trying to take out these other members should be a rough landing for YDD, and it is. Get on back to spawn, my friend. It's the Greasy Goblins' turn.
3-2 advantage on the map. They have a chance, but no, the zone all of a sudden gets to neutral, and the Greasy Goblins have to hurry. They're trying to just chomp away at that penalty. Finally, they can add to
They
the score
might
because
have
over
to like get
3
another
minutes
jet
left.
here.
Wavebreaker
And then they
comes
can
out
take it
once
back.
again, and you mentioned the range of that E-Leader might be the difference between those Smart Roast Chickens and Greasy Goblins.
Yeah, notably it can hit people on their own side of the zone. So if you go behind that cross structure and poke out,
Anarchy
just a little
should
bit,
win
that E-Leader
this.
will be able to hit you from that side. Now they're kind of stuck in an
Nah, it
awkward
doesn't
spot though.
gauge.
That E-Leader dove down with the rest of the team, but they all got taken out, which means that not only is the lead been shifted back, but right now Smart Road Chicken's way out of position.
Yeah, Greasy Goblins
Oh,
take that
that's
back. Here comes the
unfortunate.
Killer Whale. That's going to put a little bit more
And they got a
pressure.
lead.
You see Lynn just trying to pepper the zone as best as they can. They drop down an ink wall, and now it's just an opportunity. Greasy Goblins 6 seconds away. They just have to hold it a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1. Greasy
And
Goblins able to
yikes.
hold on, and they come back from behind to take the first game from the Smart Roast Chickens.
Great
The
stuff
bold
there.
pick,
Two
though,
moments
Anarchy,
that I wanna
Nova.
highlight in that last scuffle is YDD had
I could see it
used
being
from
like
a
an
raised
advantage
position
pick.
that inkjet from that Anarchy splatter shot Nova, but Ardino with that squeezer, the only squeezer player in the tournament, that long-range shooter took them out very quickly.
The
And
only
again,
squeezer
when
player
they
in the
tried to make
tournament?
that dive down, out came the crowd
I could see it,
from
actually.
Remy, who had been
The
waiting
squeezer's
on
a
it the
hard-ass
entire
weapon.
time, and I don't care how strong your 52 gal is, it's not going to take on a crab tank in a one-on-one.
And you're so right as far as the timing of when that special needs to come out. Sometimes as soon as you get it, you just want to deploy it, but waiting until that moment, I think, as you pointed out, the ability to get them out of position. No longer was that E-Leader a threat, and that's when they could be a little bit more aggressive and push forward.
And it's what the crab tank's been doing since it came out. It's a defensive turret. It's a powerhouse. You can use it to pressure opponents back from relative safety. And of course, you've got an awful lot of HP in that tank itself. So great timing there. I was a little worried that that game was getting away from the Goblins, but they did a great job of stabilizing and attacking as only they do.
So that sets up our second game here. As we saw before, tower control on Ship Shape Cargo Company, and it was one that you said earlier, there's a lot of opportunities to attack the tower, and we saw in that first quarterfinal match, as far as Kaiser, they were able to get their first 2 checkpoints pretty quickly here. Now, as you look at the loadouts for these teams that both have true anchors, how does that change the approach here?
Yeah, that'll be a little interesting because the big thing that you saw in that first set was Kaiser was content to say, all right, we're going to build 2 Trizukas, and we're just going to bet that you're not going to be able to fight through 2 Trizukas enough times to build up those points. The Greasy Goblins do have a couple players who could switch over to the splatter shot if they wanted to use that. Of course, that
One
of the
second.
most
Come in.
popular weapons in the game because it builds those Trizukas incredibly quickly. But I think that maybe in comparison to what we saw from Unadon, I think that the Smart Roast Chickens, because they do have a traditional backliner, will be willing and able to bring that Snipe Rider to the battle. They'll have themselves a tactical cooler, which means they'll be able to be a little bit more, we'll say, eager when they're trying to attack instead of trying to set up the perfect scenario for their comp.
And you love the flexibility from the Greasy Goblins, the ink brush coming out that many people have talked about. We might see, and sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to throw a little bit of a curveball to keep your opponents on their back tentacles, and it worked out pretty well for Next because then they were able to be a lot more mobile. I think that paired very well with the anchor support. That
I can still see it being
to where once you finally
Either-
got Unadon
either
out of
team's
position,
game.
you had 3 capable and mobile players to put some pressure on them.
Well, and Bluefin Depot is such a large and wide map, too, that Killer Whale 5.1, which is kind of an understated special in competitive Splatoon, not a lot of the really popular weapons use it, but listen, that goes the entire range of the map, and once you fire it, you can continue moving there. So as opponents are looking at, oh, where's that killer whale coming from? The player who fired it, especially if it's an ink brush, is half the map away at that point. So it's just one more thing that you have to worry about as bombs get thrown at you and shots and crab tanks and everything. It just becomes too much to bear.
Some of us like a 52 gal with the killer whale. Sometimes that's their cup of tea, but as we see the Greasy Goblins take game 1, the Smart Roast Chickens trying to cluck back here with our tower control on Shipshape Cargo Company, and both these teams have had all the time in preparation to get set for these modes, and they're just really thinking about what they need to do, because it's not only what your team has, it's what you're anticipating the other team has for a loadout, I imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of unfamiliarity between these teams, particularly a matchup like this, where I can guarantee these 8 players have never run into each other in this type of fashion, so they're going to have to do a little on-the-job training.
Game 2 between the Greasy Goblins and Smart Roast Chickens. It's some tower control. Let's go ahead and move
The
some
52
cargo
shot
as we see
combo?
both these teams head out.
Reed, where are you?
Loadouts. You're a little surprised, it feels like.
Yeah, I'm removing my foot from my mouth here because there's not a tactical that's come out here from the Smart Roast Chickens, and they're bringing a roller to the party instead. So they are trying the tried and true fashion of taking the opponents out so many times that it doesn't matter if they are tacticoolered or not. The one problem is, well, the Greasy Goblins happy to fight you on any terms, and they have tacticooler.
Greasy Goblins with the tower
That is true,
initially
they do
getting
have
to the first
tacticooler.
checkpoint, and you see
I love
a
my
little bit
drinks.
of
My
the
drinks are delicious.
Crab providing some protection at this point. Crab moving forward, and just look how much they're pushing the Smart Roast Chickens back even while they have that first checkpoint.
Well, and that's what you can do with some of these range specials. When you follow a Crab Tank up with a Trizuka, the opponent simply has to move, and now Ardino holding that side as well. Too much range to be encroached on, and even though a couple players did get taken out by some great shooting there,
They are
from
no tools
Leo's
for a
E-leader,
lockout.
they're still gonna
I
have
can
to work
see
very hard
their-
to get back to the middle
I
of
can
the
see their
map,
gameplay
much less
being-
counter-push.
Greasy Goblins are able
I can
to
see, like,
get
the way
past
they
that
play
first checkpoint.
just,
They were
like,
threatening the second one
being
for a moment,
suffocating,
now
but
that
I
tower's
wouldn't know.
returning
I'm
back
Div
to
7.
mid, and things are going to balance up a little bit. Smart Roast Chickens had the momentary advantage. They do have a special ready to roll, plus it's 4-3 on the map.
Yeah, and Lin went straight forward into the teeth of the enemy and was able to take out Ardino in a true
Nice bubble.
one-on-one fight, which means that they have done a great job of getting themselves to checkpoint
Really
1.
good
They took
bubble,
out
actually. What
another
the
one
hell?
there, and a
They gotta
nice
get rid of
place,
that to
big
shoot the
bubbler.
tower.
The big bubbler does go away faster if it's on the tower, but if it's right in front of the tower, Jordan, it's going to last the full time and a checkpoint down.
Ooh, a little
That's
gamemanship
nice.
right there.
I
And
like that,
now it's going to be
actually.
the Smart Roast Chickens just a couple seconds away from taking the lead as they push the tower. And yes,
Nice
they take the lead,
lead.
approaching the second checkpoint. They're going to hop off. Happy with that lead, but YDD's going to super jump onto the tower, try to keep it moving. And they continue to pick up more of these splats and win these one-on-ones, Nine.
Oh, and
Charger
keep an
diff?
eye on that. Remy won a fight right there against a roller near a tower. That is not easy to do.
I would
and
focus
if
the
he had
cooler
lost
player.
that,
Charger
this
diff.
might still be going in a big way. Instead, they reshuffled.
That's what I'm
the deck and
saying. If
jumped
it
back
were me, I
in.
would focus the
So
cooler
threat
player, then
not
like
kept
no
on as
drinks.
Next dives forward there, but I've been
It's still
very
it would
impressed,
still be
Jordan,
like
with
hard
how Smart
matchups,
Roast
kind
Chickens
of,
have
but
played
you know it would be a
around the
little
tower
easier.
instead of risking themselves the whole time.
Can't super jump out of there. Now it's 4-2 advantage. Greasy Goblins. That tower's returning to mid.
Look
They're
at
gonna
their
go ahead
player
and just hop
weapons,
on it
shot
and try and get it to
52.
move a little bit quicker, and
I'm
they've got
saying.
to
It's
coordinate
us, word
something,
worlds,
Nine,
word
because you know
worlds,
you
word
just erased
worlds.
The majority of the special here for the Smart Roast Chickens.
Oh my god, I had no idea this was pre-recorded.
Well, you do exactly that. They
We just got back
already
home.
two players there from
My
somewhere
bad,
on
guys.
the
Just
other
came home
side.
from
Ardino
Japan.
had pushed up to this
Squeezer
side, which
diff,
is what the
honestly.
Squeezer needs to do. Use the range of this weapon
Squeezer
to take
dust
care of
diff
these
them.
graded areas. Takes out another
Like
one
a good
there, and is
Swiffer.
going to plant right there into
Swiffer?
the
Sorry.
sides
A good
and not
squeezer.
to- Yeah, that's a pretty good reason.
Ardino goes down.
What? You don't
and
know.
at this
Fuck it. A
moment,
good
it's still
Swiffer
the lead.
could be
9
any.
points for
Could
Smart
be
Roast
any
Chickens.
player.
Nearly 2 minutes left in this matchup, and now things have gotten to a little bit of a stalemate at this moment. You see the triple
They're a
ink
little
strike
bunched.
coming down. That'll scatter Greasy Goblins for a moment, and slowly but surely, you see the Smart Roast Chickens trying to gobble up a little bit more turf.
That's
Yeah,
me for real.
but
The roller is
done
just like me
here
for
so
real.
far, again, holding some of these
I know,
positions.
right?
Keep pointing it out.
Tactical squid bagging. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's how I roll, baby.
So that is how it works,
Flat
though.
for
If
the
you
Smart
squid for a
Roast
little bit
Chickens.
on the grates,
But
Yeah.
it's still the Greasy Goblins that are trying to
Looks
control the
fit your
tower. They've got
hitbox.
4 members right by there. Tower's going to take a quick little trip back to mid, and at this point, you just see Latias hopping on the tower, trying to provide that anchor support while it moves forward. They've got all 4 members on the map. A critical one-on-one coming out here. Killer Whale support.
Oh, shit.
Will provide a 2-1 advantage. Now it's just the backliner alive for the Smart
Oh,
Roast
they're gonna
Chickens.
get lead.
This is where things can get out of hand. Are the Smart Roast Chickens going to dive at the tower now to try
No.
to preserve their lead? In just a couple more
No.
points, they won't have
Not
an
the
opportunity
whiff.
to, so they will lose the lead.
It's not a
right
huge
there.
lead. It's not a huge lead.
Jordan, it changes so fast. This is the type
Wave
of
on
game
tower?
I'm used to seeing on this map mode.
YDD
Okay.
had an opportunity, had 2 targets in front of them, but was hesitant to pull the trigger. That allowed Greasy Goblins to take the lead. Under a minute left. Now it's up to the Smart Roast
Oh,
Chickens. Can they
shit.
peck back? No, Greasy Goblins continuing to push forward.
And now things can get scary because with 45 seconds on the map, you're starting to think about how many opportunities you're going to have to make a push. You get a little bit too eager to try to fight because you simply don't have a choice. You can see them trying to push up there on that right side, trying to get some support from the rest of the team, but they're going to need to get a lot done in a hurry.
Greasy Goblins trying to
Oh,
build
they
a
almost got that bubble.
2-0 lead. Here come the Smart Roast Chickens on the tower. They're down a member, though. They deploy another special. Here comes the big bubbler. It's going to vanish
Nice
here
bubble.
soon. Was it maybe too early, 9, because they still have a lot of ground to cover?
Well, they aren't going to need to get through the entirety of that final checkpoint, but they're going to need to hold on
They
to
would've
it for
covered
a
them
little
there.
bit. Here we go.
I think they might-
They're moving forward.
They might make it.
They have to hop off the tower, though, momentarily. Triple Trizuka coming out. Here comes the crowd providing a little bit more support.
Oh.
Are they going to stop them?
Oh,
Yes, they do. The
damn.
Greasy Goblins halt the Smart Roast Chickens just a few precious moments away from possibly taking the
Ugh.
lead. But no, those Goblins, a thief in the night, take game 2.
Yeah, whenever you sit back like that, build up your specials, and fire them all at the tower, listen, it's the right play in most scenarios there. It's a great way to get the opponent off the tower, take them out from relative safety, but boy, does it always make the heart rate jump a little bit, because once those specials go down, you realize, hey, we gave up a lot of room
Gotta
for
get
that
some
strategy.
splats with that special. Gotta get some splats with that special. But what it means, the Greasy Goblins, 1 game away from advancing
Crazy.
to the semifinals.
That was a
They
crazy
take
good
on
game.
Phantom Thief of the Heart, and for the Smart Roast Chicken.
It was a lot more close than the last round.
Much more competitive that time around. However, they just gave up too much ground on that second push.
Yeah, and
Here, I'll be
a
right back. I'm
lot
gonna
of
get some
moments
water.
there that you can really look
Copy.
at. The way
I know
that
we
the
have a
Smart
lot of
Roast
time till
Chickens
next
were
game.
defending that map was they had their E-Leader looking at their right side if you're coming out of their spawn. That meant that when they had control of that side, they could sneak some of their shorter range weapons up and make sure that the Greasy Goblins couldn't set up their long range specials from that position. But the moment that it all came through is when Ardino got set up on that side. We were spectating at the perfect time as Ardino went to work with that squeezer, one of the most powerful main weapons in the game of Splatoon. Once that position fell, the entirety was soon to follow.
And that just goes to show you the mechanics and why it's so important. If you can get your hands on one of those weapons like the squeezer and do what it's supposed to do at those critical moments, that's all it takes in a ranked mode. It's not like Turf War that we saw yesterday where it's the entire 3 minutes. You're waiting for the final 30 seconds. There are always critical moments in every ranked mode match that if you can win that moment right there, you're going to most likely take the game. And it might be subtle in the situation where it isn't moving the tower forward. It's creating the space for your team to hop on the tower and to move forward. That could make the difference, and that's what we saw last time.
Yeah, the coin flip moments, they're the ones that can change the entirety of it. And Splatoon as a game is engineered to create a whole lot of those over time, over and over within the game.
I agree with that.
So glad that we got to spectate that one, and Ardino has to be feeling good.
So that sets up game 3. Rainmaker.
The
and
amount of
Robo
scenarios
Rob. You see a couple of
that can literally
smiles
just
coming
go
on the
either
face of the
or.
Greasy Goblins. They're confident, but still
Do you think
cautious.
Smart Roast is gonna take it back?
Uncharted territory for any team from Australia.
They have a way better chance than doing it than
Get this far in the tournament,
Ubadon.
picking up this many wins.
Unadon?
It's been great to see all the years that we've done this year 9. This is one of the most impressive showings we've seen from a team.
Yeah,
in that
these games
region.
feel
The
closer.
Smart Roast
They have like
Chickens
way more potential.
closer that second time, as we said before, but I think you pointed it out.
What is this, Robo
We're
Rain?
looking for something to give them a little bit more
I
support
think so, yeah.
in those situations.
Well, just to give them a little room for error
Yes.
here, a little margin for
Yes.
error here. They've done such a good job at winning some of these
I can
fights
see them making,
openings.
like,
I
they've
said
made
earlier,
big
their mechanics and
beginnings.
skills, and I
They
hope
just
that
need to keep that
what
energy.
they've done against a tactical cooler team has made that case for me here. They clearly have everything they need from that perspective. There's just some small moments, some
All right, let's
opportunities
go.
they haven't given themselves.
We're
They're
playing
gonna have
video
to give
games.
themselves an awful lot here in a mode like Rainmaker.
Game 3, Greasy Goblins looking for the sweep. Smart Roast Chickens just trying to stay alive at this point and avoid the oven. Here we go. 5 minutes.
He's loving those chicken
ramen. Who will advance? And
chicken
who will
references
keep
or
this
whatever.
alive?
Smart roast
Tim
chicken.
finally bringing out the end zap. There will be a tactical this time for the Smart Roast Chickens.
Damn,
And
the
White
early
has
pick.
also brought out that
So it's funny, I'm gonna
blaster.
head out.
This
Good night,
could be an
Ponder.
absolute menace here, and it's
See you
great
around.
at breaking open positions. You see right now trying to fire beyond that glass.
Nice
spot
wave.
You know the opponent is going to try to defend from.
We also saw a change in the loadout for the Greasy Goblins as well, as down goes a member of the Smart Roast Chickens.
Oh,
The
unfortunate.
splatter shot has come out here from next. There will be no brush on a map like this. I kind of get it, because when you can fire forward with grace,
They got the pick,
like
they
Nex
immediately
has
knew what's
right
up.
Here with this 10-tech splatter shot. Listen, if it has splatter shot in the name, it's going to be a-okay from a main weapon standpoint. That's checkpoint down.
Latias sniped somebody with that Rainmaker, able to advance into the first checkpoint, and now the Greasy Goblins are in position. Triple ink strike, trying to create a little bit of room for them. It's quickly erased with purple ink by the Smart Roast.
You gotta imagine
They're
it's a little
positioned, and they're
demoralizing.
coolered up for the first time.
Yep,
do you
very
mean?
nicely done there to hold that
Like-
spot. That first
like you're playing at
checkpoint
Worlds,
quickly on
your
this
opponent
map,
takes
you
2 games off of
do not
you.
let it get down into the 20s, into the teens. That's where it can be very
Oh,
difficult.
let's
Moving
fucking
forward.
go!
Hold
What
on.
the
Oh,
fuck?
three that time.
You were
Oh my
saying?
goodness, the Smart Roast Chickens have a real opportunity. They need to
Holy.
unlock us. It appears that they had. Did they get
Look
around?
out.
Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Can they
Let's
get to the first
go.
Beautiful,
checkpoint? The
beautiful.
answer is yes.
And of course, they moved to just 1 point behind. They're the second team to get to the checkpoint. But
Solo
right
pop.
Here, they could burst the Rainmaker shield and just try to steal the lead, but that triple ink strike comes in to put a rain on that parade. And so far, we've seen a little bit more aggression coming out from the Smart Roast Chickens, but excellent job of the
Hit the
Goblins
booyah.
to stabilize the defense.
Yeah, great job there. Both of these teams knowing that they can give up that first checkpoint.
Oh my
but
God,
not gonna
I'm
be
hoping
the
for
winning
Smart Roast
push.
Chickens
Don't
win.
let the
I
opponent
like
get too
them.
far from that for free. Don't overextend.
I want them to win
Jared went
one
down there.
match.
I don't know if it was to the Trizuka or something
Not the
else. That
bomb.
could have been a moment, but the other members have done a decent job of stabilizing. There's all sorts of pandemonium in the middle of the map now at this point.
And we've got a 1 point differential in this game. Rainmaker claimed by the Greasy Goblins, 3-3 on
Nice
the map.
jump.
And now it's Latias just backing up, waiting for a little bit more support as they
Come
get
on,
organized.
easy,
Oh,
easy
nice.
pick.
Remy goes down. That range blaster doing some work up close.
Gets
Two pick?
another one.
Nice,
Three
nice.
splats and nearly a wipeout.
Hold on, the fourth one is right there. We can see a quad on stream at the World Championships here for YDD.
I can hear Pro
Oh,
Drama
they
got a
screaming.
little too overzealous as
Get the
Ardino
lead.
now goes on a tear of his own.
Oh, they got a lot of pressure.
took 2
Move an
down there and is
inch.
Now going after the third. Hold on,
Damn.
this has immediately gotten away from the Smart Roast Chickens there. Got caught on the wrong
No.
side of the tacticooler, meaning that despite
No, they can bring it back, they can bring it back.
Like Jordan, now they're the ones retreating.
And that's incredible for how fast the Greasy Goblins.
Oh,
are
no,
getting
the
right
Rainmaker's
back
gonna
into
go
the
down.
thick of things.
Yo, he's
Push-
joking the
Actually,
fuck out of
it's
the splash,
better.
though.
bookmark that moment, and
You see that
right now,
shit?
that
They're
puts
gonna
Ardino
crab,
in a
though.
very difficult situation. He's trying to back
Come
up
on,
a little bit.
come on,
Splat
come on.
right
Come on,
there,
come on, come on, come on.
3-3, and can the Smart Roast Chickens? It feels like 9. Just do what you can to take the lead at this point.
Well, at this point, that Rainmaker's only got a few. Yeah, it's only 8
7
Come on,
seconds left.
come on.
That's going to explode.
That's
Let's go, they got lead.
With it, 56 points. You can see just how quickly those points start to fly off the board. YDD got behind them there with the range blaster to open that up for them there with 90 seconds.
That's what I'm talking about. I just need to,
Still
like,
not a big
defend for
push
their
on this
life.
map, but for the Smart Roast Chickens, once again, Jordan, they find a way to take a lead.
And now they can play defensive if they want to with 90 seconds. It's not much of a lead, as you said, but that changes things, and now it's going to force the Greasy Goblins to encroach on their territory. Out comes the crab.
Oh, they got a
Tactical
pick, though.
comes out. Team is juiced up. Rainmaker still in the middle. Now they're
Just
gonna
gotta focus on
picks.
And down
They're
goes two
losing it,
members
they're
of the
losing
Greasy
it.
Goblins. That's huge for the Smart Roast Chickens.
I mean, YDD was the player I highlighted.
Nice.
So accurate with
Nice.
this range blaster, and Jared here on the stage.
Get the
with
pencil?
Assault-style weapons on this team. The fighting weapons doing exactly what they
Hmm.
need to over and over again. Just 1 minute left.
They
Are
play
gonna
so
grab
smart,
this
it's so
minute, or are
crazy
they
to
simply gonna
watch.
sit back here? I'm not even sure they know the answer to that.
More triple ink strikes coming down. All 4 members on the map for both teams, but 2 specials
Nice.
ready to go for the Smart
Nice.
Roast Chickens. Remy gets splatted again, and now it's 3-2. This is huge for the Smart Roast Chickens. They can try to close
Easy,
this
easy,
out.
Oh, a
easy.
big fight right here. Ardino versus Jared.
Let's
There
go.
is
Oh,
going to be the
down
stamper.
goes Ardino, the stamper with a critical
Oh my god, I'm in
splat.
love.
Great work, and gets another one
What?
there to his next.
They win in my
overextended
hearts.
A little bit now. Remy
I don't know, Smart Roast Chickens, they feel like I love an underdog comeback.
on this map. It's going to be a couple desperate specials to try to
Oh,
open
let's
it.
go.
Hold on a minute. That's 2 down
That
there.
crab is half
path
dead.
ahead is awfully yellow.
Yeah.
That crab is
It's
full
over
dead.
for them. It's
Whoops.
over. It's
The Wave Breaker
over.
getting the splat on the
No,
They're not gonna
ground.
let them
How
pick
about
that up.
How did
6
they
seconds
fumble?
left. Smart Roast Chickens might hang on
I
and
can't
force a
scream
game
because
4.
everyone in my
It
house
up
is
for grabs
asleep.
at this point, and that'll do it. The Smart
Nice
Roast
game.
Chickens come back and stay alive. They avoid hopping on
That
the
was really
plane for
good.
one
You
more
know what? They
game.
didn't
The
give up
Greasy
when they had like
Goblins,
9 seconds
they
left
had
on
it
the
for a moment,
Rainmaker.
but they looked uncomfortable, and
They
maybe
waited for that
changed the
opportunity,
loadout
and it was a
there,
really
Nige.
smart
Was
play.
the
If
recipe
anything,
that
I
the
bet that
Smart
filled
Roast
them.
Chickens were looking for?
I mean, it certainly looked pretty strong to me, and that map.
Like, if I were there
favored
and I
what
had
think
10
might be
seconds
their
left, I
best
was like,
comp
fuck
as a
it,
whole,
hold
which is
forward.
moving Jared over to the Stamper and
Yeah, but there's
Rahhhhhhh
a
onto
there's a
the
possibility they
Blaster,
kill you
but
before you get
oh my
lead.
goodness,
They
when
they
it
waited
came
for the
time
perfect
to fight,
time.
You could see what the Smart Roast Chickens were capable of right there. So many fights that they took from disadvantageous positions, and it didn't matter. There was a moment in that game where Remy dove on top of that range blaster with a burst bomb, so that's already 60 damage done.
That range
Reminded
is
you just turns
nasty,
90
dude.
degrees, one shot, and
Dude,
you're
that
done.
triple
Now
he
going
got?
after your teammates here.
The range blaster was the MVP for sure as far as your weapons in that last game, and now this is an opportunity. If you're the Smart Roast Chickens, if it ain't broke, maybe you don't try to fix it as we get set for
That's so true. If they know they don't know how to, like, if the range blaster's working and they're seeing like they don't really know how to fight range blaster that well, there's no reason to switch.
You think they had a reason for double wave?
Maximize your window for scoring.
Man,
What's up?
Sturgeon Shipyard
You think
is
they had a
such an
reason
interesting map
to do double
play
wave?
Clam Blitz on, because
No
typically what
idea,
you're seeing
honestly.
Clam
Maybe
Blitz,
just
depending
for the
on
purpose of
map,
like
you're
marking
seeing
opponents.
comp that has a lot of these very slow special building type of compositions that you'll simply jump in from a distance, or you'll have the much more, we'll say, the butcher's approach, where you simply move forward, fight the opponents, keep them in their spawn as a couple players simply run around, pick up clams, build more power clams, and toss them into the basket and get your scores from that point. But Sturgeon Shipyard, being a map from Splatoon 2, has a very, very wide base area. You see that in a lot of those maps, which means you'll oftentimes see a couple players sit right underneath the basket and try to pick off defenders as they're coming out here. So this will be interesting, and also might be where we see a special that we haven't talked about at all this tournament, which is the Kraken Royale. Jordan, one of the most popular strategies right now in
Kraken
Blitz,
cheese.
you build up a
Oh yeah, it
Kraken,
is gonna be
you
Clam Blitz,
swim
isn't it?
towards the opponent's goal. They can't do anything about it, and you
Yeah,
super
Clam
jump
Blitz
in.
Sturgeon.
Royale over Royal, huh? You are a distinguished gentleman, my friend.
Well,
I love
thank
it
you.
right there.
That's the nicest thing you've said to me on one of these casts, Jordan.
And this is interesting. We've talked
love
about
these
there are
casters.
some wacky strategies that you
Yeah,
can
they're
use
pretty
that
good.
You wouldn't really see in any other game mode, but
They know what's up.
Because Clam Blitz is unlike anything else that teams play for the most part, and so this will be fascinating on Sturgeon Shipyard, as you said. There's a lot more space for teams to get into the middle. And
I
then
would
to
be
operate at that
sweating.
point. You don't necessarily have some of those.
Dude, it's
choke
gotta be
points.
like
There's a lot of
hot as
close
fuck in there,
quarter
dude.
fighting. And that'll be fascinating for the Smart Roast Chickens because they found that loadout. They went with the Tacticooler and went with that range blaster. And those two things right there, that was the difference for them in that last game.
Like I would have immediately put my hair up.
Spawn camping the Greasy Goblins there. They popped that Rainmaker with what, like 70 seconds left in the game? Then they never opted to pick it up or even come close to touching it. They just went and fought over and over and over again, and that's where they're their strongest.
And keep in mind, the timer almost went out on the Rainmaker, and they were still down by one, had a little mini push. And so here we go. Game 4, it's still an opportunity for the Greasy Goblins. They win here, they move on to semifinals. Smart Roast Chickens
Okay.
would love to force a
Like it's
They're keeping
crazy.
it.
Here we go.
This is a crazy position to be in because this game could just be their last for Smart Roast.
Hey, bring
Mhm.
that comp back out again. I don't care if it fits the map or the mode. You play that well with a comp, you stick with it as long as you can. On the other side, the brush going to be back out from next. Another weapon that's really good at getting around in Clam Blitz.
So right now, both teams just trying to fight for middle, gather up those clams.
Nice
You wanna
pick.
Be a little bit more mindful before you build that first power clam. 4-3 advantage for the Smart Roast Chickens. Bobbing and weaving that range blaster, as we said before, nearly goes down. That Trizuka almost snuck around the corner and got them. They retreat wisely.
Yep, doing a pretty good job.
Oh, they have
there,
time advantage?
Retreating without actually having to go back too far. You can still, they still have a presence in the middle, so if that's as far back as you have to retreat, you're usually in a pretty good spot. They're going to continue to shuffle around. You probably have already noticed here, not easy to push on this map, you can't really sneak around. It's so wide open. So they're going to wait as long as they possibly can, try to take a couple out before they dive in with this.
Double wave breaker and the Zipcaster ready to go at this moment, and just being very mindful are the Smart Roast Chickens.
Double wave definitely depends on how aggressive your team is playing for it to be good.
So wait for the Smart Roast Chickens to make the first move here.
Well, I think why not, right? They're going to have to come to you eventually, and as you noted, Jordan,
Ooh, they dropped the ball.
double wave breaker on their specials.
It's probably
Once
deliberate.
Again,
He's gonna get pinched there. He tried to jump out.
The opponent that has the Zipcasters who's carrying the power clamp, there's almost
Oh, they're going for it.
you if you hold back.
Gets the splat on Jared. Inkbrush moves forward to create a path. And right now, the Greasy Goblins just need to build a power clam. Just 6 clams in their repertoire at the moment. Still tied at 100 apiece, but we're waiting for that first big push. Nearly 3.5 minutes.
This is a hard map to push on.
So far, it's just a matter of applying a
Usually
little
it's
bit of
like one
pressure.
push and it's over.
And now we see a
Hard map to
Oh, they're
defend
going
on.
for it.
in the hands of the Greasy Goblins with some crab support.
Yep, some
Oh, they're gonna
support.
make it
They've
right
got
here.
One player push back here.
Yeah,
Rage miss.
There it is. YDD comes over a little bit too late, and they use those long-range specials, Jordan, to open up and force the members of the Smart Roast Chickens
Oh, my
away.
neck.
Now the door is open here. Every one of these clams that they put in will be worth 3 points. Any of their power clams worth 20.
And they're trying to just shuffle things right now and keep that timer fresh. They've gotten to 41
Damn.
already. How about that? Down to
It's a
35.
crazy
and
lead.
Now they're just trying to scramble for anything they can find as some of those clams are taking their time to respawn. It feels like the Smart Roast Chickens, as all 4 members
Insane,
lower
dude.
level
Damn.
will stop that push, but 9, that's a haymaker out the gate.
Well, and it's not over yet. That's essentially a wipeout that fell there. I think one person ended up falling on a bomb there, and 2 went down as a result of that. That's half your fighting force, and we're going to see another opening as a
Damn.
result.
Barrier bus open.
They
once
might
again
just
for
knock
the
out here.
clams on the field for the Greasy
Oh,
Goblins.
they're one
Just a
down.
matter of trying to get their timer almost nearly out. And that'll
Their
just
push
cut
is
down
dead, I
that
think.
penalty a little bit now, still at
Two
plus
pities.
0.2, but you see the huge lead with just over 2 minutes left, and that's going to force the hand of the Smart Roast Chickens. They've got to be aggressive,
Damn.
and no luck there as they go down.
Yep, this is, again, a very uphill battle they'll have to fight with here. This is another map where, because it's so wide, it can be difficult to retreat out to the center of the map and grab more clams once you open up your opponent's spawn. I bring that up because as time ticks away, Jordan, there's only going to be 1 or 2 chances for the Smart Roast Chickens.
And Jared right now nearly at spawn, just trying to find an opportunity. Oh, here comes next, though, a racing, forcing the
Damn.
fumble.
Double.
With 2 splats, and that'll put
Oh,
Smart Roast
3.
Chickens back on their heels.
A quad?
A
quad?
They
A
are
quad?
cleaning up right now.
Next might have just gotten a
Damn.
quad right there. I think that 4th one was his. I won't know here, but if so, you just got to see an Inkbrush
might have been his,
quad
he
here
just didn't-
at the World
He just didn't
Championship.
put the display.
Next, still not done, is sharking around at the
It kind of looked like an assist, but it's hard.
Yellow ink as Latias provides a little bit of a path forward, but it is all Greasy Goblins
3
thus
pities.
far. They're playing
This brush is
the execution. Next is going
crazy.
back in for more.
Greasy Goblins picking all the meat off the bone. A double splat.
Look at
here
their
from the crab,
pitties.
and now their power
No.
clam will go in. They've got an opportunity for the knockout. Just a few more.
No,
They're
it's
gonna find their
over.
way.
That is
It's
One
depressing.
clam away
over.
from the semifinals. Can the Greasy Goblins do it? They
It's
do,
fine.
and they
They win in
make
my heart.
history for Australia, New Zealand, and advance to the semifinals. 3-1 over the Smart Roast Chickens.
Oh, and you can see how quickly games of Splatoon can get away from you, Jordan. They were so evenly locked there at the start. You and
Damn.
I kind of had our hands
Inkbrush and
around
Worlds.
our headphones there for a little bit, just trying to say, okay, 2 minutes into the game, when are we going to have an opening? And then
Somebody
immediately,
score.
one opening comes through, and Next dives forward multiple times, cycles through the members of the Smart Roast Chickens, and once they got pushed back,
I wanna
that's why
see a
talked
turf
about
war
Splatoon
match.
Shipyard being a map where you can
Really
get your
interesting.
opponent to come out of their spawn and punish them over and over and over again. That's exactly what it looks like, as you just saw.
Is Phantom Thief next, right?
Greasy Goblins for just opportunity, and I think once it started to go downhill,
No, it's
they
Jackpot.
didn't just rest on their laurels and want to play.
No, are we still in quarters?
Packed in that final opportunity where it felt like
No. It is Jackpot next, I think.
Yeah, no, 'cause we're going top down.
Ink splat that we saw here.
Semi's just
As
finished.
far as then the
And then it's gonna
crab came out with the
be
double splat, and it was
Kaiser and Jackpot.
Next, one of the finest
Jackpot
players
win.
that you see.
Jackpot
Played a lot of
win.
very unconventional weapons at the
I
absolute
don't
top
not
level.
see
You
it.
got to see it here today. A total treat. Here, taking a look at the first game, though, you know, this was actually, as you see right there, Argino with that shot that I was talking about. That was maximum range from the squeezer, but this was the moment where you saw, okay, this would be a nicely contested game between these two, but there are just these small moments there where because of a comp or maybe because they're not quite as familiar with how the Greasy Goblins play. Smart Roast Chickens tries to force an issue at a certain point, and the Greasy Goblins just had the answer.
And it felt like Smart Roast Chickens needed to pivot just 2 games earlier to that comp that they had, because they looked like a completely different team at that point.
That range had so much potential too.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't take it out originally.
Like, I feel like if they had that, plus maybe the 52. Hold on, the audio's going.
That's where they really seem to have the advantage.
Yeah. Specials really are what dominates Splatoon right now outside of Tacticooler, and it's again because the Crab Tank and because the
There you
Trizuka
go.
can
It fixed
put
itself.
total
Alright.
fear into the hearts of the opponent there. It can give them a real reason to have to move, because if they stay still, they're simply going to be taken out. Meanwhile, the
It's a
user
little
of that
crunchy, but-
special is from behind cover. They're either in the Crab Tank, which has HP of its own, but it's safety. So when you can apply that sort of threatening pressure from absolute safety, it just completely changes how the opponent has to maneuver.
An impressive showing.
that brush
for the
went
Greasy
dummy.
Goblins. They head to the semifinals.
That brush was
where they will
fucking
face off
crazy.
against Thief of the Heart, and that should be an exciting
Like-
match as well between those 2 teams. So the semifinals are set as we ink a little bit closer to a
I mean,
world
Brush and
champion
Clamblitz,
here for the Splatoon 3
like,
World
they go hand in
Championship
hand, but
2024, and
even
what's
then,
fascinating to me is just those teams that are willing to be a little bit more flexible as we see
I
the
didn't
bracket.
even know
It's
you
gonna
could,
be-
like,
And up next, it'll be Jackpot
Oh, no,
versus
continue.
Kaiser.
I didn't even know you could, like,
Jackpot,
spam
this
your
will be the
fucking
first
button like
action
that.
of the day.
I try to
Kaiser,
do
we
it,
saw
but
them
it's like I'm
breeze through
never gonna be
quarterfinals
nearly as
with
fast.
a 3-0 sweep over
Yeah, it's
Rubicon.
practice.
As
Also, it's gonna be
after that, the
Jackpot versus
Greasy
Phantom Thief.
Goblins will take on the #1 seed from Group B, Phantom Thief of the Heart.
Jackpot can't
This
lose.
should
Jackpot can't
be a
lose.
fantastic semifinals here, Jordan. As soon as I saw how this was potentially slated to end up here with Jackpot and Kaiser battling it out here, North America and Europe, every time we've seen a set between these 2 regions at the World Championship, it has been a treat. It has never once disappointed.
Let's go ahead and get to the semifinal rules and stages. It's still best of 5, first to 3 wins, but a change-up in the stages and the modes. Rainmaker, Barnacle, and Dime to get things started. Tower Control, Inkblot, Art Academy, a classic. Clam Blitz at Umami Ruins. And then Game 4, if necessary, Splat Zone, Museum del Foncino, and Turf War on Humpback Pump Track.
How did he pronounce that?
Zone's a mode that a lot of teams are very
The
comfortable playing.
Alfonso,
Won't be
the
seen
Alfonsino.
unless you can pick up a game, and that's going to be critical for some of these top teams.
Yeah, very interesting. The order that these modes come out really can change the dynamic of a set here. And with Rainmaker and Tower Control being the first 2, these are both the strongest modes for these 2 teams. I think a lot of them would probably tell you that.
These are
This
all
is gonna
pretty
be
strong
But
maps.
If you are
This is gonna
Kaiser,
be
for instance, you get to play your
crazy.
2 strongest modes against Jackpot.
Or Jackpot's
Immediately,
gonna fucking
you
long come
of
out.
This 2-0, you get on maybe your 3 worst modes, at least 3 chances then to get that 3rd game. They have to be loving how this is looking here. And for Jackpot's side, I think this is your opportunity here. If you steal one of these 2 games from Kaiser, you can say, okay, and their worst 3 modes are the back 3.
And also just putting that pressure on a team sometimes, right? When you're down 2-0 and then all of a sudden trailing in that 3rd game, you start making maybe riskier decisions. It's hard to play sound and fundamental in those moments if you feel that pressure of, oh my gosh, this tournament
I
might
wanna
end.
believe in
need to
Kaiser, I
play.
swear
have
to
make a
God.
play that might try to
But, like,
overextend themselves
Jackpot
sometimes.
Yeah,
Win.
these are very experienced players. Again, all of them
But,
having
like,
to
Jackpot-
get through an
It's
in-person
Jackpot.
on-stage
It's
championship
Jackpot.
like this one. So
Jackpot's gonna
you would
win.
hope
Like,
that
they're gonna win it
putting
all.
the name World
Like, I'm-
Championship on it wouldn't cause them to
I
lose
don't
heart like
want to
that,
be
but
mean,
you never know, man. The
but
lights are
first
always bright.
game, but first
Yeah,
round
they
was
really
given
are
to
in this
them.
situation. And so
Mm-hmm.
getting to Jackpot, this was a team that we've talked about in North America, really rose up through the ranks, fought through a lot of adversity where they were never really the top team for a long time. They had to overcome and take down some of the big dogs in North America. They finally do, and then they've been playing some of their best Splatoon as of recent. They were
Mm-hmm.
very dominant in their ability to get here from North America back in August and September.
Yeah, you really don't need to look any further than when Tacticooler became big, that Jackpot really took their main advantage. And I don't mean to say that to do anything to dissuade you from believing that they came up here through their own hard effort into the semifinal. But once that came out, it gave Jackpot an advantage to play their brand of Splatoon against anybody. They were always the attacking team.
Tacticooler does cheat
tried
though.
to fight, and they have not
Mm.
looked back since that game.
As we get set
That is
for the
that is also
semifinal,
that
let's
is
meet
also
our
a fact.
first
But Jackpot
team,
is.
Jackpot, the North
Oh my God,
American
it's Leafy.
representatives with their inkling
Oh my
wearing
God,
a
Leafy.
hamburger for the logo. And that brings out all 4 members. Oh, Judd makes an appearance, and Little Judd as well, too.
Yeah, let's go.
And 9, you know these members very well. They each are highly skilled in what they bring to the table for this Jackpot team.
Yep, they have been at the top of North American Splatoon for so long. It's hard not
Jackpot
to be
win.
familiar, but Kaiser on the other end, representing Europe, Germany in particular here. They want to do their region proud. Majin coming out as always with the gun, showing their flexing. They
Fucking love
they can beat
Majin.
anybody at this event, and they expect to do just that.
If you were to look at any type of rivalry, this is as close as you get here. North America versus Europe, Jackpot versus Kaiser. You go back to 2018 when North America was coming off that championship in 2017, and in the semifinals, it was Europe, Majin, part of that team that upset North America in the States to punch their ticket in the finals and hoping to replicate
go
that
Jackpot.
here today. And for Jackpot, how quickly can you get the blood flowing and get up to speed, because Kaiser's had a chance to get into rhythm early on.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting answer. I know that in the backstage they have been setting up there, still keeping warm all as they have. They were huddled up there, giving themselves as much of a pep talk as you can possibly imagine. but
Jackpot.
for Jackpot, they have to consider that this is simply just another set for them. These players have been on this stage so often. They're so comfortable with it here. They are locked in and focused there. Simple call-outs right now. Let's make it happen. That's what they're telling themselves right now, and on the other side, it's much the same.
9, what should we expect with Rainmaker at Barnacle and Dime? This is a map and mode you've fancied yourself with before, and what's going to happen here?
This is actually
Don't look at me
somewhat
like that.
similar to what we saw on Robo Ramen, Jordan, where you'll have that very first checkpoint that can fall kind of quickly there. Is a nice wide open center of the map, but then you get to those choke points that are a little bit further up, and that's, I think, where you'll see a defense either be totally set up or lost. If the attacker gets there even a couple seconds before the defenders are ready, you might see one push totally go the distance on this map. It can be that volatile.
Looking at the loadouts for both these teams, as far as Jackpot, they're a team that used to rely heavily on that ballpoint splatling before you had some changes. And now they've had to pivot a little bit, but this is a team that'll rely on that snipe rider as well.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that before TAQ became known as the American Jetpacker with that ballpoint splatling, she was one of the finest chargers in the game, period. And even in the years of Splatoon 2, where everybody was switching off the charger, she refused to. So
That is true.
going back over to Snipe Rider has not been a challenge for her whatsoever. I will say it did take Jackpot a little bit of time to figure out how that worked instead of having Jared be their provider, but it's given Jared the chance to move back over.
Their
some
provider.
Other support shooters, and he's really become the connective tissue of these attacks.
And you oftentimes praise the flexibility for Jackpot. This is a team that you said before just had to shuffle their entire lineup as far as the roles and responsibilities for everybody. They're very comfortable choosing a different weapon based on the map and mode and excelling with that. Several of them have several weapons to choose from.
Oh, yeah. When I was chatting with Leafy before this tournament, she told me, she says, I've got about 6 weapons I'm comfortable playing here today, and you might see all of them. So have to feel confident in that. And, you know, it's funny you bring that up,
Just
Jordan,
like me,
because
for
I'd
real.
argue that's the strength of Kaiser as well.
Kaiser, very confident. They're trying to score what many people would say is an upset, if that's fair to say, if they can take off
I would agree.
Jackpot. And
I would say.
best of 5, you've got 3 games. We'll decide
Let's
our
fucking
victor if
go.
they can get
Take
those
a
dubs. And
look-see.
we start off Rainmaker and Barnacle and Dime, who's going to be the first team to pick up a victory and march that much closer to the finals. Here we go, semifinals of the World
This is crazy.
Championships, North America versus Europe.
Oh my God.
Let's get it on.
Oh my goodness! Take a look at these comps, Jordan. This is
The
bizarre
two
all
stampers.
over the place. So Jared does go back over
both
to
took
the
out
Unzap
Rapid.
85, which means .Q isn't going to be playing Snipe Rider. Instead, she's playing the same Rapid Blaster Pro
Leafy.
Deco as Majin's bringing out, and we have the 96 Cal
There's
Deco
no
coming
way.
out here on the side
Whoa,
of Kaiser. That's a lot of syllables that I just said, but it means a Kraken Royale may make an appearance finally.
Hey, listen, Sheldon's got a lot of options. Might as well explore some of them. So early on, not
Nice
much
pick,
happening
nice
on the
trade.
map. Jackpot with the
Oh, there.
22 advantage momentarily. But right now, they're really jockeying for
Oh, they're
position,
gonna
but
go
they're going
for
to go ahead
it.
and pick up the Rainmaker, advance it a
The
little bit,
zip.
but then down
What a
goes
play.
Jared, just like that.
Yeah,
They have
but
Kraken,
still in
though.
a great position to continue pushing this forward. You see them get the
Yep,
immediate
they go
pop,
for
and
it.
they had their specials and will take out Ishik as a result. This is where this Kraken Royale comes in, though.
Imagine he
because you can
accidentally
move
picked it
forward
up.
there and take out the people who are still jumping in.
Damn.
And if you try to dive on it too late, you might get
Oh,
punished
they're going
yourself.
crazy.
This
They're
has
going
been
crazy.
a scrambly sort of position.
And just for 25
Okay.
points
Damn,
off the
Leaf
board,
canceled.
that was a
They
lot
got
of work
someone.
there for Jackpot.
Oh, no.
Now,
They got
Kaiser's
themselves.
gonna get a chance to sort of regroup and advance forward. They have a 4-2 advantage on the
Damn.
map.
Great job there by Xera's, taking one member out there who was just coming out of spawn,
Leafy's
which
going
means they will
crazy
not have
by
any
himself.
Leafy,
special
no.
to be used at that point.
Leafy's
This is a
literally
real
playing by
opportunity
herself,
for
yeah.
Kaiser now. If they get Xera's back in here on the attack, as you can see, he is spamming trying to jump back in as quickly as he can. There's a real opportunity for them to get this first checkpoint, Jordan.
Zara's trying to move forward, just peppering some shots from that Rainmaker to provide a little bit of support. And now you've got Majin, again, a
Ooh.
double
Oh.
splat, and that's going to open up the door for Kaiser.
Opens it up, but shut immediately by a great Trizuka shot there. They're going to grab it
It's
once
very
again,
close.
so they should have an opportunity to try to take it. But again, Jordan, buying just that little bit of time that it took to reset that Rainmaker means that even with that great position, Kaiser not able to get that checkpoint.
And Leafy coming in, getting a critical splat, and so it is just a 3-point lead for Kaiser, but neither team has gotten
Critical
to the
splat.
checkpoint, and now you've got some hopes of it if you're Jackpot. You're pushing Kaiser back further and further. Rainmaker on the doorstep of that checkpoint, tries to dive in there. That
Oh.
tries to
Nice lead.
certainly keep things open, but
Oh, no
finally
cap, though.
splatted as they were up in the air.
And look at that, they did not get through that checkpoint. And with
Oh,
the wipeout,
shit.
Jordan, this is huge there. Who's going to grab it?
Oh, my goodness.
Ishik grabs it here, which means they won't be able to pull out another tacticaler here. But with that timing, they're
And-
going to take this immediately. And
There's
they will
no
have
way
the special
Jackpot
advantage
loses.
on this attack. Jackpot needs to be very careful.
That was a huge wipeout, and now the momentum is all in the hands of Kaiser. Kaiser just trying to push Jackpot back. You see the Rainmaker on that checkpoint tower for Kaiser. And now Kaiser's doing an excellent job of just making sure all the action stays in the spawn area of Jackpot.
Well, and again, the dynamic of this game is completely changed now because Jackpot did not get through the checkpoint on their push. That means that even
Dude,
if
Leafy's
they
gotta
get there,
chill,
the
dude.
tiebreaker
Yeah,
will
Leafy's
still
playing
go to
super
Kaiser
forward.
because they got there first.
Majin picking up the splat on Leafy, and now it is 4-2 on the map, 4-3. Jackpot maybe has a moment. Oh, a double splat, the killer whale. That's going to help tag team, and here's a chance for Jackpot to advance.
Well, it's going to preserve the game for them there, too. If that had gone so ugly, it might be, again,
Oh,
another person in the middle. And
Kraken?
something I finally get to talk about now
They're
is
done.
Fly Zero on this Kraken Royale. Jordan, at any point, this special can be popped, and they can go directly after the Rainmaker carrier, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Cleaning up with that Kraken Royale. Just over 90
Yeah, that's
seconds
true.
left. Kaiser hanging on to a slim 2-point lead. Trying to retreat just a little bit. Find that positioning. Splash wall comes up. They get Jared. Majin goes down, though. That's their backliner. And here's
I think
Jackpot
Jackpot's gonna
that
lose
holds
this.
out the killer whale. 5.1 one more time. And another skirmish in close quarters. That's going to go advantage Jackpot.
And now Jackpot finally getting an attack started in the way that they are so good at doing there. They pushed
Oh,
forward
they-
really quickly, but now Xera's
No,
is
no, no,
going
no,
after
no.
the Rainmaker there. Needs to not go down because, again, Xera's
Ooh.
is the best candidate to try to shoot at this Rainmaker. Is now on this side going
for it,
after
go
Dot
for
Q.
it.
Takes the
Oh,
jumper who came
God.
back in and
That
gets
was
Q as well.
fucking
And
sick.
the Rainmaker!
Oh, triple splat takes down the Rainmaker. 50 seconds left. Kaiser in
No,
excellent
they're gonna
position as they
lose.
advance it forward.
Oh, and look out. This
Holy
is a very
shit.
dangerous jump. It's certainly going to get taken out, but what's going to come
Jackpot's
after
gonna
the fact?
lose.
That's a long-range special moving forward there. How many points are
Jackpot's
they going
gonna
to get down to
fucking
43,
lose.
Jordan? To
Oh my God.
28. The threat is not yet gone. Majin is still there. Xera's is still there. Fly Zero is still there. They could still get more points.
Kaiser trying to take game one. They're looking for the knockout.
Fucking
They lose the Rainbow, though.
way.
4-3, possibly
No
one last
fucking
chance for a
way.
Jackpot push, but they've got to go through a checkpoint. And to your point,
You know what,
was
Jackpot?
huge that they
Jackpot,
missed it
come,
earlier on.
we'll come back.
Absolutely, because now, even if they get to it, that Kraken Royale can come out and take out anybody who gets near it. 10 seconds left. It wouldn't surprise me if Kaiser simply gives up this checkpoint and tries to play it at that point. You heard it right there. That Kraken
Oh,
Royale has come out.
shit.
It is going back
Why didn't they
after
go
their
for
Rainmaker
Jackpot?
carrier.
Overtime?
That is where the fight is going on. Will
What
the
the
Rainmaker
f-
get
No!
away? It does
It
for
does!
just a
A
Oh,
chance!
shit.
Yes, Kraken Royale goes down. They're trying to get to the first
Come
checkpoint.
on.
Oh my
Opportunity
God.
here
Oh my God, they're
for
gonna come back.
Jackpot.
They're gonna
They've
come
got
back.
numbers on the field. 2 specials ready for
They gotta get
Kaiser.
pop.
This is critical now. It's an overtime. Jackpot can't afford any mistake. They've got the troops all lined. Zip casting, trying to get in.
No, that was the
Bobbing
worst time
and
for it to
weaving
fucking
avoiding
It's
the
over,
killer
it's
whale. 5.1.
Oh
Not enough. Kaiser
my
picks up game one
God.
and the early pop-off.
I hear them from here through my headset. Oh my goodness gracious. They came in here expecting to win this set, and you can see Sarah's right there.
shit.
Absolutely the MVP.
That's what I'm telling you. They have the
Fly Zero on the side
confidence.
was not able to take out that Rainmaker carrier, ran out just at the end, but they had
Just the
one
fact that they
other
went up
special.
around
They could die from anywhere on the map.
makes them feel
and
like
that was
invincible.
Sarah's Zipcaster.
The passion.
The fact
is
that they took a
palpable at
game
this
off a
point. How
jackpot.
about Kaiser dropping the hammer in game 1, and they were dominating that entire match. You had an opportunity there at the end. The Kraken Royale couldn't snuff out the Rainmaker. They get through the first checkpoint, but they were able to regroup so quickly, 9. And the fact that they were not panicking at the end, they knew they had some margin to work with. And to your point, missing that checkpoint early on was huge for Jackpot. You almost could argue that they would have had a chance to really come back, but it slowed them down just enough.
Oh, absolutely. Once that first Kraken went out, and I totally misspoke earlier when I said,
Like, I know
yeah,
Jackpot
Kaiser
can
might
win.
give them up.
They just
I want you to think of it like
just
this.
gotta
When
tweak
Fly
it.
Zero used that Kraken Royale and they still had the checkpoint, you could almost think of that as 3 lives that they were playing with. That first one didn't work, that's fine. We still have the checkpoint. Checkpoint went down, that's fine. We've got one more opportunity here. To be able to come up with that in the middle of the game while also fighting one of the most mechanically gifted teams in the world. Unbelievable showing there from Kaiser on what they said was their strongest mode.
And this was the team Kaiser that said coming in, we want to play in the quarterfinals. We want a chance to warm up before we face one of the top seeds in semifinals.
Oh
There's
my
something about just
God.
being used to
I
the
can't believe
speed and
this.
the intensity of day 2, and it felt like it caught Jackpot off guard earlier on.
There's no way Kaiser wins it, right? I'm hoping.
As Kaiser did,
Even though I love
Kaiser
Jackpot.
scoring a huge
Like,
win.
surely they told Leafy to chill,
A lot
right?
of pressure on Jackpot for game 2.
You know what?
don't wanna
Honestly,
fall
it's
down
Jackpot.
0-2 with
They
that
might just
lead
reverse
now
sweep.
right there for Kaiser to
Right?
build a tremendous advantage.
Oh, it would be
It looked like they were getting diffed, though.
incredible if Kaiser is able to build a 2-0 here, but something to note here is
And that definitely
Tower
gets in
Control has
Jackpot's head.
traditionally
The
been
fact that they
strongest
lost.
mode for Jackpot. Now they've been good on Rainmaker too, but there have been times they have looked almost untouchable on Tower Control. So you can feel good about that. And also in that last one, .Q switched off of that Snipe Rider and went over to another weapon here. So Jackpot still has their main money-making comp that they can go back to with .Q on that Snipe Rider. Everybody else switches back to a more traditional weapon so that they have tools left in the kit that they can bring out right now. What I'm a little more concerned about, and I'm glad you touched on it, Jordan, is even outside of the Rainmaker mechanics with that, they were losing the fights there.
Yes.
I'm not used to seeing Jackpot fall behind mechanically, and you hope that that's just one game. It's too small of a sample size. and that they
I
still
kind
have
of
the
feel like they're
Jackpot
trying to like
wins to see.
big
There
bad
were a lot
wolf
of
it.
situations that
Mhm.
Leafy was going down in one-on-ones, and typically those are battles.
Like,
that
I feel
we
like if
see
they were
them
like a
winning.
little more
Every
patient,
time we were cutting to a
Mhm.
screen
then
of
I
someone
feel like it
from
would have
Kaiser,
just
they were
like
taking down
made
Leafy
Kaiser
or
want to
taking
come
down
up,
Jared. That's
and then
not
they get
something we
punished.
typically see against
Yeah,
Jackpots. Give
honestly,
all the credit in
like,
the world to Kaiser
what
what they're
Sonar
able to
was
do in
saying,
those
Leafy is
situations,
stuck in
and
the
for them,
mentality that they could just
managing
diff
the emotion,
anyone.
You're excited. That's
Right.
great. You still have
And
to
that
win
ended up,
2 more
you
games
know,
against
super
Jackpot.
overextending, trying to fight a 1v3
So
in
Tower
mid.
Control, Inkblot, Art Academy. We'll see if the adjustment was made.
They took out the
with Snipe
charger.
Rider for Jackpot.
Okay.
9. Your eyes are as wide as a few dinner dishes. What do you
And
see
not,
here?
I already know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a Jackpot one.
.Q is bringing the Z and F splatter shot, or splatter scope rather, to the fight here. This is a weapon that she's
30-second
ferocious
cooler?
with. One of the best players of it that you will see.
30-second
This
cooler.
is a
Let's
version
go.
of the splatter scope that has the triple ink strike as its special weapon, which can absolutely
Nice.
hit the tower.
Crazy.
An early pick. You heard it. How about that?
Oh, one of the most satisfying sound effects you
Oh,
will
it's
hear in
3v3?
a video game when that charger finds its mark. And it's a very powerful main weapon on a map like Inkblot Art Academy, where you have to be a
No,
little
not
bit
the aim
better
jitters.
about being able to be moving, and that super long range isn't as necessary.
How about Leafy with the Nautilus as well, too? A little bit of a switch up for them.
Yep. Very, very good at it. Again, 6 weapons is what you have in the bank. You may as well use them all here. The Nautilus so
Oh, they're locking the
very
fuck in.
strong at finding out weapons from range. If you think the opponent is going to bring a lot of
Oh, they're
short-range
in.
shooters, as Kaiser has, this is the tool for the job.
Oh, they gotta run.
First
The
checkpoint
Stanford's
just
running
back
now.
up.
Jackpot,
What is that?
not much of a lead, though. And
Oh,
all
they're
of a
about to get
sudden,
2v1
jump
right there.
off of.
Nice
There you
job.
go.
Tower, they're going to send it back. You see the suction bomb trying to push Majin away. Majin has to retreat just a little bit, but here comes a Trizuka ready to roll for Kaiser whenever they want it. They lose the tower,
Like it's got to be a matter of just like stay alive.
See the levers that Jackpot currently has.
Yep, that was a very early use of the Trizuka to try to find where Jackpot's members are hiding and then generate your attack. You saw that Xeris used the Zipcaster there in conjunction with it. So
They have
didn't
really good
find anybody
pressure.
as a result of that, so this should be a pretty short-lived push if Jackpot is able to get to the right positions. And for the time Kaiser appears, they'll wait.
They're 2
and
down.
They actually baited in the members of Jackpot to attack there. I'm a little surprised, Jordan. That's 2 of them that didn't even go down. And this is why, if you overextend on the defensive side, you give
Not
up
the
this
lead.
all-important plat area.
Oh, you could
That is a
tell.
huge plat
You
to get
could
by.
tell
Now,
they're
all of a
losing.
sudden, you can pad this lead and feel
They're losing
very
it. They're losing it.
comfortable about it. Here comes Kaiser.
They're not keeping
Trizuka
the
coming
energy.
out,
Yeah,
trying to
I
knock
don't
a few
think
opponents.
not
They're
in
working their way
charger
to
was the
second
best
checkpoint,
play.
almost there. They have to hop out. Majin able to clear it, and how about this opening push from Kaiser?
They're in their bats
Ishik
though.
gets back too. If Ishik wins this fight with Jared, this could get ugly in a hurry, but it does appear that Jared holds serve
bro,
there.
what is
because that
Charger
could have
doing?
been down into the 20s.
Trying to get that
Push
stamper out of there.
240 already from Kaiser is great. Not a big lead though on a map like this. Still plenty of time for Jackpot.
And this is a situation
That's
where
true.
Jackpot has cleared the first checkpoint, so they don't have to
Nice
slow
kill.
things down. They can get right back into this.
Oh, they're
and
zipping?
threaten the lead.
Nice.
And that's a big
Oh, they're
strike.
coming back. They're coming
Down.
back.
You can move forward and put some pressure with their anchor down.
And Jackpot wasting no time. This is the Jackpot we're used to seeing all 4 of them up
They're-
in position.
There
to
we
attack.
go.
They've already identified where Xeris is coming from.
We're so
there.
Barack.
Everybody firing at Xeris. Surely somebody should be able to look over and fire at this. But
Nice
no,
lead,
the other
nice
members
lead.
weren't able to get there in time. They will lose the lead, Jordan.
Oh, the charger
And
ran up.
Xeris goes down, and to that point,
They still got
build
lead,
the
though.
lead, and you had to do everything you needed to. Jackpot, though, they have a 5-point lead with just over 2 minutes left. Took them less than 45 seconds to get right back into the
I mean,
game.
and that is Jackpot in a nutshell there. You give them one opening, one engagement in mid that they find a way to win, and they will take it for everything. They will try to move forward and attack and spawn camp you for all that you are worth. Now, with both of these teams, with that first checkpoint out of the way,
Shit,
every
they're too
single one of
down.
these pushes you have to
Mhm.
consider as something that could go the distance, or at the very least get to that final
They got this,
checkpoint.
they got
They don't have
Lovely
spe- they don't have
placement
specials
of that
either.
tactical means that they'll move forward and attack. But Jackpot,
They're 2 down.
all
Their
3
push is
members,
done.
Jordan, jumping both of those players.
Xeris goes down right as they deploy the Zipcaster. They'll get a chance to come right back, though, but they lose the tower. They can't
Oh,
threaten.
no.
One
Shouldn't
member
have
goes
gone
down.
too
Three
far.
members of
Yeah,
Jackpot goes
the
down.
lead was-
Here's
They
the
should've
door.
dropped-
It's
they
open
should've
for
dropped right
Kaiser.
there.
And they were
They're
tactical
gonna lose
up, which
lead.
means that they got to
Yeah,
jump
the
back
lead
in
was-
way
yeah,
ahead.
the
Madness
lead.
is in the only position to go after this
Damn.
tower.
Damn.
They'll lose the lead.
Jackpot's
Madness
gonna
desperately needs to win
lose.
this fight. Gets pushed
Q's
off
flank,
the side
Q
there, will not be
frontline
able to swim
charger
back up.
flanking.
Fly Zero can get on the tower here.
Down goes Madness.
Oh my
Continue
god.
to push it forward
No.
there. It's
They're gonna
just
lose,
now
they're gonna
Fly
lose.
Why
They
are
don't
they
have
all the way
attack.
in two
fighting
different
against
sides?
Leafy here. They have another tacticooler up here, Jordan. Are they going to back
It's
up?
over.
Oh, the class here to not dive at the tower there and instead give themselves back mid.
And now with under a minute left, they have a 17-point lead. It's going to come down to this. Inkstorm comes out for Jackpot, but this has to be arguably their last coordinated push. They've got to be very careful as Madness goes down once again. The pressure that Kaiser's applying.
And Leafy goes
Okay.
down as well. Jared
Oh,
goes down
two
as
members.
well.
What is happening
I'm
right
The
now?
shooters are getting shot right now for Jackpot.
Jackpot's getting
They have
fucking
no
diffed.
answer
That's
in
what the
this
fuck is
moment.
happening.
Kaiser trying to dominate
live
the
in an
final
alternate
30 seconds
reality.
to go up 2-0. Look at
Jackpot's
the
getting
steely-eyed
diffed.
focus
That's
of
it.
all 4 members as they can smell victory. 20 seconds left. They are coordinated.
Oh, they're one
they are
down.
juiced up. Tacticooler out. Kaiser just on another level at this moment.
Right,
don't
but
have
Madness
specials,
finally
that's the
does get that
problem.
all-important fight
They gotta
win
poke
and
that.
tries to move up there to attack
Yep.
Xeris.
Oh, no, it's
Xeris now
over.
knows where Madness is. Madness still
5.
working around it. They don't have any immediate specials
Yeah,
that
it's
can clear the
over.
tower, but somebody
It's
went down there.
over.
Another
Yeah,
one
it's
goes
over,
down.
yeah.
There's only
People.
one person.
Oh, it is another
Yeah.
victory for Kaiser.
They're
as
in
they
their-
leap
they're
out of their
in
seats.
their way,
They
dude.
build a 2-0 lead, and you can feel the energy coming from Kaiser. They've just taken 2 games in a row from Jackpot. They are 1 win away from going to the finals of the World
Yo.
Championship.
And again,
Jackpot's
I am
gonna
stunned with how
lose?
effective they've
That's
been at
crazy.
separating the members of Jackpot and taking them down. Listen, it's one thing if everyone goes in as a coordinated attack and you see 3 members of Jackpot go down at the same time. Because what does that tell you, Jordan? It says they went for an attack.
This is fucking
they all got
crazy.
taken down, but they were
Okay,
coordinated.
they
Instead,
were
we're seeing
sleepier,
one
surely,
person go
right?
down. One person go down.
Like,
What- what's
that's
up?
way
So,
extension.
That's
You
not
gotta think
usual.
about it. It's getting in their mental. They've never,
Yeah, and-
they've never like
over
lost
and
this
over
bad
again.
before, and now they're
And
2
so
games
I
down.
can't remember the last
Yeah,
time I
but
saw
surely
Jackpot
they're
look
gonna
that
get the
outmatched
sweep,
on
right?
Inkblot. Tower control. They have
Yes.
won this.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how many hundreds of games they have won on that map mode.
9.
Like, what is that even happening?
What was it?
This is fucking crazy.
Tower control,
Inkblot
Inkblot Art Academy, Europe, stunning North America, same map and mode. How about the poetic justice of that? Now it's 2-0. They need one more win to close things out.
They're not
Jackpot, though, will not go
Kaiser's just
quietly
gonna
into the
win.
night. You now have Clam Blitz.
This
that's
is
gonna be followed by
insane.
Splat Zones and Turf War, arguably 3 of the weaker modes for Kaiser. This is
Yeah,
your best
Kaiser's on my
opportunity.
power
You
trip.
have got to slay the dragon while you have the sword in hand.
You
If
gotta
you're
think about how
Kaiser,
much
if
of a
not,
boost
you're
that
gonna
is
put
to
yourself in a
fucking
very
their
difficult
mentality
position
right now.
moving forward.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
I
on power
will
trip, and
say,
I
can't say
don't
it's not
blame
working.
that we've
Jackpot.
been seeing here from the side of Kaiser, that if
You
there
can't
is
say
a
it's not working,
3-0
though.
comeback here, a reverse sweep,
Yeah, 'cause you
are
could tell
gonna
it's
get
definitely
it
gonna
in
leave
We
you
better
my
get one.
friend.
We
Yeah,
better get one.
I'm almost asking for it at this point here, but we will see. We did say right before this set started, Jordan. We'll just kind
That's
of refer
crazy,
to it
though.
here.
Everyone
Those
had
were the 2 that
such
you
high
had to get if you
expectations
were
right
Kaiser.
now.
You
So
said it.
yes, this is exciting for them. They have every reason to be feeling like they are right now. But if you didn't get those 2, we gave you very little chance of winning this set. Now you got
I'm literally
those 2.
so like
You have to prove
cracked
that you can
up
win
on
in one of
energy
your
right now
3
because of this.
weakest modes. So be interesting to see if it's not Clam Blitz here. I would say Splat Zones is probably
is.
their next strongest.
It would
Yes,
be
Clan
so
Blitz,
dope
Umami Ruin
if
will be
Jackpot
coming up here.
reverse
So this
sweeps.
is map and mode. We talked about the strategies with Clan Blitz. You're going to see different loadouts pop up sometimes, and for
Oh, they're
Jackpot,
calling a
listen,
time?
this is the human element we talk about. You come in, you're thinking, listen, we swept.
They can
our
do
way
that?
through Turf War.
Oh, I don't know what they're
Wait a
doing.
minute. Just like that, we're down 0-2. What do? We've got to win 3 in a row against.
I thought you were
Kaiser
doing like
team
gang signs.
that is in a groove at this moment, and I think a long way.
I think they were trying to do it hard.
That would help out Jackpot at this point. You need a dominant win. A dominant win would
They're gonna-
really hit the mute button over there.
Maybe they have like a
Kaiser's gonna
hand
win.
symbol,
But
like Face
Kaiser
Clan.
right now, it's just they feel supercharged at the moment. That's what you're seeing from the body language.
Yeah, I mean, they've been throwing up all kinds of symbols there, some hearts they're sending to their fans back in Europe, but...
Okay, I thought they were just trying to-
Jackpot. And I would say Clan Blitz has always been one of Jackpot's stronger modes here. Even when they were in previous incantations of their team, they were good at this. They sense the moment of where they need to move in.
I'll bet you money that Jackpot's gonna lose and then they're gonna cry. Which, I mean, makes sense, but
they've changed around their comps
Yeah,
so much.
I mean, everyone
They
has such
still
high
haven't put
expectations.
back on that Snipe Rider 5.8. She's gone to a number of different weapons, and I'm not saying it's the wrong choice, Jordan. I'm just saying I'm legitimately stunned by it.
Well, it is interesting.
yeah,
because in any other
ZF and not
situation,
was a
you
choice.
don't know the map and mode combination. One of those is going to be random. You might have
The
a
lack
choice
of bombs was
two. You
astounding.
don't have control over both of them. And here we go.
They're gonna come back on this.
Bomb
They're gonna
through
come
it.
back on
Let's
this.
see if that Snipe Rider comes
Really?
out. It's been the theme of the day for some
Can't
teams.
wait for
Do you
the
see a
Krakens.
pencil? There we have it. A
Mhm.
writing instrument on the map.
Oh, there's
for
no
Jackpot.
Krakens,
Could
I
this be
guess.
the difference? Or will Kaiser shock the world with a sweep of
I
Jackpot
love Zara's
at the World
stamper.
Championship?
Taking a look at
Yeah,
the other
so-
side, Jared
so
has
cool
also
to watch.
switched
Zara's
over to
crazy.
another newer weapon in the game, the 52 Gal Deco. It is that splatter color screen that can really make it difficult for the opponent if they
Why
don't know
did
where your
that
attack is coming
screen?
from. And Jordan, there's only one way
No
through
idea.
on this map.
Honestly, if
You
they were
take
gonna
away
play
your opponent's
52, wall just
visibility
makes
on it,
more
it can
sense.
really hinder them.
Yeah,
Jackpot trying to stay
why?
alive.
Why
legal?
pick the weak
Just
kid?
tentacle to
Damn, they're
tentacle,
going
and a
down
splat
already.
on Madness with that
Damn,
Tryzuka
not
out
good.
even.
No,
Yep,
it's just a
great
trade.
job, though, by Leafy to crash in on it as well. They've done a much better job of fighting in this position. Another
Oh,
one goes
Okay.
down.
no,
Okay,
they're
they're
pushed.
down.
They're pushed.
Through here and fighting, saying this way there they would love to build a
Oh,
power plant. They do.
hell
and
yeah,
there's
let's
that
go.
splatter color screen. Right now, the members of Kaiser have
Mhm.
no idea where the attack is going to come from there. Leafy dives forward, takes out
Oof.
Fly Zero. This is the jackpot we're used to
Let's
seeing,
go.
Jordan.
They
Oh
get
shit,
into the
their push is
basket,
dead.
fill a couple of clams, but the timer's going down to a decent
Okay,
push
that
with
push.
74, but you see the 13-point penalty. Kaiser, that's not going to be insurmountable by any means.
Nope, not at all, and they've moved right.
Maybe
here
they
back
could
up
just
to the
defend
middle
really
and go
well.
ahead. The fundamentals. Let's take back the middle of the map here. Give ourselves some
Oh,
options.
no, they're getting ready
Let's
for a
make sure
push.
that the player we want carrying this power clam is Majin. Majin now has it, and they've once again taken two of the other members out here. They're going
Let's
to go
go.
forward here with Zera's diving through. They're looking for one more attack, Jordan. If they get
They
one
want
more
to
player
wipe
out,
here.
expect them to try to crash in.
Oh, they're
Keep
one
an eye
down.
on
They're one
Majin,
down.
avoids the Tryzuka, backs up,
Oh.
has to retreat quite a bit here.
Ooh,
Leaf
back
trying
up
to
Zera's,
apply a little bit
please.
of pressure. Zera's provides some help, though. Fly Zero now
Oh.
with a power clam. Here comes that splatter color screen. That's going to slow things down there.
The audio is fucking.
Yeah, great job there. It was that Tryzuka that stalled them just enough. We saw it in some of the earlier sets One player being taken
There you
down
go.
at an inopportune time can slow it down. And you can also see here, Jordan, how difficult it is to score on
Oh, they're
this
going
map
for a zip.
if you
As
don't
well.
take a couple of players out. Ishik now goes down. Zeris is
They
way
didn't get
back
anybody with that
behind, so this
Zuka.
is probably another
Trade.
wash, Jordan.
Or
They're
that
gonna have
zip.
to regroup.
Zeros was trying to take out .Q, had no luck. Leafy came in and provided some excellent support. And so with under 3 minutes left, a power clam in possession for
They're just gonna
Kaiser.
defend the fuck out of
You
this.
see the super jump retreat just
Yeah.
has to get out of
Zeros,
there at this moment.
please.
And this is where
Leafy.
a splat on
Ugh.
Leafy, that's going to give an opportunity here for Kaiser. Check out things up top. Majin trying to back up. Power clam in hand, just trying to stay alive at this moment here, Nine. You can't fumble this. And there
Yeah,
they
this
go.
is our push.
And how about the defense from
Yep,
Jackpot to
3
push
down.
them out of there?
Yeah, defense just long enough, and then once you get one player out there
They
who's
still don't have
won
a power
big
goal.
piece of their attack, back
They're-
way,
they
way
got
up
it.
there and make it happen for
They're
your
getting
team.
flanked.
Great work there on that side. They haven't scored yet on it. They're simply
Oh,
going
they got
back and trying to
Zeros.
take care of Zeros before anything bad can happen. But Jackpot playing this
Ooh,
exactly
what a
what you
play.
want.
Go for it.
Great shot there.
Nice.
Madness took 2 out there.
Nice.
They're going to score and probably a whole lot more if they fight through this fight.
Jared with the
They're gonna
completion,
wipe
and now
you.
they're filling up the basket. 3 members go down, but the damage has been done. They build the 49
Oh,
to
they get
100
too much
They
lead.
space,
just
like-
can't. They just can't
Over
keep
2
the
minutes
ground.
left. And here comes the super jump by Zeres on the back end. Killer Whale 5.1 ready to go here on the backside. Majin just trying to pepper a few shots at the moment. Zeres pairing, and that's a potent 1-2 punch as down goes Jared.
Yep, and Jared probably has the best main weapon right now in that position to fight through for them here. I want to point out that Jackpot
Don't
did get
fight
far
with
enough
the
down that it will
clam.
now take 3 power clams if they want to take the lead back immediately. So no major
Leafy
danger
goes down.
immediately for them in terms of losing this lead. It's probably going to take an extended push or just 2 pushes here for Kaiser. So far they haven't scored out. You can see, Jordan, they really want to take out these other members of Jackpot
Oh,
before
no,
they
it's
try to push
open, it's
through.
open, it's
and I
open.
think they've just waited too long once again.
And down goes
Yeah.
Zeres, who's trying to, and a
Oh,
wipe out
wipe.
for Jackpot. Here's an opportunity. Power clam in hand, trying to add to this lead. Tactical.
All right, now they're playing preservative. I like that.
A little bit more support. Can that splatter color screen provide the opportunity at this moment? Just over a minute left.
They're not gonna let them
And right
win.
now, Jackpot
They're not
needs
gonna
to be
let them win.
mindful. Here's an opportunity. Lane is open. They
Ooh.
throw it in. They're going to add to
Let's
this
go,
lead here, guys.
Jackpot.
might
Let's
win it
fucking
right
go.
now.
Here comes
Yep.
the KO. They're trying to put Kaiser to the canvas. One more
Let's
slam
go.
and Jackpot. We talked about it. They wanted a
Okay.
dominant performance, and they're looking over to the side of Kaiser with a few choice words.
Yep, don't know what it was, but they get one win, and you know, this is good. I will say for Jackpot, if you
Jackpot's
thought
gonna
you
come
were
back
favorites
now.
coming
Now that
into
they got that
today,
win, their
gotta
mental
win
is
more than
restored.
one game here before you go too crazy. Great work there from the members of Jackpot, winning confidently.
This
again,
is-
on
this
a
is a
mode I said was
crazy
one of their
set right
stronger
now.
Modes, but you saw knowing
Cool.
where
They
to
got their
defend,
win.
when to
They
attack
gotta
with that
win some
splatter
more.
color screen. Great
They
work
could do
from
it. Their
them
mental
there.
is
Very
restored. Like they
dominant
got their
performance.
confidence back. You know what I mean?
I've never seen
Yeah.
2 teams drink so much water in between each game. There is a lot of energy being exuded.
Now we're on what,
right now from
Zones
both these
Museum?
teams. The nerves and the
Jackpot win.
mental
Jackpot win.
fortitude just to fight through this, and that was a huge win for Jackpot. They were on the brink, and they might have sent a message because now the pressure might shift just a little bit as you get set for splat zones. You know if you can get through this, you're going to put Kaiser into their weakest game mode, and all of a sudden, all the energy, all the smiles, all the signs that were being thrown up by
Damn.
Kaiser, awfully quiet on that side of the stage.
Yep, and you saw them kind of give themselves a couple nods like, all right, there's Jackpot. That's what we expected to see from them. We knew
Dude,
that
I'd
they were
never be able to play at a
capable of
LAN
this
because I would
as
just be
well.
ripping my
So
vape in between
Jackpot, we
games.
said they needed to get a dominant victory, and they did. You saw there were moments there where Kaiser might have been able to score some,
Get kicked
but
out a
just
round in.
didn't quite clear out
Literally,
Jackpot. They
the
weren't
first thing I
quite
do after
confident, and
I'm done with the
sometimes
game is
being a
like,
little passive on
or sometimes
plan
even when I'm
blitz and trying to
dead.
hope for the best type of push can really work against you. And you saw it there. And Jordan, you are 100% correct.
Wait, time out.
It's not
You
here
can't time
on
out. No, I
splat zones.
got it.
I'm not. Oh,
I
man,
look
you
like
guys, you
it.
better hope that you figured out something yesterday if you can't get the win here.
Again, we don't want to put the cart before the horse by any means, but this is a team in Kaiser that said, listen, turf war's not our strength. And if that is going to be the potential game 5 to decide who goes to the finals, if you're
This is
Kaiser,
insane right now.
got to win this game. But it's splat zones, Museum, Delfoncino, and we've talked about the strength of Jackpot, how comfortable they feel in splat zones.
Yeah, you cannot get to this level in Splatoon and not be pretty good at splat zones. It's the most popular mode. It is the most commonly played in competitive play all over the world. So you know that they feel good on it as a whole. Now, talking about the map with Museum D'Alfonsino, This is a really interesting one because backlines can absolutely control this map in a major fashion.
I feel like their confidence is about the same right now.
Right there in that particular map mode combination in the last game in Clan Blitz, what it looks like when .Q is playing that Sniper Rider 5H, and I hope she brings it out once again.
Good backliners can really dominate this map. What's the one thing Kaiser doesn't really have?
It's a traditional backliner there that can sit way back and passively build turf, build special, and work around that side.
That's kind of true. They might keep pencil for
I don't
this.
think Majin's going to try anything crazy at this point. And
If it ain't broke, don't fix
certainly, all of the Rapid Blaster family can hit a lot of the perches that the enemies like to come from on this map, but I don't know. This is another time where I think it's going to fit what Jackpot
I feel like I would drop the
Buckle up.
blaster here.
Buckle
That's
up,
just
game
me.
4, Jackpot Kaiser.
Let's go,
Jackpot,
Jackpot,
they're starting to
Jackpot.
feel a little bit more momentum as they get the sticks warmed up. Kaiser.
Oh, they're keeping it.
There's a lot of energy that was being exuded on that side. It might come down to this because they do not want to see a Game 5 Turf War 9. What do we see here?
Well, we're seeing a lot of the same from both sides here. One interesting thing
That's
to
good.
note here
That's not
is
bad.
Jared has switched over to the Splat Dualies, which means they're going to have a Crab Tank at their disposal. Crab Tank very, very strong on here. You can get up on this
they already got
centerpiece and
zoned.
make life very difficult for their opponents, but for the time being, it's going to be Kaiser with the opening push.
Kaiser rushes to the zone. Now they're trying
Okay.
to go a little bit higher into the spawn.
All right,
Can't
nice
get to
pick from the
second level.
pencil.
Down goes a member of Kaiser. 3-3 on the map at the moment. Jackpot. 2 specials
Not
ready
looking
to
good for
go.
them.
That Trizuka trying to apply a little bit of pressure.
Crazy.
Tank
Cool.
taking down
Crazy
one
play.
member. Looking
That's
for
super
another
weak,
one.
What is that
Member for
crab?
The Killer Whale 5.1, but how about this? 50
Crazy,
points off the
crazy
board already,
plays.
9.
Well, look at where the fight is taking place. Two people have opted to dive Xeris here. If Xeris takes both of these players out, this could be huge. Great survivability there for those members there. That is kept
That
the
is
game
a
alive
crazy
for them,
play.
Jordan. I cannot tell you how dangerous of a position that was for Jackpot's tournament life, but they survived. They do not go down to Xeris in the Zip Caster, and their gamble pays off.
And it does.
Okay.
A 50-point penalty, so some breathing room for Jackpot. now
And
they've got to
lockout? Question mark.
really work out for them. And you see at this moment, .Q is just going to stay
Lockout
on top
mayhaps?
of the platform in the middle of the zone. And that's going to put tremendous
Two
pressure
down.
on Kaiser as they try to find openings to get in there.
Yep, they did take 2 players out, which is a big
Okay.
deal, and that's a really
Yeah.
big deal because that means no tactical advantage. Now they're going after the other one
Nice
there.
jump,
This should be
Jared.
a rough
No.
landing for this player. The
Shit.
Zip Caster comes out just a
Oh.
little bit too late there. Another
The
one goes
stage
down
is
as
basically
trades, but hold on a
butterfly.
minute.
That's
If you're
crazy.
Kaiser, you got to get some turf on
That's
that zone. They were not
crazy.
able to. They could not out-turf .Q on that. Those are 2 shooters they're not able to get through this Snipe Rider.
And this is huge because Kaiser
got
can try to
this.
provide a penalty. Can Jackpot wrestle it back and
Why
avoid
did they
having
keep
to
the
have
blaster,
some extra
dude?
time put on the clock? Oh,
Holy
finally, Kaiser's able to get it, and a huge 40 seconds
two
they pin
down.
on Jackpot.
Yeah.
Oh, and they
Nice.
took a lot from them to get it, and that's why you see the
Oh,
Sniper
they're gonna
Rider
go
so
for the
often
lockout
in
here.
splat zones as well. Look at how .Q was able to single-handedly hold that against 2 weapons that
What the fuck are they
designed
doing?
to turf here. 2 players have been marked up here.
Get
Great
marked.
shot there from that line marker of watching.
Yes,
How
it's
did you get
a-
behind?
Oh.
Hold on a second. Nobody believed that. Where did you
They're
come
doing the
from? Where
same
did you
play.
go? Fighting out of this position, but Jordan, that's the
Okay.
penalty already gone.
Crazy.
What a shot from Jared's going to take down 2 members right there.
this
Takes
That
his
wall
madness.
is just feeling
insane.
And however, the
really
lead
bad.
is still right there. It is in danger. Can Jackpot take it away?
Okay, they got
Yes,
a lead.
Jackpot wrestles it back.
They're gonna get
Held
zoned out.
onto it there. Nobody was there to paint the zone, and this has completely changed the dynamic here because now Jackpot can just play for
Oh,
flips
Jared
over
is
and over.
going
That's what they've done
crazy.
as Jared dives forward.
It felt like
Damn.
Kaiser was
Damn,
more
Jared died.
focused on the spawn that was going to be happening with the super jump into the zone rather than just inking the zone. And so now a 3-point lead,
Nice.
just over 2
Fucking
minutes left.
Zuka.
Jackpot takes control again. This is a huge game and a couple of big moments so far that Jackpot's been able to take advantage of.
Yep, 2 players from Jackpot going down,
Okay.
so make it a third. So this is going to be an opportunity
They're
for the
going crazy
members
with
of
it. They're
Kaiser
going
to
crazy
fight
with the
through there.
turnaround.
All right, nice
Maybe able
pick.
to take one
Yeah,
out, but it's a
like a
trade, so
delayed
it is
wipe.
a wash. Again, folks, keep an eye on the top of the screen there. Only 30 points of penalty there. Jared
Okay.
goes down. That's big because
They have
that
cooler.
is not tacticooler, Jordan. It's going to be a while before that crab tank comes out, which means they're going to have a much more difficult time pushing back in.
And that was huge. 2 members on the left-hand side of the map. That penalty is being chopped away quickly. They are just 10 seconds away from taking the lead here. And
They're
that's not
going
going to
for
help either. Zipcaster can't do anything in a pinch, and the lead goes back to Kaiser with 90 seconds left.
They
One
gotta
player
go. They gotta
does
go for it.
down
They gotta
at the
go
end of
for
the
it.
zip
They gotta
caster,
go.
but
Yeah, they
Jared went
gotta go.
down as part of it too. Majin staying
No.
up there. Fly 0 as well.
No.
They're gonna
You're
try to pin
kidding
all their
me.
hopes on one side of
No,
the
no, no,
map
no, no.
and crash in.
After
A couple
victory,
players go
shit.
down,
they got
but
the
they
zone
have
back.
the crab tank, which means they're going
Let's
to
go,
have a much better
penalty. Let's
presence
go.
on the
Nice
zone.
Go fast,
Oh, that's a big one right there. 3 in a row.
Mm,
Down go
trade.
2 members. and this is an opportunity here. They're going to chop into this penalty, but time is not on their side here for Jackpot.
I mean, 1 minute can last an awfully long time in splat zones, especially when you take out Xerath that early in. That's their main fighting force. Then Majin needs to be careful. Got stuck out just a little bit too far. Escaped with his life. Just over 10 ticks left here for this to switch over. They're thinking knockout.
5 more
they can't make
seconds
this
left.
play.
Can Jackpot lock out
Let's
Kaiser?
fucking
Clock winding
go.
down. Jackpot takes the lead. You see the frustration for Kaiser. 6 seconds left. Jackpot
fucking
trying
go.
to force a
Let's
game 5.
fucking-
Can they do it? Oh,
Yo,
yes.
this is crazy.
Game 5. Pop off on cue. Jackpot has set the table.
Oh man, they are so excited for themselves.
I want to know.
Oh, look
what
at it.
is
I love it.
Yo, I know they're saying some
love it.
crazy shit.
Yes.
There's an entire other side of the bracket here, folks. You wouldn't believe this was just a
This is
semi-final.
a
But hey,
fucking-
if you give it
I
out,
really
Jackpot
want to know what
was able
Madness
to
is saying.
take it here.
And they were
So
roommates.
Last game,
saw as
this
soon as that
last game is
ended,
everything.
Xerath look over to the rest of Kaiser and just say, it happened.
This is a nail biter, bro. I started biting my nails
What it
after
is,
that.
And here
I
we
literally
are
stopped breathing.
Now, turf war for our game 5. This was the nightmare scenario for Kaiser after how those first 2 games ended up going.
In the
Jackpot
words of
wins.
Michael
They're gonna
Scott,
lock them the
I
fuck
have
out.
the
Let's go.
Turntables turned here at this point. So now we get set for game 5. Turf war.
Holy.
Oh my goodness.
No,
Kaiser
turf
did not
war.
want to see this situation at all.
Oh,
And Jackpot,
man.
if you look at the momentum as if it was a rainmaker, they just
I literally
smashed
told
it,
you,
and now
when
are
they got that
feeling
first
high
game
as
off
they
of
get set
Kaiser,
to
everything
face
turned
game
around.
5. And here comes the pressure. The fist bumps, and look at this steely-eyed look that has now turned into a little bit of concern for Kaiser. And this is what you love to see, a rivalry across the pond, North America, Europe, coming down to game 5 and a spot in the finals.
And Jordan, it
They
always
got
seems
some
to
beef
come
going
through
on.
Game 5 in these World Championships.
Bro, I know
These
damn well they're gonna
six
be beefing
squads
until like
end up
next
meeting.
Worlds.
Listen, North
Oh,
America and
100
Europe has
fucking
been
percent,
trading
100
domination
fucking
back
percent.
and forth for as long as this game has
I would
been
be
going
fucking
on.
livid if I got reverse swept like that.
I mean, do we need to have people up there like protecting the equipment for like whoever wins this? I'm dead serious here. The pop off.
Controllers
I already
fight
know
themselves.
Leafy's gonna
The
fucking go on
pop-off is
Twitter and
going
be
to
like,
be
Stamper
legendary
diff.
for whoever wins this set,
Stamper
and I
diff,
just hope that everybody's
no.
equipment ends up making it through because we have a lot more games to play in this tournament.
Kaiser took the first 2 games, had some words to exchange with Jackpot on the North American side. But
This
then
is
Jackpot
amazing.
won
This
2
is
straight
actually
games, and all
amazing.
of
What a
sudden
great set.
Cranked up the volume on their side. It comes down to this.
I have
Regardless of
stopped
what
growing my
happens,
nails. I bit
we're gonna
all of
see
them
some
off.
fireworks on the stage.
Oh my
and
god,
another
I'm trying
chapter
so hard not to.
scripted in this North American and Europe rivalry.
Ooh, and we're gonna get to see it on Turf War of all modes too. It's man, what a way for this set to end up going. Where for 2 of these games, I would say 3 of these games.
Look how concerned they are.
legitimate Back and forth between the 2 teams, and then
If they
Jackpot
don't
gets
lock
one
in.
very dominant victory. Suddenly, it totally changes up. And Jordan, we're going to Humpback Pump Track by Square Ink, Square Turfage, however we want to say it. This is one of the biggest in the game. It is wide, and you can lose games here. I've seen it happen many times where somebody gets behind you, and because there's so much available turf near the enemy spawn, you can lose a game and you didn't even know it.
Because it's Turf War, we are going down to the final second of this best of 5. Game 5. Give me every single drop of ink in this matchup as we get set.
This is
lot of
actually
energy on the side
insane.
of Jackpot. Now it just comes down to
It's gonna
which
be a
team
Jackpot
can
win, though.
focus.
We already know.
You know it's going to be a wild 30 seconds, a spot in the finals up for grabs. Game 5.
But I bet it's gonna be like
Couldn't
really
ask for anything
close,
more at this
like
moment
1 or
in the
2%.
semifinals.
No, and being
Dude.
the World Championship is here in Japan.
Dude, my heart will break
Knew
if
we
they
had to
lose
get
that
Turf
way.
War in here at some point.
What's up?
Oh my goodness.
My
Jordan,
heart will
I didn't
break
even
if they lose
consider
that
we're going
way.
down to the last second, but
No, I think
it's gonna
Jackpot's
go
gonna win
down
by like
in the
2%.
history books as one of the greats. Kaiser, Jackpot, give us one more.
This banger of a set continues. Game 5. Who is going
Let's
to get
go,
the win?
let's go.
Green
As they get
stamper,
set,
okay.
One
Here we
team
go.
will see their tournament come to a crashing end at this moment in Humpback Pump Track.
Reflux?
Not surprising
both
at all,
picked
the
reflux.
back for both of these
That's the turf
teams.
war meta.
Of course, it is turf war.
Yeah.
I
That
just
is
want
the
'em
strongest
painting this
weapon,
system.
the
Leafy
best
is super
turfing main weapon
overextending.
in the
God.
game, especially when you're trying to hit some of these closed up positions there. Leafy immediately diving forward and trying to fight. Still a lot of
I'm
time
not
in
really
this game.
painting
Well, I would've
spawn,
grabbed
though.
there.
Feel out their opponent, keep them away from certain parts of the map.
Jared's gonna
certain points of
die, yep.
no return.
I'm sure they're gonna do it,
If
like,
does
last
take
minute.
out Jared very early, they're gonna trade some shots.
Okay, at least Leafy got out.
So right now, it looks like it's pretty even on the map. We can't tell from this vantage point, but Madness backs up. Now the advantage Jackpot. You see a little bit
I
more
didn't know
yellow
Madness played
leaning on the
Try.
top half of this map, but here comes Ishik on the bottom side. As you said before, it's ginormous 9. There's all sorts of room there for them.
Leafy,
Yeah,
calm
but it's a
down,
big
please.
spawn area
Yeah,
too, which means you have
Leafy's
to be very
going a
deliberate
little
about
crazy.
actually making sure that you've covered it all. They've done a pretty good job
How
of
the
kind of
fuck does
exchanging
Xeris
around
live?
and fighting on the other side, though.
Literally
It
just
is a
Grab.
better.
little dangerous there if you let them too far on your side. Both teams not really letting that point of no return come. And as I say that, 2 players do go down from Kaiser, so the door may be open if Jackpot wants to move
Look at
forward.
Jared.
Jared being very careful as they inch forward, trying to shark out the competition. Leafy going to march forward with that Splatana Stamper.
Oh my god, it's so neck and
However,
neck.
Kaiser
Wait
credit
a
them
moment.
for a couple of members going down. They still have a decent amount of ink on the map.
Yep, good job by them.
Map
here.
is
You
like
see
half
Jared
and half
Xeris
right now.
fighting at the
Oh,
top
they're-
of the
they're-
screen. Probably means that
Jackpot's
somewhere
losing some
on the
ground.
backside the missiles are coming, and yes, indeed they do. Jared now still fighting it out
Damn.
in the tent to missiles.
Yeah, they're all
Both
clustered
sides opt to
together.
fire it out
That
there.
team fight.
Everybody was
Did he even get
boxed in
missiles
there,
yet?
which means that it's Jackpot who will be in a
Cool.
much better position going into this last minute.
3 members went down for Kaiser. Jackpot can try to stabilize things as Madness just tries to cover as much turf.
Last minute.
On top of that
Oh,
hump
Okay,
there.
Leafy about to kill.
Fly Zero
Cool.
goes down. Leafy,
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
goes
not good.
down in the Zipcaster. Zera's with a critical splat.
Does get taken
at least
down
Xeris
in
died there.
revenge, though. There,
Oh, they're
Jared
gonna
goes
lose.
down as well, but that's going to mean that this last minute will be started.
Oh, they're
by
painting so
Kaiser
much,
cleaning
holy.
up their own side of the map. That's going to give Jackpot precious seconds to
Yeah,
get
they need to
stable in the
both.
center.
They need to
It's
get.
going to come down to who
That's
can
what it is.
unload
They
the
need to get
most
the special and
specials
stuff.
at the 30-second
They
mark.
have Cooler.
The Cooler comes
Okay.
out. Fly Zero juiced up. Leafy and hot
Leafy,
pursuit
please
of
calm
Maj,
down.
trying to keep
Please
Maj
calm
in
down.
at this moment. And
Let's
a
go.
big
Okay,
splat on
clutch.
Zera's right there.
Leafy
With
clutch.
just under
They got
40
me.
seconds left.
Crazy.
That's huge because they used their tactical earlier
Jackpot's
as
gonna
well.
lose.
Oh, no, they're
Actually,
two down.
Madness
They're two
went
down.
there, so that means that they're not going to have a
Relax, relax,
tactical
relax.
until a little later on.
Leafy,
I don't
calm
know
down,
where
calm
their
down,
special
Leafy,
meter is.
Leafy, please,
Leafy
calm down.
desperately needs to hold this position. She opts to back up ever so slightly with
Oh,
20
no.
seconds left. This is Kaiser's
don't
map
paint.
to lose. Xeris uses a crab tank here. These fights are where it all comes through.
15 seconds left. Who's going to wrestle the victory and find their way to the finals?
They're
11
down.
seconds
They're
left.
two
2
down. They're
members
two
go
down. They're two
down
down.
for Kaiser.
paint, just
Opportunity
paint,
for
just
Jackpot.
paint.
Leafy's going to
Just
have to
paint
do
the
some
map.
work here real quick.
Just
Who's going
paint,
to get
just
those
paint,
last
just
few
paint, just
drops
paint,
of ink?
just paint,
3
please.
seconds left.
Just
3-2 on
paint.
the map. Jackpot trying to go in a hurry. They feel
Who do you
awfully
think-
confident. Let's take a look at the map here. Jackpot.
I think
Did
Kaiser
they
took it.
complete the reverse sweep?
Oh!
No,
Look,
they won.
it
They
does
took
look
it. They
like
took
it.
it. It's like
Jack, how about
Easy.
that? Down
Oh,
0-2.
shit.
Flips the broom over. They take it 3-2 and find their way into the finals.
They're gonna use the Lord's name in vain.
Oh, and
I
they
can
are
just feel
up
it.
and hugging their
Oh
tears
my
and
God.
emotion. Their first set of the day, and it goes like this. They are letting their opponents have it at this point, but their job is not
Damn.
yet done. Let's just hope for Jackpot.
Damn,
but they
they're
still
saying
have some
bye.
gas left in the tank.
No.
Some handshakes
They're
there
so
and hugs, some good
toxic,
sportsmanship.
dude.
They laid it all on the line, both of these teams.
What a set.
That was
My
fucking
goodness,
incredible.
Came down to the final second.
Oh my
Jackpot
god.
I know
able
Leafy
to
is reeling right now.
outlast Kaiser, and courtesy a couple of key splats down the end that just gave him a chance. That is what a treat to get something like that in 9. It's just the semifinals. Unbelievable action that we
Amazing.
just saw there. Put that one
That was a
in the
fucking
Splatoon 3
amazing
competitive
set.
war. That is a set that we soon won't forget.
I mean, it's.
I think
one
the
of
fact that
first
Kaiser
times I
almost
have
swept
seen a
it's gonna do
set
something for
go
them.
The true distance, multiple
Absolutely.
overtimes in every single mode, and it's at the World Championship, and everything you could ask for from a World Championship. Incredible stuff.
The pendulum swing in. You love the talk back and forth, the smack talk. It's terrific. Looking at the highlights here, and this is where everything turned around. The
I got a
clean
message,
blitz
Lappy.
changed everything for Jackpot. That's when they finally got on rhythm.
Yeah, and it's. I don't want to keep harping on it, but again, it's when .Q went back over to the Snipe Rider 5H. And yes, I get that it fits these modes maybe better than some of the others, and that's why Jackpot is so strong on there. But it allows Jared to go over to other weapons because he's not stuck on the NZAP 85. And I really think that this modern version of Jackpot is strongest when Jared can be up there and attacking as he is so good at doing.
And it was kind of the conversation we had with Unadon. Why not get to your best weapons here that you're used to? And once they did that and then splat zones, it was getting a little frightening there for Jackpot at a moment. They picked up a key splat in the corner against Zeras in a 2-on-1 situation, allowed them to wrestle the zone back, and finally they were able to get the KO.
Yep, that game could have
Like,
ended
actually
almost
insane
immediately.
set.
You can't get anything set up with the Snipe Rider and Tactical loops if a couple players
Probably like
go
the
down
set
when
of
you're
all
diving in
time.
Zeras
It
on
was
that
insane.
side. So at
That
that
was
point, they did
amazing. I can only
just
imagine
enough.
what it's
They
gonna be like
flipped
in
a
the
couple of times
finals.
here, and they took advantage of the fact that they did
I
have the
think-
better turf output.
I think we all
than
know
their
who's gonna
opponents on Kaiser
next
had.
that.
Oftentimes, that's what splat zones can come down to.
And so that made it 2-2, and you saw the frustration coming from Kaiser when they realized they lost the zone and that the knockout was imminent. And every single time Jackpot won a game, that pop-off got larger and larger. And then here it is at this moment, 9:30 seconds, Kaiser's got the lead.
Yeah,
So now
they do have
it's-
the lead, and I don't know if it was Leafy or somebody else,
Oh
but when
my
Zeras
God.
used that crab tank, I thought, okay, you're all out there.
Phantom
but I think someone just
and-
got a little bit too off to the side, whether it was Ishik or whether Fly Zero fell into
I
the
think
middle
Greasy
of the map.
Goblins?
That
Greasy-
Yes, the
completely
Goblins
Greasy
were
one, right?
because
Phantom.
that means one of your shooters is back at spawn. Majin
Yeah,
is
Greasy
back at
Goblins
spawn
and
at the
Phantom.
time that you would most
I think we all
love
know
to
who's gonna
have
lock it
a
in.
reflex there,
I
working
don't
in the
know,
middle of the
honestly.
map, and that's how it goes so
Dude,
often.
if Kaiser
The
almost
wrong
won,
weapon gets splatted at the wrong
you
time.
like we can't
I
like we
know.
can't say
Jackpot,
anything.
Our first team
Yeah.
to make the
They-
finals.
they
This will be
almost
a
got
best
that.
of 7. That was just a semifinal. All that emotion, all that energy.
It was just a
That now sets
semifinal.
up our second semifinal, the Greasy Goblins versus
Oh,
the
it's gonna be like
Phantom
4
Thief of
a.m.
The Heart, and don't sleep on Phantom
I know,
Thief of
I
the
literally
Heart.
have to
The
go to
ones
that
we haven't
LAN
had a chance to
tomorrow,
talk
but
about yet today,
I
because
gotta
they
watch
will
this.
make their
What
first
time's it gonna
appearance
be?
of the day, the #1 seed.
Like 12, but I have to be
They
there at
look
2.
very, very good
Mm.
in picking up their. In fact, they were the only team that didn't lose a single game yesterday. The home team representing Japan. Now they get a chance in rank mode to go up against the Greasy Goblins.
Yeah, you can bet there's no team in this tournament happier to see that Game 5 could come down to Turf War than this squad, fighting through the absolute best Turf War region in the world. Great work by them. But hey,
Hey,
Greasy
guys.
Goblins, we've talked about them a little bit. We're going to talk about them a little more. Australia, the first time Australia-New Zealand has claimed a set in the World Championship just earlier today.
And don't forget, for Phantom
What is
Thief of the
next?
Heart,
Wait,
they
how
were
old
a
is
bit
next
of a
before I say something
underdog
wrong?
story at
Oh,
Koshien.
yeah.
Many people were surprised to see them win,
Hold
and
on.
now we know they can handle Turf War. How do they handle the other ranked modes? Is that going to be able to be something that they can feel is
I'm Googling it,
confident
hold
in?
on.
And also, we saw the momentum argument. This is the situation where now the Greasy Goblins have played already. They felt the intensity of the day. Now it's a matter of Phantom Thief of the Heart to step into the chairs and get a chance to pick up that intensity immediately.
And if you're Phantom Thief of the Heart, you would love to win this very comfortably, very smoothly. You just had to sit out there
Insane.
and watch what those two fearsome opponents on the other side of the bracket were able to do. You know that they are on an adrenaline high right now. You need to win these sets comfortably, get yourself into a good position. And Jordan, you brought up a great point there. That has been the big question mark for Phantom Thief, simply because we don't really know what they're capable of in a true all-mode format.
Let's recap the semifinal rules as our teams get set. We've got
Oh,
5 games.
finally I can
potentially. All
relax.
the
That was
games
crazy.
maps have been predetermined. Rainmaker, Barnacle and Dime, Tower Control, and Inkblot Art Academy, Clan Blitz, your Mommy
Jesus.
Ruins, and then if necessary, a Game 4, Splat Zones, Museum Del Foncino, and Game 5, as we just saw, Turf War at Humpback Pump Track. But we go back to Rainmaker, Barnacle, and Dime, and when you look at this loadout,
Come on,
here for the
Jackpot.
Greasy
I believe they can
Goblins,
win, though.
It is more of a traditional loadout, and we've seen Latias feel very comfortable in that backline.
I don't know
position.
how old they are.
Critical for Rainmaker.
Damn,
Yep, and
never mind.
I think you're going to see her very
Wait, I could probably
diligently
look it
go
up.
back into that
That's good.
position. What I'm interested in seeing here is what Nex is going to play, because
Mm.
Nex has been the one player that's worked around, and I do think that he kind of is the linchpin for a lot of their attacks. You see him switch over to the ink brush when that is what's needed for the mode. I don't know if we'll see it here on Rainmaker, maybe so, because Barnacle and Dime is a map where that Killer Whale can be very, very strong if you line it up in the right way. The opponent really doesn't have a lot of places to go if you put it up there, but they've got some options here, and they should be able to fight just fine. But I would be surprised if we see any major changes out of them.
And what are we going to see from Phantom Thief of the Heart, their
Yeah,
loadout? Because
Sam
this is the
Rex
team that
fucking
also is going to play that Snipe Rider and have that anchor spot.
Yeah, well, that's part of what I'm wondering as well, is what are they going to play here? Because everything that we have seen from them has been Turf War, and Tuya has been the one from their squad who's been playing the Reflux. Now, if you're going to be serious about Turf War, You got to have a reflex player. There's no substitute for that weapon in Turf War, but it's not really played all that much in the other modes, and certainly not in something like Rainmaker. So I believe Toya has a Splash-O-Matic as well, or at least has 5-starred the weapon. We do know that. So Splash-O-Matic, you can travel just about anywhere with that weapon, but this will be the first time we see them play a more attack-heavy mode rather than Turf War.
And if you're the Greasy Goblins, you're almost playing with house money. Here we are in the semifinals. We can play loose. We can play free. We have a chance to make some noise. Our entire argument coming in is let us play against the best competition. Let's get rid of the time zone, some of those issues that keep us from playing at the same time as everybody else throughout the year. Now let's get on the same stage on a LAN setup and see what everyone can do.
Yep, and what a golden opportunity this is. You get to fight against Tsukuyomi and the rest of Phantom Thief of the Heart here. You've already got a win under your belt here. You're feeling good. You're warm. There's nothing left standing in your way outside of your opponent.
And for Phantom Thief of the Heart, as we said before, they were dominant in Turf War, but how will they look when we get to these ranked modes? And this is something that obviously all of these teams in Japan practice and work on, but Turf War is more the specialty for them. You figure they're going to be very comfortable, but you've already seen the Greasy Goblins. They've played 4 of these ranked modes today, having gone 3-1, getting the victory over Smart Roast Chickens.
Yeah, but there's great familiarity with all these modes. I don't want to make this sound as though Phantom Thief of the Heart has never touched these other modes, but the margins become so thin. If you all take one thing from this event, I hope it's that you see how many of these small moments completely change the dynamic of these games. The last time this map mode came up, where Rainmaker came up, look at how much not breaking that first checkpoint changed it at all. And that's one random shot going the other way that changes how that match goes.
It is going to be wild, but as they get the setup taken care of right now, fixing just a few things on the monitor.
This is what I was worried about. You gotta, everybody jumps up and the poor monitors bear the brunt of your excitement.
Well, the excitement, as we said before, is really starting to raise the temperature.
Who is fixing those monitors? It's probably not so good monitors.
As we said before, no team in the history of Australia, New Zealand,
Bro, imagine Kaiser fucking punched it.
World Championships. We've had 4 of these over the last 7 years.
It's probably from like the jumping and stuff.
Like reverse sweep. Fuck.
Literally when like Queso jumps.
You're banned.
You're banned.
There is a reason why we won Koshi in one of the most
Okay, buddy.
you're going to find anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
Did you do that one stream how Queso jumped and fell through his floor?
Did he?
Don't accidentally
yes,
Koshi.
actually.
I want to note that they had qualifiers simply to get into Koshi.
I actually want to see
biggest
that.
tournament in the world simply by player count. They
Literally just look it up. Queso
into
jumps,
the finals.
breaks floor.
Then they had to win the finals
Queso
against all of the
jumps
others just to
through
make it here.
floor.
So certainly fearsome competitors in every aspect of the game, and there's something to be said for the fundamentals that do translate from Turf War into these other modes.
And it's really important as well too. And with Rainmaker, we've seen a couple of teams that aren't able to get that first checkpoint, and that was really what did Jackpot
No.
on this map and mode. It feels
That's
like
so
you really
funny.
want to be aggressive to get that first checkpoint taken care of, because then it's one less obstacle you have to worry about.
Of course. Queso moment.
I mean, again, that first game that we showed you on this map mode tells you all you need to know about it. There's no arguments left to be had about it. So you might see somebody play a little bit more risky in order to try to get that first checkpoint there, especially on a map like Barnacle and Dime, where, listen, you're probably not going to get an immediately quick pop and take it for a ton of points after that. There's an argument to be made sometimes where maybe you can get a quick pop and then score more points after it. That Rainmaker shield you can break pretty quickly if you have the right tools to do it, but I don't think this is one of those maps where you'll see players do that. That first checkpoint changes everything from a dynamic standpoint.
Looks like everything's connected and ready to roll. We are getting the stage set for our very first game here, this best of 5 semifinals. Greasy Goblins excited to face this
I like
competition.
one more set after this.
Phantom Thief of the Heart.
Really?
They have a knack for coming from behind
The last
at the
set, you
tail
mean?
end as we prepare for this. And
Yeah,
is
like
gonna be
this,
very
and then
exciting because the winner here will go on to
fucking-
take
Finals?
Jackpot.
I'm assuming Phantom
Jackpot,
versus
as we've seen, is
Jackpot.
not invincible,
Yeah,
but
which is the
especially
finals.
the
EU is
imagination
so
of this
salty right
championship
now.
is still
Really?
wide open at this
Yeah,
Are
point.
they?
they're
Oh,
fucking pissed.
absolutely. And if you're Phantom Thief of the Heart, you can't even be thinking about
Size,
what
open
Jackpot
splitter.
wants. You've got to take care of the
Yeah,
business that's
literally.
in front of you. And if you're the Greasy Goblins,
I've seen
you
at
probably
least
don't
2
even care
people
what
in
happened
EU
that
being
last second.
super,
You'll
like
have to
2
be Phantom
EU
Thief of the
players
Heart.
being
Don't
very
worry
salty
what
about it.
comes later here. So I agree entirely with what you're saying. None of the teams here have appeared to be invincible thus far.
Arguably the biggest opportunity in the history of competitive Australia-New Zealand teams here in these championships. A victory over Phantom Thief of the Heart to get to the finals. What would that mean? Boy, a lot of respect for that Australia-New Zealand region.
Oh, and what it would mean for the growth of that region, too. It's a region that's been so dedicated and so diligent about improving. They host so many events there. The production value of their community tournaments has always been top-notch. They've always been so friendly in trying to help grow their insular community. It's a position that's a bit unfortunate. Again, it's difficult for them to play with the other regions there. Time zones make it so difficult. Even a simple weekend event for them would mean having to stay up until 6 a.m. on a work day. It's simply not feasible for them lots of time. So it's a golden
That's me.
opportunity.
I am
It's
staying
gonna
up till
be
6 a.m. on a
historic
work
for them,
day.
and I know they're just happy to have it.
As we said before, so many teams from all these regions.
All right.
Just to get to this moment, here we are. We are going to get
Half
rolling
time.
with game one of our second semifinal, the Greasy Goblins versus Phantom Thief of the Heart. Australia, New Zealand taking on Japan, and let's go ahead and get a moment to check some of
You
these
what?
loadouts here. We were wondering what it was going to be for this
Sploosh?
matchup of Rainmaker.
Well, oh my
Huh?
goodness gracious here. We
Double
have Nex
sploosh?
bringing out the Sploosh-o-matic here.
Oh, it's
This is
just one
not a joke,
sploosh.
my friends. Nex was the very best player of this weapon in Splatoon 2 by just about any metric that you can push together.
Ooh.
And on the other side, we are seeing a
Ooh.
Rapid Blaster Pro, not the deco that we saw from some of the earlier teams.
Damn.
So it's instead going to be an ink.
They
back
wasted
variant,
no
but,
time.
There's some other things on the ground right now. Tsukiyomi's mad.
That was very quick. 3 members of the Greasy Goblins go down, and just like that, Phantom Thief is at the first checkpoint, advancing in a lot of purple ink. This is an
Damn, they're
onslaught
gonna go for
already
it.
here, 9.
They're all stuck next to each other right now, and thank goodness Nex had that ultra
Be
speed there,
rapid.
that hammer, because they had that ink vac
Nobody's
set
paying
up
attention
to
to the
cover them
machine
as they were
and
running
jumps out
in the
so
distance there.
seamless.
But as I said earlier, melee weapons can find a way to get through that as well. Nex had the exact tool and the only tool that's kept this game alive.
A key plat against Tsukiyomi, and that's going to go ahead and give the Greasy Goblins a chance to move forward, but an opening push all the way to 11.
Some of these weapon
for
picks make me
Phantom Thief.
happy.
That is how you start a game.
Yeah,
Which
but it
is
can be
really
very difficult to
interesting.
come back from this. Tsukiyomi moves forward and
But
does
you
get
can't
taken out there,
fight.
maybe a little overzealous, but that seems to be the MO of the Phantom Thieves right now. Move forward, fight, and try to steal some of these splats.
Latias goes down with the Rainmaker, and all of a sudden that's going to stop any attempts that the Greasy Goblins had to get back on the board. And all 4 members of Phantom Thief just advancing forward, and you've got the Greasy Goblins a little bit bunched up as that splatter color shield comes up.
Yep, they've pushed them back and done a
Nice.
pretty good job of it there.
Not a shield, it's a
Forward there
screen.
With that ultra stamp to try to take out a key member of the opposing side. But for the time being, it appears that that's really all it's going to do. There was no advancement of the Rainmaker there. They're trying to get it into
What
okay,
the
but
Bro,
sniper
bro held
grab
zip for that
with the
exact
Zip
moment.
Blaster. One shot, all it took. Tsukuyomi have a game thus far.
Clip that, my friend. And
No.
down goes the
Yeah.
Ultra Stamp. Tsukiyomi all
Tsukiyomi
over
is
the map, just
insane.
creating havoc against the Greasy Goblins. A 1-squid wrecking crew at the moment.
Unbelievable how good this guy has been at the start.
They're not
here.
gonna
If you
say
wondered
anything?
if he's warm, how about
That was the sickest
for
hammer
him?
kill
He
of
has
their life.
really from the start of this team's kind of run here at this championship has been the key player everyone's been telling you to look out for, and you can see why. But I will say, for at this point, the Greasy Goblins, they're doing an admirable job of defending, but they need an explosive 2 or 3 down on the opponent's side if they want
That
to
would've
get
been
any sort of
crazy.
stability for a long-term push.
And
That
they
would've
just
got-
haven't
yeah.
had that advantage with 2.5 minutes left. It's finally 4-3 for a moment, but the Rainmaker in possession of Phantom Thief. Toya
The rain's
trying
too
to back
forward.
up a little bit. Burst bombs forcing them to retreat. A couple more members jumping in, and they advance forward, take out 2 members of the Greasy Goblins.
Yep, it is rough sledding for them here at that point. One member does come back and take them out, so good job there by Remy to at least stop that push. But all the other members of Phantom Thief are going to be able to safely jump in. Now they once again pull out that ink vac there.
They're
Will
gonna
they
get
get
over
it
here.
fired?
Yeah.
No, they fire it, but that means that they didn't have the vac
Maybe
for
next push.
protection. They'll steal a couple more points on that side, so they've continued to do the same. But Jordan, we've been commentating the same game the entire time.
It really has been. The Rainmaker's just been living on the half of the map for
Nice
the Greasy
direct.
Goblins, and they've got to do something to advance it forward. And that's just going to be retreating on the rails at the moment, backing up. Splatter color screen going to slowly advance. Now it's 3-2 on the map, a chance for the Greasy Goblins. But 9, they've still been shut out in this game.
Yeah, but they finally did get the 3 down there, as you noted, Jordan. So this gives them a real opportunity. They took out Tsukuyomi as well, who was probably trying to work around and Shark and maybe take out that Rainmaker carrier early. But what that's done is put the rest of the team in kind of an awkward position. Ultra Stamp reaches around and Next can't.
Dude, I'm taking
close
so
the
much
last
notes
out,
right
but
now.
They got the checkpoint, Jordan.
Next was able to get
Honestly,
2. They
I
finally
don't
get on
support
the
the
board
split
past
stick
the
'cause
first
I don't think it's
checkpoint, but they
working
had to
for
spend
them.
a lot of resources to do so. Now they're down. Here comes the wipeout, and this
I
is
think
an
they picked it for,
opportunity
like,
for
the
Phantom
first
Thief
rain
to
pop and
rush the
nothing else.
Rainmaker to the goal.
And they're going to try exactly that. Worst case
I'm mostly
scenario,
just,
Jordan,
like,
if it
seeing the
stops
Stamper
up here,
shit,
it
and I'm
artificially
learning from it.
lengthens where the Greasy Goblins are going to have to go. They're going to try one more time to
not
protect
gonna
it
be able
all
to
the way
stop
through
them.
with the ink vac. The third time is the charm.
Fucking
And
squish.
the Phantom Thieves get there. First came there. A fist pump from Tsukuyomi, who's like, finally, it only took us a few tries.
All right, we need to use the bathroom real
They
quick.
get the knockout in a dominant opening game. So no, this is a team that doesn't just specialize in turf war. Very impressive right there with Rainmaker, and immediately from the beginning, it almost felt like they shocked the Greasy Goblins with how quick they came out the gate.
Well, Rainmaker is the mode, maybe of all modes, that can get away from you very, very quickly. That's always been the MO of Rainmaker, is one mistake or one player falls off the map and you can lose the lead that you worked so diligently to build simply because of how fast it goes. And those very early engagements, Jordan, oftentimes you're not tacticalered up at that point yet. You simply haven't built it in time, which means that you can think of those as more valuable in the early game. So that gets away from the Greasy Goblins, and you can see how miserable the rest of the game can look. It's not even that the Greasy Goblins played poorly as that went on. It's just such an uphill battle when you have to get to 10 after the first minute of the game.
And it changes everything. Normally you feel pretty good about getting to 58 with under 2 minutes left, and it was that opening push. I mean, you figure any other subsequent push, they would have scored just as many points, would Phantom Thief, but they really showed you the coordination. But as you said, the one-person performance of Tsukuyomi with that Splatana Stamper and just what they're able to do to snuff out everything the Greasy Goblins were trying to attempt.
Yeah, and it also gave us a pretty good look at some of the other types of comps that they have, right? Because
Oh my God, excuse me.
What is Tuya, who's been their reflex specialist there? What do they have in their arsenal as well? That time, Tuya switches over to the Enzap to be the one that provides their tacticoolers. That lets Rauru switch over from the Snipe Rider and the Heavy Edit Splatling onto a weapon that maybe they're a little more comfortable with in that Rapid Blaster Pro for Rainmaker. So they do have some versatility, but it still allowed their two main fighting forces in Tsukuyomi and Sanku to stay with what they want, which is that Splatana Stamper and some variant of the Sloshing Machine.
See several of these players with their amiibo ready to get their gear all set up for Game 2, which is going to be Tower Control, Inkblot Art Academy. And this is a map we're very familiar with, a game mode we're very familiar with. What's the approach here for either one of these teams as you look at their typical loadouts?
Well, I would dare say that this is the most played map mode
All right,
combination
what I
in
miss?
all of Splatoon.
Literally
It is
nothing, they haven't
every
started.
tournament this finds a
Bruh.
way to make it into the map list there because it's so universally beloved, and thankfully because of that, everybody's familiar with it. You get through that first checkpoint, however you have to there. Cleanly is obviously what you'd aim for, but as long as you get through it, you get to enter the back half of the game. At that point, you used your range specials to try to attack
Bro, I
the
just
opposing
fixed my
attack
sleep
area. You
schedule.
force them as far back as
I'm so
possible,
sorry,
and then
actually.
if you have your specials still left or players in the right position, you fight as the opponent desperately drops down to you.
What makes it so beloved? You played a lot of Tower Control on different maps.
Certainly coming from Splatoon 2 helps. There's that familiarity that's built in. But I think because on the right side of the map, just off of mid, and you all will see this, there is one block that you can use to jump directly onto your opponent's plat. And because of that, there are lots of avenues to attack, and we know these players love attacking.
Here we go, Tower
Custom
Control,
leader.
Inkblot Art Academy. Game 2, Phantom Thief dominant in Game 1.
Crack
Can they build a
hole.
2-0 advantage, or can the Greasy Goblins
Crack, crack.
strike back?
Well, interesting to note here,
Excellent.
Latias has switched over to the custom E-Leader, which is a weapon that has the Kraken Royale. So strong on Tower Control, can absolutely swipe through players here. And now it's the Greasy Goblins who are fighting forward there with some ferocity there. Took Tsukuyomi almost out immediately, and now have gotten some of the other players.
Dude, I need a clip that just goes, the custom E-Litter, which is a weapon.
Completely different from from this first game.
And they've got the cooler Trizuka applying a little bit of pressure as well too, but misses the shots. And how about Sanku coming through to get the splash?
I mean, huge there. I don't know how he dodged that first shot, but was able to clear the Tower Rider out as well. So those two players going down means that after a really rocky and surprising start, the Phantom Thieves are now on the attack. Tsukuyomi has to back up there, has switched over to that 52 gal. A strong weapon if it can get in position. And that Trizuka shot from Sanku took two players out there. Look at how quickly he's up there. That's triple. That's a wipeout already. That's the opposing spawn, Jordan. He's already there.
And that is an unbelievable turn of events. Phantom Thief just pushing the Greasy Goblins back on their heels, and now with under 4 minutes left, it's all
any
Phantom
Zuka
Thief,
nerf
and
in
the Greasy
chat?
Goblins really need to scramble here.
I mean, poor Tuya's just been throwing bombs for the last 10 seconds. Hasn't had anybody to look at or anything to do. They've already taken two members out, Jordan. They are firing at everybody. They're going to be able to protect themselves here. It's just Remy on the bottom of the screen who's going to even have a say in the matter. Nex is going to try to dive down and make it work, but there's no more conversation to be had.
2 words, 9. Light work for Phantom Thief. They just made that look simple. All it took was one push from them, and all of a sudden, it is 2-0 Phantom Thief. And for the Greasy Goblins, you are looking for any kind of answer you possibly can find right now. But my goodness, I think the surprise of the day so far, despite the semifinal that went to 5 games, is just how dominant Phantom Thief looks already.
Well, look, they had one opportunity.
And then they whip out their mains.
The game,
I think Jackpot's gonna lose to Phantom Thief.
It gets away from you a little bit. Anything can happen at the start of the game.
I think so too, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's Thieves.
They're not even bad or anything. It just Japan's on another level.
They waste absolutely no time getting up.
It looks like, from the looks of it, they just play smarter.
Blinked and Sanku was at their spawn, no hesitation whatsoever. And I'll tell you, Jordan, the mark of a strong and coordinated Splatoon team is how quickly do you get from power position to power position. The spots where your weapon is most effective in that moment. Do you wait for a call out? Do you hesitate? Or do you go?
So that sets up Clam Blitz at Umami Ruins, and well said about the strategy and what we've seen so far from Phantom Thief. For Greasy Goblins, it's a tall task at this point. You're going to have to look for a reverse sweep against a team that is just
Excuse me. Jesus.
really limited anything that you can try to do on the map this time. However, we've seen reverse sweeps. We just saw it with Jackpot over Kaiser, so never say never at this point. But it just seems you saw a little bit more aggression there from the Greasy Goblins, and they just missed that opportunity. They had the Trizuka. They missed all 3 shots. Sanku comes in, and that's when everything went downhill that last game.
Yeah, and they've tried a couple of their different comps here, too. Nexus switched around a couple times, so you can tell that's not the answer for them, certainly. Or let me rephrase, it's not the problem for them on a compositional side right now. It's just so difficult in some of these maps in Splatoon 3 to play defense over and over. If the opponent gets you down and then tacticalers partway through their push, your margin for error is so thin. If you get taken out, obviously that's not great, but even if you trade, they're going to be back at you and attacking and creating more and more pressure.
So game 3 is getting set up here at this moment, and for the Greasy Goblins, you're going to do what you can, and Clam Blitz is an opportunity for some unique strategies, but so far we have just seen not only the one-on-one dominance from Phantom Thief, but the coordination that once they get a push, everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows their role as well, too.
Yeah, everybody knows their role, and they know from an individual player standpoint what to do as well. You can kind of look at Splatoon as something of an improvisational battle, right? Where you're not always going to have the same end goal of where your special should go or where you should position in the heat of the moment, but taking into account where your teammates are and where the game is going at a certain point, you need to be able to identify that, and it's why I've always been so starstruck at how some of these players are able to navigate those, because there are so many factors. And if this is your first time watching Splatoon here at the World Championship, if you're overstimulated, don't worry, it never goes away. But these players are able to navigate it nonetheless.
We've been calling it for years, and there's even times that we can get lost in all the action, but that's the best part about it. Game 3, Clam Blitz, Umami Ruins, Phantom Thief trying to get the brooms out for another little sweep. Greasy Goblins, can they take the first game off of Phantom Thief in this tournament? We'll find out as both teams start their encroachment to the middle.
One last switch here from Phantom Thief of the Heart. This time it is Rahhhhhhh going back over to the Sniper Rider 5H, and Toya moving over to that splatter shot. On the other side, the Greasy Goblins going back with the brush comp that they ran earlier. It's clearly a comfort pick.
15 seconds in, neither team really taking strong positioning at this point. Phantom Thief does take out a member of the Greasy Goblins. A little bit of a trade there. 3-3 on the map. Down goes another member of those Goblins that are also greasy. And now it's just a matter of a power clam in the hands of Phantom Thief as they get their approach set up.
Yeah, the Greasy Goblins have done a good job here at not going down in big bunches. You saw earlier when this map mode came up in our last set, it was only the moments when Kaiser went 2 or 3 down that Jackpot moved all the way through. They created those opportunities for themselves, and with 2 down, Jordan, the door may be opening.
Phantom Thief trying to move forward. It's going to be Ardino that finally goes down, and that's going to leave a lot of opportunity here for Phantom Thief. They are going to fill that basket with every clam they can possibly find, and they continue to push the Greasy Goblins out. Look at the positioning they're able to get.
I mean, Rahhhhhhh immediately got to this position as well, and that's a tactical midway through. You hate to see that if you're the Greasy Goblins, because that means this push is only going to get worse. Plenty of time for them to continue to score. They've done it. They've kept the basket open for the time being. The Greasy Goblins have fought all their way out, but Jordan, they haven't cleared enough players. There's still points.
And that's the problem. Phantom Thief's just going to run out of clams on the map at this point. That's the only thing that's holding them back. Triple Ink Strike ready to go. Here comes that Killer Whale. 5.1 takes down 2 members of Phantom Thief. Triple Ink Strike basket still open.
No.
Looks like the Greasy Goblins finally put a stop to that
push.
But 80 big points come off the board.
80 big points, and it took them a little while to get back to the center of the map because of how long it took them to clear out those players. Now, the nice thing is when you come back into the middle of the map, you get to turf and build your special, but taken out by Sanka, who was waiting there with that slosher to safely fire and take out that Trizuka.
3 minutes left. Phantom
but it
Thief,
doesn't matter.
Power Clam in possession here for Latias, just backing up, trying to provide whatever support that she possibly can, and gets out of there because the Zipcaster was coming in hot. Under 3 minutes left at this point, and now we've gotten to a little bit of a stalemate in this match here, but here all of a sudden 2 members go down for the Greasy Goblins as Phantom Thief advances forward.
Man, it never feels like a stalemate when you're down to 80 points here. Poor Greasy Goblins simply trying to find stability in the center of the map, but there's been none thus far. Sanku fires more in there. Jordan, they have enough clams to end this right now. One more will get the job done, but nobody is up left near it. You'll see a couple grab, but they are grabbing it back from spawn. So the Greasy Goblins will continue to fight another day, but a tough fight it will be.
Yeah, just 1 point away with a 29-point penalty. It's just going to take one more push from them. They get the splat against next. Now it's 4-3, and it is all Phantom Thief. We are seeing a team flex their muscles, show their dominance, as the Greasy Goblins can't help but just retreat at this moment.
Yep, and it's so difficult to fight your way out when you have to build up power clams as you go along too. 2 minutes left. Yes, there's still plenty of time, but you get the sense that the Greasy Goblins would love to get some real value out of each of their pushes. That crab tank has to rotate
the floating sprinkler.
3 members are bunched up. You know at least that Phantom Thief has an idea of where the members of Greasy Goblins are. That means they're going to be able to make their attack based on that. Now, the Greasy Goblins have done a good job of at least moving up and getting some sort of pressure forward, but with one Zipcaster, Tsukuyomi has broken that entire momentum.
Under 90 seconds left, it's a wipeout, and all of a sudden, Phantom Thief is going to go for the KO. They get the win, a 1-2-3 sweep to the finals, and all of a sudden, they are looking like a dominant force. They have yet to drop a single game in this championship 9.
I think Leafy's gonna get dipped by Tsukuyomi.
Certainly living up to the billing of what you would expect the Koshian champion to bring in there.
I mean, she's getting like semi-diffed by Zeres.
Very, very happy.
Yeah, literally everyone is talking about Zeres on Twitter. It's crazy.
Zeres was playing out of his fucking mind.
A great fight there, further than any Australian team has made it. Great job for them for winning the set. You know they're going to use this to try to build and become even stronger in the future.
Great story for them, so they get an opportunity.
Like, if Leafy struggled that hard against Zeres,
Tsukuyomi's going to just destroy.
Dude.
She's going to get destroyed.
It's going to be the quickest...
Get it in the zone.
It's going to be the quickest fucking 1v1 in my life.
Before they rattled off 3 straight victories as they take on a
It's just Phantom Thief. Just made it look so easy.
That is yet to drop a game in this tournament.
It's crazy.
Something we'll have to give. North America versus
Honestly,
Japan in
I
our
had a
final
top
best
5
of 7.
of like who
That's
would
gonna
be like
change up some of the
up in the
matchup
tournament.
rotation. You've got to win 4 games now, which is the tall
This feels
task
pretty
for
accurate.
any of these teams
Yeah.
against this talent.
I,
So
I said at the
let's take a
beginning it's
look
gonna
at
be
our maps
Jackpot
the
versus
most.
Fan
Tower
Beef.
Control, Brinewater Springs, Splat Zones at Flounder Heights, Clam Blitz at Mako Mart, Rainmaker at Manta Maria, Splat Zones again at Hammerhead Bridge, Tower Control at Crab Lake Capital, and if it goes to Game 7, it's Turf War at Marlin Airport.
Yeah, this is a very wide-ranging map mode list here. Kind of looking at this, there are some very awkward ones that aren't played a lot. Tower Control on Brinewater Springs, that is a brutal path
Stages
that the
below
tower
are
has to take. It's
first
really
to
only
4,
one
each
spot it
stage
can
played
go. There's
once.
not a lot of avenues that you can attack.
Flounder
It's about
Zones is
building those specials up
suspicious.
at the right time. Splat Zones, Flounder Heights.
Every
Zones,
stage is
that
first to
one of
4?
the most snowball-heavy, knockout-heavy Splat Zones maps in all of Splatoons and Clam Blitz, Mako Mart.
Whoa.
I mean, it can just get ugly there. Everyone's fighting in the middle of the mart.
So each stage is obviously played once. First team to 4 victories. They have known that this is going to be the loadout for weeks now. How prepared will they be coming in? We saw the change for Jackpot. The difference was .Q going on that Snipe Rider. You didn't really see much variation for the most part for Phantom Thief. And so early thoughts as we take a look. Tower Control, Brinewater Springs, you said it's a brutal path for that tower to try and travel.
Yeah, I think the real question at this point is really .Q, right? They won the games when she went Snipe Rider, right?
Yep,
now, whether that's because it's Tower Control, Rainmaker, whatever it is, that is a conversation that you need to have. Now, Jackpot has been prepping specifically for this for a long time. If they feel confident in their prep, they are going to stick with it. So I would hope at this point they don't outthink their way into this event, and I'm sure that they trust their prep on that side. Something else, though,
Understandable.
to note here is that Rauru, right? You saw how strong that Snipe Rider was in that one there. Also switched over to a Rapid Blaster as well. So today is the day of Rapid Blaster Pro. Apparently, everyone's bringing it out here. Yeah, nobody.
I'm not quite as competent as they are with it. I'll tell you that
but
much right now. I'll be the first
no,
one.
fair enough. But that burst damage type of weapon there that can clear out those towers, of course, is very strong. But what it really changes is what your shooter player plays, because they have to go back to the NZAP at that point. And as we've seen, that NZAP player could be playing a 52 gal. They could be playing a Trizuka weapon. So it's an interesting discussion to have.
It really is that snowball effect, or I guess the domino effect of what happens when one player changes their weapon. Well, that's going to impact everybody else as far as what you're trying to accomplish. And what we've seen so far is that Tacticooler so important as well. Trizuka hasn't really had as much of an impact on things as far as key plays that we've seen, but you know it's going to rear its head here soon.
Well, absolutely. It's one of those constants, almost like for those of you who watched the Mario Kart World Championship earlier, listen, those lightning bolts are going to rain down at some point.
Bro, I gotta make a Twitter account to even search.
You can't react to it, and same is true for Trizuka here. You always get one free shot on the opponent where they have no idea that it's coming at them there, so you kind of wonder if both sides it's going to happen and it comes out in the wash, and you just hope that you aren't the one who gets hit by the unfortunate shot at the worst possible moment.
And Nine, it's been a long journey for both teams to get here at this point. Of course, Jackpot, they won the championship in North America almost 8 months ago and knew that this was going to be coming eventually. Here we are. We get it done in April. And for Phantom Thief, just you've mentioned the grind that Koshian is and just being able to become victorious in what is arguably the most difficult tournament. Here you are. Everything has led to this, all the hours of practice and scrims and meetings and conversations. You are now beginning your best of 7 series to claim the title of best Splatoon 3 team in the world, the first world championship we've had for Splatoon 3.
Jordan, there's only one first champion,
Yeah.
right? There's only one, and no matter what happens for the rest of this game's lifespan or what other championships may come or go, World Championship stays forever. And
Any
I know
predictions
these
for the
players have been riding.
announcements?
The Jackpot players have said this has been their only goal since they reformed. It wasn't to be the best in North
I'm
America.
just
It
hoping
was to
there
be
is
the
some.
best in the world.
Like after
You know,
this
on the
update,
side
people
of
have been very
Fantasy Football,
underwhelmed.
I've been following
Other than like
some
side order,
on
which
social
feels like it's
media
been
there
carrying this
said,
update.
We stole Koshin. We'll steal the
Yeah.
World Championship too, and we'll steal your hearts as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
they're
hoping
feeling
they're
great
gonna
about
give
their
us
chances
something.
here. And after that last set, I don't blame them. But man, we're gonna see some hearts fly out there today.
Yeah, the name is certainly fitting as they get set. And really, if you take a look at our first 4 games, it's Tower Control, Brinewater Springs, Splat Zones, and Flounder Heights. Clam Blitz and Mako Mart, and then again Rainmaker, Manta Maria. You said these are some unusual combinations here, and sure you can practice them, but what's it going to be like when you go against a team as talented as either Phantom Thief or Jackpot? Yes, they have their scrims, but this is different when you're going against a team this organized and this competent.
Yeah, game speed, and I think the thing that always comes back in Splatoon, again, I kind of talked about it earlier, this idea of getting from power position to power position, right? It's something that's common across lots of different team games, lots of different team shooting games for some of you who may be more familiar with some others, but you have to very quickly make do with the information that you have and get to a better position, right? You saw both of these teams, whenever they would take one player out, they would move up to the next spot to play for the next 10 seconds in the game. You can't play reactive in a game like Splatoon. It's simply too quick.
It really is, and we've seen how important speed is. In fact, that was something you said.
I agree with that a lot. Like, a lot of players treat it like a physical thing, but it's also a mental thing.
Speed. We are not moving at the pace that they are. We've got to change that, or else we're going to be left behind.
Yeah, and you can't hitch, right? When we say improve your movement, it's not like they're but faster here. We're all moving at the same speed, provided you wear enough swim speed up. But it's, again, that mental side of recognizing I took this player out, now I go here. Or my teammate said there's 2 players on this side of the map, I need to go here. It's amazing the processing speed that these players have. They're working with different graphic cards and RAMs than you and I have.
That's for sure. And so
crazy.
Continue to get the team set up. They'll make their approach to the stage here in just a moment for the finals. This is a moment they, of course, have all dreamt of ever since they formed these teams. They picked up the sticks for the first time for Splatoon 3. And when this tournament was announced, could we be that team that claims that first championship? And really, it's a attitude that comes in here. It's a big moment for everybody. You can tell yourself that this is something that you want, but until you actually sit in that chair with the stakes right there in the middle of it, how do you best calm yourself and make sure that you're not letting this moment become too big?
I mean, no matter what sport you play, that's the question, right? I mean, I think that Jackpot found their answer to that very quick, which is when greatness is pushed up against a wall, that's when you really see what the peak of it is. That's where the absolute determination, that's where all of the practice that they've come through and the instinct comes forward. There's no more outthinking yourself at that point. You just act, right? For Phantom Thief, I don't know that they've had to answer that question yet. They felt so comfortable as they've played through here that they certainly haven't had to worry.
Let's set the table for the finals. Out of all the teams across the world, it comes down to these two.
It's finals time.
Best of 7 for the title of world champion of our Splatoon.
Totally didn't like rest my eyes, quote unquote.
2024, North America versus Japan. All for the title of champion, and for the hardware right there. It is the finals that are finally here.
A fucking Japanese broadcaster screaming.
They're fucking hype.
So as these teams get set to hit the stage, you can sense the excitement. It's Jackpot, the favorites from North America, that had to battle back down 0-2. But maybe a giant was awoken, and you saw Kaiser really start to push their buttons. Are they the ones that can claim their first ever championship, a world championship for Splatoon 3, or will it be the home team that has looked steely, that has looked unbeatable? They haven't dropped a game yet in this tournament.
Jesus.
It'll be Phantom Thief of the Heart getting set to take center stage.
The screaming is really insane.
Confident and
bro, why can't our guys be like that?
Yeah, give us some hype.
Bro, I want some melee wombo combo screaming, bro.
2024 Jackpot, who had a tumultuous run to get here. Phantom Thief of the Heart, who's had a perfect run with 3 knockouts to get to this stage. You could not have 2 more different routes to get to a final and a championship.
I saw this in a dream once.
Across the globe, across format, this is everything you could hope for in a championship. 4 long games of Splatoon they have to win, Jordan. This set could take a while.
And what's at stake for both these teams? Well, what it would mean for a North American team to win a world championship, arguably for the first time since the World Inkling Invitational in 2017.
Wow.
It's changed a lot since then.
Oh, why did you make me feel old?
What does that say? That message to the rest of Japan, teams questioning whether or not you belong, saying maybe you got lucky to get in here. You win a world championship. Nobody has anything they could say to you.
No, and it's great that you bring those up because for North America, it's a sign that you have finally ascended to a level that you had never been at before. Yes, like you said, in 2017, winning in a newer game that hadn't yet to be released, there's always that question about that championship. Now, it's a game that has been open and on the market for a long time. You could achieve a height that nobody else from North America
I told
has.
you.
And like you said, for Phantom Thief, this is a
What are you
reminder that the deep pool
You
of talent
mad.
that Japanese
so
Splatoon
mad.
has that can produce a world championship threat and competitor from any corner of its player base. Both so much they can prove here at this time. And you, again, folks, the fireworks should be fantastic here between these two teams.
And the biggest question for Jackpot, what is .Q going to use? That Snipe Rider, they were undefeated when she chose that. However, when you started to drift away from what your tried and true weapon is, that's when they dropped their first 2 games against Kaiser. And again, that's nothing against Kaiser.
No.
Kaiser is a very talented team, and they're a team that, in fact, they're the only team, I believe, that came close to taking a game from Phantom Thief of the Heart, but that was Turf War, and that's Kaiser's least effective mode.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, .Q's weapon choice here, I think we'll get an idea of pretty quickly, because I think every Splat Zones map that comes out, you're going to see her switch back to that, and I would wager Clam Blitz as well. The question is going to be Tower Control and Rainmaker. Is that where it's going to come out here, or are they going to have Jared switch back to the NZAP and be their provider? The answer to that question is going to be big because of the arrangement of this. Jordan, as you noted, you're going to have to play each mode a couple of times before you get to the very end of it. So whatever her answer is, you could end up playing a bulk of this set with her off of that Snipe Rider. And that's going to be very interesting as well for Raru on Phantom Thief's side.
Yeah, not a welcoming proposition at all for Jackpot. I think you want your players to be on the weapons that they feel the most confident in, but sometimes situation in the mode doesn't call for that, but you see the relaxation.
Any pre-game predictions?
Kaiser poked the bear a little. I think Jackpot.
I think it's going to be like 2-2.
We have never seen them show that type of emotion in a non-championship game moment. So here we go. Tower Control.
Let's go.
Game 1 of our finals of the Splatoon 3 World Championship 2024.
Man is
the first
range.
step closer to becoming a champion.
Ready? Go! As we get started here, Madness has switched over to the range blaster. Jared on those Splat dualies, and that means Jordan, .Q has switched back over.
.Q on that Snipe Rider.
I was about to say I saw Madness on X-Ray and it was popping off, but
quickly getting on the tower, and they'll
I'm
make
happy I
the
didn't
first
say anything.
push at this moment as Jackpot down they go in their spawn. Living at their spawn was a member of Phantom Thief, and that's going to buy them some precious time to get to the first checkpoint.
20 seconds? That's how long it took them to get into their spawn. Unbelievable the way Tsukuyomi moved forward on that time. Sanku has already taken another one out. Jackpot sent 2 members at the start of the game.
Oh, no,
it's
it's
only been
over.
a minute.
On the back of that, they've already moved over here to this next
It's
checkpoint.
so over for
They are so far
Jackpot.
ahead.
It hasn't
Lee is
been
the
a
only person
minute.
who can work on the
The
tower
stamper
from the melee
deals.
side. Not like this. Is the game going to end already?
Oh, no, they're coming back,
They
they're coming
get
back.
past the checkpoint and get a
Okay.
wipeout. But what an explosive start to this game. And if you're Jackpot, you're just happy the game's still on.
Phantom Thief, nearly a KO that kept Jackpot locked out for a moment. But now here comes Jackpot's opportunity to be on the offensive. They've got 3 specials ready to roll. They are just trying to get on the board. They finally get to the first checkpoint. They are coolered up, but again, another splat on the other side by Tsukuyomi, and that's going to give a 3-3 set on the map at the moment.
And
Tsukuyomi
the
is
nice thing here for
crazy.
Jackpot is this is a map on Brinewater where you will get your chance to throw your punch back at the opponent. So as long as Jackpot is slow and steady,
Let's see
and
Leafy
doesn't
getting
give up the
frustrated
knockout
in
here,
the corner.
they're going to get a chance. But right now, they just don't seem to have any answers for this Phantom Thief squad.
You saw 3 members go down for Jackpot, and here is Phantom Thief already setting the table. Zipcaster ready to go for Tsukuyomi, but down they go to the
Tsukuyomi.
suction bomb. That'll take out 2 members now of Phantom Thief.
And again, I know I use the expression fall on a bomb a lot here, but you can see just how much that changes things there, where Tsukuyomi goes down there to that small little accidental play, and the whole attack falls apart as a result of it. Now, Tsukuyomi does get back alongside another member here, so they're going to have their presence on the center of the map, but things can
Okay,
change
nice
in
teamwork.
such a hurry.
It really can. Under 3
Nice.
minutes left. Oh, that's a big pick there for Jackpot. They take out 2 members. Towers moving forward. They've got the first checkpoint out of the way. This is a chance where they can maybe make up some ground. You see Toya up top. Tsukiyomi coming in to drive. Down goes Zanku as well.
Yep, those are the 2 big fighters. That's 3 down now, and the last one simply has to jump out. Now they're going to have that checkpoint there that they can use on the defensive side, but Jackpot just brought out the Tacticooler at the perfect time, and with Leafy fighting all the way ahead there, they're going to have to dive the tower in a hurry. One goes down. Did it buy enough time? They're at checkpoint 2. They take the lead.
Jackpot wrestles back the lead. They are threatening a KO, but then they're stopped in their tracks. Down go 3 members. Jackpot, they have an opportunity here. It is just Zanku trying to keep things alive. No, they've got to spawn back to Phantom Thief.
No way.
Ride the
Jackpot
fucking
putting all
tower.
the pressure here down the stretch.
Grab on the tower.
Take up top. Is
think that's
Jackpot
it.
going to get the knockout?
Let's go.
Yes, they do in game 1.
Nice.
I told you, you get your opportunity on this map. You
Jackpot has that win. They're gonna take it all.
and you will get your chance. Oh,
Now
Jordan,
they just need to
once they
lock
got
in
that
the rest of the
Tacticooler
3
up
games.
right in the middle of
That
bush
one
as they
win
were
changes their
approaching it,
mentality,
that's
so.
when you knew
It
they
just
were
can't
going
go to
be able
turf war.
attack, and they were eventually going
Yeah,
to
or they're
overpower
actually cooked.
because they were going to outscale.
And 9. Jackpot showing that if you ink the Phantom Thieves, they can be splatted. That's the first game taken from the Phantom Thieves in this entire tournament. And all of a sudden, they were going to have to deal with a little bit of adversity. And that was remarkable. It looked like it was all Phantom Thief to start this game. They got as far to 20 in their initial push. But then all of a sudden, Jackpot, they look like the Jackpot that we were so accustomed to seeing, where they just are all on the same page and you can't take them apart. That was an unbelievable turn of events in just that first game.
Well, and it's such a difficult map to defend on, too. I mean, I hope that was very evident given how both of these 2 teams attacked. At a certain point, there's just nowhere for you to go to hit the tower.
Crazy
and
first
for the
game.
members of Phantom Thieves, there was only one weapon they had that could even touch the tower from their side of the spawn, so you really hope that it doesn't get to that point, but that's Brinewater tower control in a nutshell. And I said earlier, some of these awkward map mode combinations for these teams are going to force them in positions maybe they're not as familiar with, or maybe that just aren't good for them to be in. So Jackpot, as ugly as it got there at the start, the second they had that defense, they were telling themselves, okay, we're still alive. Let's just keep going. Once we get our turn, we think that we can attack better.
Here are some of the highlights, and for a moment it felt like Phantom Thief was going to stop anything that Jackpot was doing, but this push right here, where they continue to maintain the numbers advantage, and there's going to be a huge splat coming up here in just a second as Zanku drops down 9. That opened up the door.
It did, and Madness came right back in at the right time there. .Q, of course, being the one that holds on to that tower. We wondered if .Q was going to switch over to the Snipe Rider on tower control. There's your answer. There's your result. They still haven't lost a game when she's played that weapon.
So game 1 goes to Jackpot, and that sets the stage for Splat Zones at Flounder Heights coming up next year. And not only was it a win, 9, it was a knockout.
Nice.
And
Very
back to
cool.
the emotion, it's a real thing.
Really exciting to see.
As Kaiser was talking a lot of mess over the first 2 games, that awoken something in Jackpot, a ferocity that we haven't seen in them in a long time. And I think it exuded itself in that second half of the game.
I mean, at this point, any emotion that they could have felt, they've felt over the course of this
This
event,
is true,
right?
yes.
I mean, at the very beginning, stone cold with absolutely nothing that they could possibly say, down 0-2 in that previous set. At that point, you just hope that you get a game and that you get to have a conversation with the opponent. Then you come all the way back, can say whatever you want. You take the big shot from the opponent at the start, then you get your chance to counteract, and you make good on that, getting the knockout against Phantom Thief of the Heart. So there's nothing left for them to feel at this point. They've gone through all the bases so far, and there's still so much left to play.
As we said, coming up next, Splat Zones, Flounder Heights. You said this is one of those big snowballing Splat Zones games where if you go ahead and get the zone first, you have a chance to really just run away with it.
Well, it's just so hard to get back to the zone, and there are 2 zones. One of the few 2-zone maps here in Splatoon 3. They're far apart, and it's hard to get back to it if you get knocked out. So that very first engagement, the teams might be a little
Where are
more
the switches?
trying to poke around and not make the big mistake,
Docked?
because if you get pushed back in the
Probably
opponent's wings
underneath.
underneath
Or to
the
the side.
side, you can lose a game in a hurry. Kind of like we saw in that tower control game, Jordan. You can see how snowbally and how quickly some of these games can turn no matter how the opening looks.
Both teams taking their time to get their loadouts all set because, as we said before, this is an atypical combination. Splat zones on Flounder Heights. You imagine you're looking for a little bit more range in all of your weapons as well, too, because you've got to cover so much ground just to get back into the middle of all the action.
Yeah, that's kind of the question that people have to ask when they come into this is, do we go a little longer range? What do we switch some of our weapons over to here? Do we play some more burst damage type of weapons? Do we play a carbon roller here? There's so many interesting answers on this map because of not only the range,
Carbon
but the
Flounder
verticality.
It's
You
not
know,
a
cook.
great
that
pick.
can poke from low ground, but you also need
It
weapons
could,
that
I
have
just
a
don't know
little
why
range
you'd pick
in
it
order to counteract
over
that.
literally
Here
anything
we
else.
go. Game 2 of the finals. Jackpot versus Phantom Thief. Can Jackpot build a 2-0 lead, or will Phantom Thief tie it up?
Hopefully
at
they
one
can.
of
Dynamo,
these
what the
splat
fuck?
zones? Flounder Heights. Let's go.
Dynamo.
Well, I was going to say
Reflux.
an interesting choice here from one side, but Phantom Thief, Jordan, has completely changed up their composition here. Tsukiyomi has switched over to the Splatana Wiper, which is a very powerful
Tsukiyomi
weapon,
goes
but
down
gets taken out
immediately.
by Doc
Bruh.
Q on the heavy edit Splatling, and there's big changes all over the other side, but the game's already started, so we're going to talk about that instead.
So far, neither team has been able to wrestle too much of the zone. An early 2-point lead for Jackpot. 4-3 advantage for them on the map. Both teams lose a member at this moment, and this is such an interesting combination.
Tsukiyomi.
Got more than anything.
There's so many
They
different
already
areas
got their
that you can
strat.
approach them from.
Yeah, different angles of approach are very important here, but it all kind of conjugates here, and two people jumped right into that side. They could have both been taken out there. One of them managed to get away. I believe it was Tsukuyomi, but that could have been the start of the snowball that gets away. Instead, now we've got a scramble situation, and
Yeah,
it's
this had-
Jackpot who will have the
yeah,
first
now they
real
just need
look
to push
at a
up.
lockout on this side, Jordan, and this is where it gets scary. One has already gone down for them, and the others are pushed back.
Yeah,
got
Madness
only
goes down,
one,
however, the
right?
score continues to move in the favor of Jackpot. That is ticking down. Leafy trying to
Damn,
chase
man.
down Tsukiyomi. That Stamper's going to keep Tsukiyomi down there for just a little bit longer.
Damn, that was
pops up and
sick.
gets the
Why
splat
did Leafy
against
take that
Leafy.
fight?
Yeah, Leafy stayed just a little bit too
No
long
idea.
in that position, and that is going to be a
That's
big
really tough
one
for
out
them.
there.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
this
they turned that around
not that
quickly
good.
there. The reflux is out as well for Toya, so
Not
that's
one
interesting. They're
cooler.
gonna have tens of missiles here to force the other members back even further if they want, but you see Phantom Thief not diving in all the way. They're giving up some space, respecting Jackpot's position.
They know they
Nine, did
have
Jackpot
cooler, they have
just simply
Dynamo.
overextend themselves there. They had the
And they
zone,
have
and
edit.
they were close to getting the lockout.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
they,
bro.
no, I mean they haven't popped in
They
a
were
while.
firing at opposing players that were in different positions
Oh,
there. That's really all
they're
you can hope
retaking.
to do
Oh, okay,
in that
man.
spot, but they have fought their way back in very
Very
methodically
nice.
there. So
Still,
they have found all the
still
answers
don't
for the
understand
time
the
being.
reason
Raul
Off
to
position,
keep
he's gonna
that
jump
going.
back.
has been forced off onto the side in a really awkward
Jump back, you
position.
fool.
They dive
Thank
down
you.
there to close it out there.
Oh,
Now they're
Leafy's
going
trying to
after
chase
Toya
that.
here. This is a rough fight for Toya against a sloshing machine. And will
Nice.
actually get a
Damn,
trade
man, this
there.
came in too
So
late.
nicely done there.
Get two down.
Tsukiyomi is up here as well to catch the player
Yes.
who jumps in,
Damn.
and this should be Phantom Thief regaining some control.
And
Nice.
Tsukiyomi, 2 splats in a row. How
Fuck.
about the individual effort by them to take control of this game
Tsukiyomi's
so far?
carrying.
Jackpot had a moment.
Yes,
but Tsukiyomi
actually.
shut the door on that.
If they
And
kill
now they've got the
Tsukiyomi, they
lead. They're
win.
chopping into their penalty, and they're looking to get the lockout as all 4 members congregate towards the top of that ramp.
That was a nice
Madness
kill.
got a wonderful
Nice,
shot there
nice.
on Raul, so that's going to be one player down there.
Nice, now we need to
Tsukiyomi
rush,
diving in
we need
there
to
was
rush.
tacticalered up, so we'll at least be back to the fight in a decent time. I'm more concerned about this side of the map.
Don't
as Doc
throw,
Q now
don't throw the
in a
fight.
rough spot against Toya here. They're firing it out.
Nice,
Oh,
beautiful.
Picks him
Nice.
off. Dot Q dodging and
Viper,
weaving.
though.
That's a critical splat.
Nice.
And
Nice.
Jackpot able to hang on to
They gotta get that
control
other
of one
zone.
of the zones, but there is Phantom Thief
They're gonna lose
already
that fight,
trying
they're
to
gonna lose
keep
that
the
fight.
other one. That'll take the other zone, hold things at a pause for a moment.
Nice, they got
And
time.
now both
Nice.
teams trying to reset their approaches here with 3 members on the board for Phantom Thief, 4 for Jackpot. It's going
That
back
kind
and
of ball
forth
could have
at
been
this
terrible.
moment.
Yeah, but I think that that's about to swing hard in favor of Jackpot.
Nice.
Toya is forced all the way back there. That reflex is not going to be able to
Nice.
hold back these main weapons.
And
And this
Nice,
is the
Larry.
dangerous
Perfectly
spot here.
timed cooler.
Madness swimming forward. Dot Q turfing forward to allow for that approach here. This
Crazy,
reflex
crazy
could absolutely
fight.
blow open this position.
Damn.
Instead, isn't able to find anybody.
Nice
they will
lead.
take the lead, but there was a lot more on the
They're getting
table
flanked.
for that. Right now, Phantom Thief has a great
There's a mount
opportunity to
catcher.
push back in. Would love to stabilize here, but Tsukuyomi goes down. That's their main attacker on that side, Jordan.
And you saw the splatter color screen providing a little bit of support. Here comes a curling bomb as well, too, just to try to get the zone here. Over a minute left. 30
Good
seconds.
shit.
Tsukiyomi's
52 advantage
crazy.
for Jackpot. Now
Yeah, at
all of
least
a
he
sudden
went down.
Phantom Thief is in control, but they've lost 2 members here, 9.
And they really don't have a great way to get rid of Dot Q on that heavy edit Splatling. She is sitting back there and simply turfing this side. You see that Sanku just has to risk
Ooh,
life
ter-
and limb
terrible peek.
in order to put any sort of damage on that side.
Now, if
Well,
you're Jackpot,
gonna
you just want to
flank.
focus on covering your zone. You don't need to really take any more risk trying to
Nice.
get both zones, I imagine.
No, and that's
They
why
just gotta
Docu
hold
has
it. They
done there.
literally
Something
just have to
does go
hold
down
it.
there. I think Toya
So they're
wants to
2 down though.
one
Oh,
shot
they're giving up
leaves that
space.
reflex to take
Fuck.
that player out. Finally, they
Nice
have
kill.
found
They're
a
2 down,
way
they're 2 down
through.
as
They're
well.
taking a lot of damage in doing it. Tsukuyomi does get the revenge shot there on that side. Jordan, these points are going to start flying off the board. Jackpot is going to have plenty of time.
They gotta get
watches
that
them
at-
to build as many specials
Yeah.
as possible and slowly try to move back.
However, time is ticking. They're just 7 seconds away,
Nice,
and 9 all of a
nice,
sudden,
nice.
Jared's able to get up there and put a pause on
Nice.
thing. That was huge.
Oh, no, it wasn't
However,
enough.
now the
But
lead
yeah,
goes
no,
back
I
to
don't think it's-
Phantom
I
Thief
think it's
with
over.
15 seconds left.
Jared took an awful long time getting back on that side. Did it stall them long enough? 10 seconds left. They're just going to try to go for the neutralizer
Overtime?
to get into overtime. Sanku
Yeah,
fights
no,
forward
it's
and
over.
takes control back. There's still pandemonium on the zone, but with 1 second left,
Damn.
Phantom Thief makes good on it. And even though things could have gotten away from them there, they held on. And you see some elation there for Tsukuyomi there. Kind of bearing the lead here, Jordan. That was one of the most unreal compositional changes that I have seen there. Dynamo Roller, we don't see a lot.
No.
Reflux outside of Turf War, we don't see a lot. And even Tsukuyomi changed over to another version of the Splatana wiper that side. So they made it work, changing things up in the middle of the moment. 1-1 between these two Titans.
And goodness, so many moments in this game that could have really gone the other way. And you
Damn,
saw
I thought
earlier
Jackpot
on,
had that.
Jackpot felt like
Crazy.
they had the lockout, but lost some of those one-on-ones. That allowed Phantom Thief to come in there and get their big push. But down the stretch, 9, what happened with Jackpot? It felt like all they had to do was focus on their zone. However, they just got disheveled.
I mean, easier said than done, right? When you have .Q up in that position, on that top right perch, you could see how easy it was for them to hold on. But once .Q went down, the great shots from the reflux of Toya, everything else became that much more difficult for them to move in. Jared with this incredible attempt to move through there. Raul, though, turned around just in time, and another player had already gone down for them there. So meeting threats on both sides, you can see why that Dynamo Roller can still get it done on certain map mode combinations, and great response there from Phantom Thief. I was
We actually
hoping
didn't see a
to get
lot
alongside
of
them,
pencil.
At least for the time being, that's what we've got.
Well, it guarantees another Splat zones. That's for sure. We'll get
At
a
least
game
so
5.
far.
That'll be at Hammerhead Bridge here shortly. But up next, Clam Blitz and Mako Martin. You said this can get messy sometimes. A whole lot of fighting going on in the middle of this map. But so
I think
far, what we've seen from
Jackpot's
both
gonna take
teams
this
is
one.
that there's some vulnerability for sure. And it seemed like Jackpot was in
The set
control
or
for
this
most of
next
that
round?
game. It was just that
This
last final push
next game.
that we saw from Phantom Thief, where they're able to force .Q out of that perch, lost the leverage. That changed everything for Jackpot.
Absolutely, and sometimes it is that simple. Some weapons are very strong in some positions, and when you get them out of that, they're not as strong in certain spots. And that's one of the reasons why Flounder Heights in particular can be such a difficult map to play. It's the defender just has a much better position. You've got the high ground, as it were. It can be so difficult to fight a literal uphill battle, but we've now seen that in both games, Jordan, where one team goes out to the opening lead, they look strong, the other team fights their way back. Great resilience.
All I know is we would love to see 7 games. That's for
Oh,
sure
man.
in these finals. So Clam Blitz is coming up next year. We talked about it. Mako Mart. What do you like about this matchup?
Both teams clearly like to fight. That's the thing I have noticed thus far, and anytime you have a messy map mode combination with two teams that like to fight, one, you can bet that it's going to be very difficult for anybody who's trying to spectate, and you can also bet that it's going to create some real fireworks here. But something specifically about the Clam Blitz variation, Jordan, is this is one of the shortest basket-to-basket paths in all of Splatoon. It takes you less than 5 seconds to swim from one side of this map to the other, which means that if you risk everything to get a big score out, your opponent's going to get to do the exact same to you in a hurry.
Really fascinating concept there, because we've seen the last couple of Clam Blitz opportunities. It's taken a while for teams to get back into things and try and have that response when they get their own power clam. So this is going to be one of those electric matchups that you just imagine will be a lot of mayhem in the middle. And for Phantom Thief of the Heart, what we've seen from them so far is just the ability, their pushes are so strong, especially at the tail end of that game. The first game as well, too, at the beginning. This is a team that will try to go for that knockout punch when they get that opportunity. You've got to be very, very careful if you are Jackpot.
Well, yeah, and the angles at which Phantom Thief is attacking from are also, like, stunning to me. the angle that Tsukuyomi took on one of those fights to get into it, and then Sanku, like, squeezing through 2 or 3 players fighting in order to take a fight as well. that's what is really interesting at this top level is, okay, we all know the conventional stuff. We all know where the powerful positions on the map are. Now, what do you do with that information? What angles do you take into fights to throw off where your opponent's coming from? And there's been some great creativity from these teams thus far.
There's the bell. That's the chime. It means it's time for Game 3 of our finals. It's tied at 1-1 apiece. Clam Blitz and Mako Mart. Who's going to go to the store and pick up a dub? We'll find out as we
Really
get a
interesting.
chance to take our first glimpse at the couple of loadouts. The finals continue as we get set to go on Mako Mart.
Tentabrella, Jordan, it is
For
out
their entry
from
point,
Leafy
baby.
here. She has been playing this weapon for quite some time, and I knew we'd see it at some point today. On the other side, though, Tsukiyomi has switched off
And
the
there's
Super
still no
class
cracking.
and is now instead going back over to that 52 gal. Leafy got behind them, but wasn't able to finish the job there, and the other person that they snuck over, Jordan, got taken out as well. This has gone just about as poorly for Jackpot at the start as it could. Madness desperately needs to win that fight and does get a trade, but as a
nice
result,
toss
there's going
there.
to be some points scored now. It's not a lot. Jackpot is fine in this position, but you can see how scary this map can be.
They get 2 splats, though, and the timer
Very
expires. They're
nice.
going to get a power clam. 3 splats. All of a sudden, they try to give themselves an opportunity to take the momentum with the free power clam that'll drop.
Yep, and they actually snuck somebody behind there. Jared was already back there. They should at
Nice.
least be able to score 1 power claim here at this
Very
site.
nice.
Tsukiyomi dives way down. That's a very dangerous spot to be in. Yeah, Tsukiyomi goes down there. There should be tons of points being scored on this side. Leafy is now back behind them there. The threat is coming from both sides, and Sonku does win the fight with Madness to at least get rid of some of the clutter in the middle of the map. It'll be a cleanup here for Phantom Thief. But again, Jordan, think of how long it took us to get our
Nice,
first score on some
Zuko.
of those other maps, and now we've already had 2.
It goes by quickly for sure. So the early lead right now for
Nice.
Jackpot, but certainly not safe at Mako Martin. Let's go ahead and check in as Madness goes down. Killer Whale 5.1 trying to apply a little bit of pressure here for Phantom Thief, and here comes that coordinated push from our team from Japan.
Yep, they get taken out there, though. One player did try to move up there to go and attack the crab alongside that Killer Whale 5.1. They got taken out. Jackpot's defense is a little too strong. They're playing great complementary Splatoon for the time being, but Tsukuyomi dives down, not needing a compliment of any sort. Gets 1 down, but
Nice.
3 will emerge over 1 every time.
Tsukiyomi goes down, and that was a huge pickoff, and all of a sudden, Jackpot building upon their lead. Triple Link Strike comes in. That's going to try and open things up. Couple more clams coming
Nice.
in. Leafy's able to fit one in as
GG,
well,
my
too.
guy there.
That
Yeah.
builds up
Yeah.
to 34 to 80 the lead. 2 more members go down for Phantom Thief. How about the one-on-ones
Jared
that
is going
Jackpot's winning?
crazy.
Well, I mean,
Crazy.
Jared's just gotten behind
Jared.
them again twice, and now we'll
That's my
check
dually
out for
player.
safety there, and we'll have a safe landing. So it's the same thing both times, where Jared is able to get behind them there with those dualies and force these awkward fights
Yeah,
in
that's-
weird positions. Now Sonku did an amazing job
Jared's
closing that
gonna
out there.
die.
Needs to find Jared and does. Should now have a good
Yeah.
opportunity to move .Q off of that power position as well. There's still plenty of time left. A couple of big scores will even this out, but Tsukuyomi goes down once again. He's overextending just a little too much.
And you
Sanku's
see
gonna
Phantom Thief having to retreat just a little bit. Araru trying to move forward. Toya now with the power clam, and they've got plenty of currency on their side. 16 total clams. But down
What
goes
is
another
Sonku
member.
doing?
And all of a sudden, you've got to give Jackpot credit
Just
for trying
gonna
to
score.
lock out Phantom Thief.
You should, but then Toya got in behind
Oh,
them,
there's
and now
somebody
they've
behind
gotten
you.
now in a position to score. They're not going to take the lead off of
It's
this.
just that
but Araru is
guy.
actually going to stay back there and continue to fight. Gets one there.
Oh, almost got through 2 of them.
You take
Oh my
one?
gosh,
Oh
that
shit.
completely changes the
Crazy.
dynamic here, because now only
Thank God
one
the
member
basket's
is moved
closed.
up there, and it's Madness now gives up his position there to try to fight it out with Sonku.
Madness
That's
is
a
gonna die.
big bit of the lead that has been pulled back there. 1 power clam, now 2 power clams will take the lead back for Phantom Thief, but it's going to be Jackpot's turn before we get to that.
You see the Tentabrella going up against the splash wall, trying to march forward. Jackpot creating a little bit of a lane for themselves here on aisle 5. Here comes an
Later.
opportunity to throw the power clam. They get it in.
Very
And now
nice.
they've
Bro,
got
with
to provide
combos
some
crazy.
supplementary clams to add to this lead. There
Honestly,
they go
yeah.
into the penalty, down to 24, and an effective
Nice.
Nice.
They get another power clam in.
Only
A
Jared
chance
had
for a
clam.
KO. Can they get it in with the crab?
Wait,
Jared being
maybe?
pursued,
No, I don't think
not
Jared has
gonna get it
clams.
in
Yeah,
time. That's gonna
clams.
shut the door. But how about that?
Dude,
Damn.
imagine if
All
Jared
the
had a
way to
fucking
4.
clam
And
there.
now it completely changes
They
here because
got this.
2 power clams will put you nowhere close here. 3 power clams won't even be enough here. So for Phantom Thief, you almost have to look at this as a 2-push proposition or one really long, perfect push where you keep Jackpot hemmed back into their own side. And that's a very, very difficult thing to do. It starts by taking this side of the map here, forcing these members back. That is one player
Uh-oh,
that
they
got
missed
down
forward
here,
here.
and they built themselves up a nice
Yeah, they have
outpost
enough
here
clams.
on this
No,
side.
wait, one of them went
Tsukiyomi
down.
goes and fights forward, but Jordan, they don't have the power clam
They're
yet.
scrambling.
There's not
Shit,
enough
they're
follow-up
passing
there.
clams.
They do get
They
that
scrambled
first
way
one.
too
down
long
low.
there.
Members going
It's
down
over
here.
for
Nice.
them.
It just
Nice.
wasn't connected enough.
Nice.
They had
No,
to use
no,
all
they
of their
scrambled too long.
specials, so how
Nice.
about the
Nice.
defensive standby Jackpot?
Yeah, they
Under
just need to
20
hold mid.
seconds left. They've
Yep.
got the lead. They're trying to close the lid on this Clam Blitz battle and pull up 2-1. Power Clam in possession of Phantom Thief, just trying to avoid that triple ink strike. 8 seconds left. Couple of one-on-ones taking place here. They're going to retreat. Is Jackpot and just fortify the defense. 1 second left. All of a sudden, we're going to head to overtime. Phantom Thief is going to have the push of all pushes here as Jackpot is just trying to hold on.
And they're going to have to find some clams as well on the other side. First of all, you got to get this one in, though. That's most of it already gone there. Tsukiyomi is going to try to fight forward on this
Nice.
side, but it's taking too long, and the members of Jackpot will rotate over to close it
And
out.
that's over.
A couple more ticks, and Jackpot takes game 2.
Jackpot with that push where they got 2 power clams in to build the lead 4-49. That was the difference, and Jackpot moves to a 2-1 advantage, taking care of business on Clam Blitz.
Whew, and what a series of fights that it were to open that up. And man, that was just body blow after body blow. Both teams throwing it back and forth there, but
Throwing it back.
that could get a little bit messy on that map.
Fuck
though.
off.
Mart is known for that exact scenario occurring over and over and over again, but for Jackpot there, their coordination,
Alright.
Jackpot's gonna
their
take it home.
willingness to slow down a
You're going to
little bit
bed.
if it means assisting and
Look me up
closing
when
out
game
some of
4
these players.
starts.
They're not willing to let any members of Phantom Thief get in an awkward position.
I'll
that
just
could be
scream into the
thorn on
mic.
their side. They are finishing their meal, as they say.
I thought Jared was exceptional in this game. Jared's ability to get behind the defense and to force a lot of situations that made Phantom Thief uncomfortable.
And if I may, Jordan, earlier when I said Docu needs to be the provider of their tactical cooler, this is what I wanted to see. I have tremendous respect for what Jared is able to do in all of his weapons, getting behind opponents, being slippery, winning these fights, and that's only possible when he's allowed to play some of these other weapons here. Great stuff here from the members of Jackpot.
Yeah, it really had Phantom Thief out of sorts early on, and that's why Jackpot was able to take the offensive, and then we saw them build this big lead, and it was too late. Not enough clams on the field for Phantom Thief, and then when you get into scramble desperation mode, it all starts to go downhill. So Jackpot, an excellent job by them, of really locking out Phantom Thief on such a short map as well, too. Phantom Thief never really had a sizable push at any moment.
No, and when you get behind that far, it also changes the way that you have to play in Clam Blitz as well, right? Because earlier you heard me call out, all right, 2 power clams won't be enough now. And the reason why we use that 2 power clam metric is because that's really the limit of you can jump them in, right? You can get a quick, immediate 40-point burst and steal the lead back for yourself. Once you get beyond that point, though, it has to be either a really, really long push or 3 power clams. And some of you at home may have noticed it's not easy to build 3 power clams at this level, much less score 3 of them. So that's not really on the table. The only other option is getting everybody down on the opposing team and spawn camp them for an extended period. And you're just not going to get to do that against Jackpot.
That's not going to happen as well, too. So that sets the stage. Rainmaker, Manta Maria.
Welcome.
And this is one that, again,
By
I
you.
both played a lot. We've seen
Meow.
this team scrim on it as well, too. What do you expect to see here?
Well, this is a map where the final 35-ish, 40 points are very interesting. There is a drop down, and those of you who have played on Manta Maria know this, a drop down and a sprint to the goal. And you will see points go from 30 to 0 like that. If both of these teams get there, it could be just one stray shot of ink that makes the difference between winning and losing on this map.
And this is a huge game because if Jackpot wins, it essentially means Phantom Thief has to win 3 consecutive games, a 3-0 sweep, to take this championship. So this is huge. Phantom Thief, I get the sense, 9, you've got to win this game. If not, going down 3-1, you can't give Jackpot 3 opportunities. We saw how hard it is to win 3 straight against them, as Kaiser looked like they were dominating them, won the first 2, then got swept the other way.
Yep, and it's not an easy task to, from a stamina side, keep up with a fast-paced team like Jackpot over and over again. But this is a longer, slower Rainmaker map. You saw a little bit earlier how quickly some of these maps can end up going. This is not one that usually goes slow. Now, I say that, and I may have just cursed this game with the way that these teams are attacking, but I hope we'll get to see a nice, good, lengthy Rainmaker game here.
And a lot of these games have been back and forth, pushes from both teams, and you've been impressed with the way that each team has shown a different kind of result. They might get down, but then they scramble at the last minute, or they just keep their composure to ensure that they can dominate or need to do what they have to do in order to get that victory.
Yeah, it's, again, the players here, even on both sides, smiling a little bit, kind of knowing like, all right, that game got away from us. It happens here. This is what it looks like when you're playing against a team at your level. Some of these fights aren't going to go your way, but be interesting to see here, Jordan. Phantom Thief has changed a lot from a compositional standpoint, game to game.
Video games.
No surprises here.
52.
Jackpot. On this side, it does appear Tsukiyomi has gone back over to the Stamper here. The Crab Tank variation of the Stamper, an interesting choice.
A Titanic Game 4 on Manta Maria. Here we go. Jackpot trying to build a monstrous 3-1 lead, or can Phantom Thief
Nice pop.
tie it
That
up
was
and
quick.
force at least a Game 6? Both teams fighting in the middle, and this is essentially here 9, the early part of Rainmaker. What are these teams trying to do?
Well, they're trying not
Green
to
Stamper's
take
pretty
the
interesting
mistakes.
'cause they
You
have,
want
like,
to have
one
some
bomb here.
stability. Some players are going to go down, but you need to have at least your tactical out for a defensive resource there, and you need to hold on to certain positions. Now, both of the attackers there went down early on for the members of Phantom Thief, but it appears that a couple of the attackers have gone out on the other side
just
as well.
barely.
Now stuck in an awkward position, but once again, Jordan, Jared is behind Phantom Thief right now. Probably know where he's at there, but
Really
he's
aggressive.
so good at hitting these awkward spots. Now you're looking that way. The Trizuka comes out. They're dangerously close to once again getting through this first checkpoint after this jump.
And they're trying to go through that jump, which is one of those shortcuts, but all of a sudden the Toxic Mist will snuff that out for a moment. So Jackpot's going to have to rethink their strategy. Sounds like they might let that Rainmaker respawn as they fortify. And look at all the yellow ink here as they just claim so much of this territory at the moment.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's frustrating when the Rainmaker is in that spot. Yes, you can defend it, but you always have to have something at least looking on that side. Leafy has been sharking and waiting that entire
Nice.
time.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
double splat, looking for 3, almost an unbelievable turn of events. And how
Wow.
about the pressure and disruption we just saw?
Oh, when you shark that long, that's the best case scenario that you're hoping for there.
Very
now with
nice.
Jared over there, they are going to be able to move for it,
Easy
and they
check.
do get through that first checkpoint, Jordan. We know how getting to that first checkpoint early changes the entire
Nice.
dynamic, and another one goes down.
Tsukiyomi
Leafy is
said.
going crazy this game.
And you see Tsukiyomi go down by the
two
Rainmaker
down.
at that first checkpoint. That's a sizable lead for Jackpot, and now they can really focus their defensive efforts if they need to, but they would love to move it a little bit further. And now Tsukiyomi up top trying to jump down low, feeling pressure from all the angles, avoids getting splatted, goes after the Zipcaster and the Booyah Bomb that comes out. However, down they go. It's a wipeout, though, for
Down.
Phantom Thief.
And I cannot tell you how good that defense was. 3 members in your alleyway, one of them with a Trizuka, and you don't give up a single point beyond the
Instacap?
checkpoint, and you get
Nice.
the checkpoint on the other side? Oh my goodness, Phantom Thief, what more do you have? Fighting takes down Jared. They should get the pop here, Jordan.
What a turn of events by
By herself.
Phantom Thief. They were on
Okay.
the
Sokka's gonna play.
plank, getting ready to walk it. All of a sudden, now they're knocking on the door to try and take the lead. However, they're
Shit,
down
he's
one.
not good.
Gotta
Fucking
pop
trade.
this Rainmaker shield and advance it, or else it's going to reset. An advantage still for Jackpot. They're going back and forth
Okay.
trying to pop this Rainmaker shield. You want to be careful. Can a member get on there and advance the lead? Right up top.
Very nice.
No luck with that ink vac. Oh, they take
No
out Raru.
vac.
That was massive.
Very
And
nice.
down goes
Nice.
Saku.
Oh man, and I wondered what they were going to try to do in order to take that.
Oh,
there.
Toya goes
Unfortunate.
down.
I mean, this is getting a little
Insane.
overzealous with these jump-ins there. You're going to give up points here. You don't have your check.
And
then they
walk in,
just
Jackpot
one
going
point.
And then
way
they
too
win.
far forward here.
Go for
Jordan, the
points.
points are going to start to fall off here, and I have to wonder if
Nice.
Phantom
Nice.
Thief shouldn't have done those jumps there, not sensing the moment and how quickly it was
Saku
going to
dies.
fall. They're going to lose even more points on this side. Still,
Leafy
people
might make it.
fighting
Throw one, they're
down
throwing.
to
Nice.
7.
9, you got the sense that Phantom Thief saw they were trailing by 1. They were just trying to do anything they could to advance that Rainmaker and take back the lead, but in doing so, how badly did they expose themselves?
I mean, this is Rainmaker, Jordan. This is what it looks like when you wait just a little bit too long. You give your opponent one opening, they're going to be able to get a lot of points very, very quickly. And even now you see Tsukuyomi backs up there, not sure if one more member of Jackpot is waiting by the Rainmaker to maybe steal 1 or 2 more points and just take the game. They are going to need to touch the
I think they know.
pedestal
I think they know
here.
to play
The
safe
bottom part
here.
of it is fine. They don't have to knock it out, but that's how close they're going to have to get.
They're
if
not
they
gonna
wanna
let them
take
go
this
through
game
cut.
back.
If you're
Ooh.
Jackpot, 1
Yeah.
minute left. You can think about playing some defense. There's not that much time left on the clock, but you just got to be careful.
They might make it
not
here.
to make
They're
that
two
big
down,
mistake.
though.
All of a sudden,
They're
here
just
they
gonna
come
stop him?
sneaking through.
They're just gonna stop
Rainmaker's
him?
still
What did he
ahead.
do?
Oh, but the splat 4-1 on the map.
over.
And it's a wipeout for Jackpot.
Yep, and the worst part is you get nothing for getting to 37 there. That functionally gets you absolutely nothing. And once 2 members went down on the left side of the map, Jordan, that push was basically done. They swim it forward just to try. And now look at
Nice
this
shark.
great position there. Couldn't quite get the other shots there. Was Leafy, but eventually you're going to have to fall back because the other members of Jackpot are pushing forward. Clean that up. Corner a couple
Okay.
more members here.
Nice.
And
It's
another
over.
wipeout. 20 seconds left, Jordan.
That's
They're going
just
to move
over.
forward here, and I don't even know how Phantom Thief's
Unless
gonna get to
Tsukuyomi just
center
dips
of
the
map.
fuck. Never mind.
Shara just
Run
all
it
over the place,
home.
creating havoc for Jackpot. 10 seconds
Jackpot.
left. They've got to just try to hang on. Can Phantom Thief
was a
organize
crazy
one
flick.
more push? No,
Nice.
they are just
Yeah, that's over.
outnumbering and cornering
Very
nice. Easy.
Phantom Thief. Jackpot.
Jackpot
they
win.
sets it. Yes, Jackpot picks up the 3rd game, and now they lead 3-1 in the best of 7, just 1 game away from
They're gonna
the
win.
championship. And Jackpot has now taken 3 straight off of Phantom Thief.
And you've gone through all 4 modes to get here too. There are no more questions to be answered
All right.
about if you prepped properly for the modes. Jackpot
I'm gonna
thinking
power
sends
nap.
it in this moment.
Okay.
And I want to again point out there that I don't think the game needed to be in. I don't think the game needed to be that dominant for Jackpot. It
Nope.
was that one mistake where they put all their eggs in one basket to take that 1 point, and we caught it right here. Came in here with the ink fact to try to make it happen. Super jumped everybody on that side, and it opened up everything from there.
And I really think, Nine, when you see the 1-point differential and just the thought of if we can just get the lead, all of a sudden we can play defense, I think Phantom Thief just panicked a little bit and overextended themselves and didn't think about how much time was still remaining because, to your point, they don't jump in and they're able to stop this push from Jackpot. It's a completely different game the final 2 minutes.
Sure, and again, look at it right here. It drops down here on this point. It gets to 22, but once it's in that point, it's in the danger zone. One pop is going to clear out a couple players, and it just gets away from you at that side, and it is all because they super jumped there in that side. And listen, I know you're trying to keep the pressure up. It's impossible to know how bad that's going to go from you in the heat of the moment, but it's just a couple critical mistakes that we've seen from the Phantom Thieves that have given Jackpot a couple of these games.
Correction, not 3 in a row over Phantom Thief, but 3 out of the last 4 for Jackpot after taking game 1, nearly won game 2. And so Phantom Thief came into these finals 9. They hadn't dropped a game yet. All of a sudden, Jackpot, who was on the brink, down 0-2 against Kaiser. And it was the final 30 seconds, it felt like, of Turf War as well, too, in game 5. They are standing on the precipice of a world championship. They're going to have 3 opportunities to try and close it out.
And you've given yourself the best chance to do so. Now, once again, we're going to see a run-through of the modes. These maps have all been predetermined. They've been set. No surprises at this point. We will only go to Turf War if it gets all the way to Game 7, but they're going to get another chance on tower control that they won on. They're going to get another
Splat
chance on
zones.
splat zones, which even though they lost on, I know Jackpot feels comfortable there. So we're going to start here, though, Jordan, on another really interesting map mode.
Splat Zones, Hammerhead Bridge. And a reminder, Splat Zones was game 2 on Flounder Heights, and that is the game that Phantom Thief of the Heart took off of Jackpot. And so both teams probably feel very confident here, but Hammerhead Bridge is not Flounder Heights.
No, it is not. This is maybe the most Splatoon 3 of Splatoon 3 maps in the sense that you've got a couple choke points that you are going to have to push all the way through. Everyone's going to put their pressure there on that side. But if you can fight through, you are rewarded with swaths of incredible inkage that you can then work through and attack the opponents, whereas they're not in a great spot to defend. So Hammerhead Bridge, a very interesting map to see in this position. Crab Tank was dominant here, and this is one of the few maps, Jordan, that you'll still see some teams bring 2 Crab Tanks to the party. At this point, though, I almost wonder if Jackpot has found their special sauce and isn't going to try to deviate too much. I would expect to see Jared, if any of them play a Crab Tank weapon, maybe go back over to those Splat Dualies. That's a great weapon that's been providing it for them. Leafy's weapon, I think, will be the interesting one to note here. She's been rotating around to a lot of different weapons, and all of her weapons are conventionally strong ones, so some answers to be found on that side.
Could this potentially be the final match of the Splatoon 3 World Championship 2024? Phantom Thief down 3-1. Splat zones, then tower control. You imagine if you're Phantom Thief, you're going to feel very confident if you can get to that Game 7 turf war. And if you are Jackpot, you really get the sense these are our next 2 best opportunities. We don't even want to get to tower control.
Sure.
We want to end it right here. Splat zones, Hammerhead Bridge, Jackpot, 1 game away. Is this their opportunity to claim the championship? They are locked and loaded. Phantom Thief, 1 last chance to stay alive. Let's go.
Interesting to note here, Jordan, Rahhhhhhh is not going back over to that Snipe Rider 5H. Instead, it's going to once again be that Rapid Blaster Pro. So they're going to have to do it with some burst damage there. Leafy charging right forward there, is happy to take a couple of shots. Jackpot all around them right now, has surrounded them. Jackpot in control and is pushing forward already. Jordan, they sense the moment.
Jackpot doesn't want to leave it to chance. They're moving forward. They've got a 20-point lead at this moment.
Nice.
Zipcaster, they're going to retreat and try to fortify their defensive efforts as that Ink Vac moves forward, and all of a sudden Phantom Thief has wrestled away control of the zone.
They took a couple members out there, but they're going to need a lot more sustained of an attack there, and they're going to need to do it cleanly. They got rid of Leafy there early on, so they should be in an okay position here, but I'm going to again continue to point out that Snipe Rider is going to be so difficult to turf over there while they're also trying to fight. Bit of a scramble near the zone. It is going to be a shift
Nice
up
2
the
down.
lead, but with their 2 fighting members down here, it should be Jackpot moving forward.
And they chase down Rahhhhhhh, but then down goes another member of Jackpot. Asanku gets the splat, and they're all over at 9. Phantom Thief so far showing a lot of offensive prowess midway through this.
Yes, and Jared landed and barely got away right there. It was almost a reverse situation where 2 members of Jackpot jumped into a bad spot. A missed opportunity there for Sanku. Jared, who has gotten away with just horrible deeds a couple of times here, getting out of these positions that you should not be able to, and Jackpot will once again get the benefit.
Jackpot's got control of the zone. They're chopping into that penalty. 2 members of Phantom Thief is down. They're moving forward, and all of a sudden you see .Q advancing with that Snipe Rider, just trying to provide a little bit more support on the other side. They claim the lead, does Jackpot, and they continue to build upon it as they have locked Phantom Thief out. With that Ink Vac is all of a sudden going to pause it for a moment. Not long enough. Jackpot marching forwards.
The one resource they have is Tsukuyomi did get behind them there, but he's going to get taken down before he can use that Zipcaster. Jordan, this is so close to going the distance right now. All the way pushed back here are the members of Phantom Thief. Jackpot has set up their traps on different sides of the map here. Here come the specials there, firing forward there. Will one go down? Can Leafy close out on this player? She is hiding in this position and will get taken out. 10 more seconds there. A few more pointing down. The Ink Vac going forward, and it will fire at the zone. It will take the zone. The Hail Mary shot will give Phantom Thief of the Heart one more chance.
4 seconds away was Jackpot, a 64-second penalty. 2.5 minutes left. We might just have to go the full time here because that's a lot of time. All of a sudden, Jackpot back in control, slowly chipping away at that penalty, and now they just need to regroup here, 9, take a deep breath, and try to close this out.
And I guarantee, Jordan, they feel totally fine with how that went. They have been controlling this game for a long time. Phantom Thief has not had any good looks at the zone here, and yes, Leafy's going to go down there, but she was tacticalered up. She's fine. Now the other members of Jackpot can get positioned. They're going to see a Trizuka out to try to find a couple of these players. Jordan, they are A-okay giving up a few more points.
Under 2 minutes left. You've got control for Phantom Thief here in just a moment as they try to threaten. They're finally out of their penalty. They're inching a little bit closer. 1:43 left. They lose control. Here comes Jackpot. They've got 50 seconds left in their penalty. Jackpot's got 2 members of Phantom Thief down, as Jackpot has now got all 4 members on the map, and they have got that wall built up. It's all sorts of pressure coming in from .Q.
Rahhhhhhh firing this ink vac once again. Everybody moving forward, though. That's that resource out of the way here, Jordan. They're going to swim forward. There's 20 penalty points left, and even fewer with that now. Another goes down here.
You're down.
They're diving.
Jackpot.
Sanku is going to
Paint
throw
zone.
these at the zone, but it's not going to be enough.
Jackpot
4
wins.
seconds,
I think
3
it's over.
seconds,
It's
2.
over. It's
It
over. It's
goes to
over.
the end, and Jackpot are your world champions from North America.
No way.
The journey is over. The pop-off is
GGs.
complete. That was their goal. That was what they set out to do. They had to overtake some of the most
Jackpot.
dominant teams in North America. They did it one step at a time.
Jackpot.
When they were threatened to almost
Jackpot.
be knocked out in the
Where's my fucking
semifinals.
soundboard?
Jackpot rises to the occasion
Jackpot
and
did
in
it.
dominant fashion leaves no doubt as they win the finals over Phantom Thief of the Heart and claim the first ever world championship
fucking-
for Splatoon 3.
And Jordan, they won every mode, too. Think about it. They won that last Splat Zone game. They won the Clam Blitz game. They won the Tower Control game. And they won the Rainmaker game. No funny business. No stronger on some modes than other. If you want to be a world champion, you have to be good at all of them. And you just look at the faces of Jackpot there. So elated there. I think Madness went through 3 bottles of water. And that set went on. They can't believe it, Jordan. All the effort that you put in to even get this opportunity, and then you still have to execute. And they faced all kinds of
I can't believe they
adversity
did it.
today. They dropped a game yesterday in their seeding. They almost didn't even
America
get a
beats
single win today.
Japan.
They almost went home with no victories on day 2 of this tournament. Instead, they come all the way back. And, I mean, for these players who have been putting in so much effort over and over, oh, my goodness, what a show they put on.
Now we'll get a chance to hear from the champions, their thoughts after this title.
Winning World Champs has been a dream of all of ours for over 7 years. To do it with these guys, it's an absolute dream, man. I'm so proud of all 3 of you. You guys are amazing. I love you all. And thank you all to the family, friends, and fans that have been supporting us for so long. We love you all. Thank you so much.
Just the love and adoration for all the support, all of North America. And they had so much help along the way. The number of teams that helped them scrimmage, and we've seen this team. 9, we remember calling their games when they were going by a different team name in some of these online matches where they were getting dropped out in the semifinals and not able to necessarily dominate everybody. But they got better and better and better. And to execute at this moment when their backs were up against the wall, the mark of a champion.
Winning Worlds, like you said, biggest dream. This is probably like the most stressful month of my life. We were honestly struggling a lot when we were playing other people, and to just like play good on stage, it felt amazing. I really wanted to win this. No cap.
Don't know the Japanese translation for no cap, but either way, the honesty of just this month, it is very stressful. You know this is looming, and listen, this is no surprise that we weren't sure what this was going to look like, this championship as well. But for this team to wait as long as they did and to prepare and to think about this for as long as they had to, then you come here in this moment and you execute and leave no doubt about it going 4-1.
Nothing like else to say. I mean, I think it's nice that me and Leaf are the first 2 women to win the world championship, which is pretty cool. And I also want to thank the JP teams and Western teams that were willing to practice versus us during this stressful month.
Yep, she says it right there. 2 women winning it. It's a very cool game, this Splatoon.
Oh.
They've worked very, very hard to make this game open and accessible for
What a
players
milestone.
of all ages and all
Right?
genders, all creeds, and it's just incredible, again, to see when hard work pays off. And like she said, a lot of teams helped them prep for this, and I know they really appreciated it.
It feels pretty amazing. The support we received is like indescribable. We like can't even put it to words how thankful I am for everybody. But yeah, thank you so much for supporting us, and I hope this is the era of Jackpot.
So 777's come
The
up
era
for
of
Jackpot, and
dude.
to do it in the way that they did, 9, and I go back to that semifinal set. against Kaiser, where Kaiser was huffing and puffing after those first 2 victories. All of a sudden, Jackpot, just something awoken in them, it felt like, and they were able to rise to another level and claim this championship.
Crossing my fingers
do it
for a Nintendo announcement.
for the first time for North America since arguably 2017. Historic when it comes to the scene of competitive Splatoon.
When they say 7 years, they mean it. All the effort, all the work, and on your screen right now,
Hello, sir.
Nogami-san
Nogami.
to present.
Wow.
What a trophy here, and Madness, hold it tight.
So just the joy, the jubilation, as they pointed out, I think what a lot of people don't realize is everything that happens behind the scenes to get to this moment. The preparation, all the hours, all the sacrifice, all the stress, all the thinking about it, and then you get to this day and to execute, and now the relief, the sense of joy, the sense of jubilation, and all of a sudden it completely changes the game when it comes to competitive Splatoon, because North America has made a statement. Give a lot of credit to Kaiser. Kaiser almost knocked this team out.
そうです。まず優勝チームの皆さん、本当におめでとうございます。素晴らしいチームワークだったと思います。マトネス選手、リーフィ選手の攻撃力ももちろんなんですけども、ジャイルズ選手も忍者のようなで相手が攻めてくるときでもしっかり潜伏して抑えるとか、あと Q 選手も味方が負けて前がやられてしまってもしっかり後ろから抑えるっていうすごいチームワークのすごいしっかりしたチームだなと思って、はい、見ていました。
I was about to say, if they understood him.
So Mr. Nogami-san with some words for Jackpot, the champions, and he went around and visited everybody, and just everybody's appreciation and adoration of Nogami-san and what this game has meant to everybody. And just the mutual respect to see it grow into what it's grown into has been pretty special.
Wow.
And that's one thing we talked about, the World Championship splash tag, a special splash tag featuring the winning team's Inklings and Octolings. Immortalized is the term that we like to say, as Jackpot will forever go down in Splatoon 3 lore.
Jackpot, you're a part of Splatoon 3 now. Nobody can take that away from you at any point. The trophy, it's great. The memories are great. And now to top it off, you are a piece of your favorite video game. Just don't be surprised when other people are wearing your T-shirt in the game, my friend, because we're if it's a publicly available splash tag, I mean, why not sport the colors of the world champion?
And well-deserved for Jackpot. We've talked about their journey, how they had to get here, and then, of course, this competition was so challenging. You look at what Kaiser did to them. I mean, don't get that lost at all as far as what Kaiser's been able to accomplish, as we see some of the other teams make their way onto stage, and just a wonderful 2 days of competition. And credit to Unadon and what they're able to do, and the first time representing South Korea, and then Smart Roast Chickens from Taiwan, and the Greasy Goblins making history for Australia, New Zealand. Of course, Phantom Thief of the Heart showing people just how strong of a team that they can be. And then Kaiser, of course, just surprising. But none of those teams were able to knock off Jackpot. And Jackpot, the ultimate winners, their flexibility. And I think you pointed it out well. When Don Q got back to that Snipe Rider, they look like a completely different team.
And that's what prep can do for you. When you have a few options that you can change, you can come back to, it really does make all the difference. But Jordan, you brought up something so big here, and I said this yesterday. 2 new regions here at the World Championship. One competitor for their region reaching new heights, and it really does let you know there's so much to this game. There's so much love for the game as the two give the heart for the world who has supported them, but there's no telling where we'll go from here, Jordan.
And that's what you want to see. You want to see more regions represented as this game continues to grow.
本当は放送に声が乗らないように声を出さないように静かに見ようと思っていたんですけど、もう毎試合ちょっと声を上げてしまうぐらい本当に熱い試合の連続でした。 まあそんな熱い試合の中でも結構選手の皆さんにこう笑顔が見られた、対戦の中で笑顔が見られたっていうのが本当に素晴らしかったなと思いまして。
That's one thing about Nogami's-san that we've appreciated throughout the years. He loves seeing the product, loves seeing the competition, makes sure to visit and say hi to everybody involved in everything, and it just means so much to him. It means so much to the competitors, that relationship that everybody has, that appreciation that everybody has to make Splatoon into what it has been in such a short period of time in the grand scheme of things when it comes to video games. What has happened from 2015 to now, it is a movement, 9.
An incredible movement it has been, and there's so much love, but today there is one champion. Jackpot, once again, a round of applause for you. Your very first Splatoon 3 world champion will live on forever in the history of Splatoon 3, in the game of Splatoon 3, and man, to come down from this, how do you go back to real life? How do you go back to
You don't. Your life changes from this point on, 9. You've got a splash tag as well. And so what a wonderful day of competition. We saw some unbelievable sets here, and it was capped off by Jackpot winning the championship. And 9, you have been such a big part of this game as well, too. And, you know, we get a chance to really check out one of these just great production things we've seen from this team involved with everything. Let's go ahead and check out again real briefly the sights and sounds of the last 2 days of competition. All these teams came so far. They've worked so hard to get to this point. And 9, what do you take away? Just the growth of this game and having it culminate in this championship over these last 2 days.
Well, it just makes me so hopeful for the future of this game as well. And listen, you don't get this far without incredible effort, as you said, but also without incredible love for the game, desire to push it forward and to grow. And Jackpot is a team that almost didn't even occur in Splatoon 3. There was a real question for them if they were going to reform from their other teams or if they were going to focus on other things. And, you know, them coming back together, I think, speaks to the spirit of what the competitive Splatoon scene is all about, which is that we love this game. We will continue to play it and push it as time has gone on. And you saw it today as these teams showed their stuff, gave each other everything they could handle.
And I would say, too, 9, that this is the best place the competitive scene has ever been in over the last 9 to 7 years for the most part, because the opportunity, this is a situation where a team like Jackpot that you mentioned might not even form. And this is a team that was taken to the brink today, just a couple of sloshes of ink away from being eliminated by Kaiser. There is so much talent out there that it is up for grabs any given year. And at this point, you've got to be excited if you are a team that maybe didn't compete here. All you are is potentially the very next Jackpot if you're willing to put in that work, that effort, and that sacrifice.
Well, and also, in the spirit of competition, there are a whole lot of teams out there today that are saying we can beat Jackpot.
Yep.
And you know what? There may be some teams that can. And that's what makes this so exciting, Jordan, is we're going to go back. There's going to be more community-run events. There are going to be more official events in the future, we hope. And you're going to get your chances to go at the world champion. And for Jackpot, you heard Leafy say it at the end. I hope this is the era of Jackpot there. They have their sights set on a big, broad future where everybody will remember this as their era. And listen, it's hard to get to the top, and it's even harder to stay there once everyone's coming at you.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Once you have the target on your back, you've given people something to aspire to and rise up to. We saw so many teams come here and really outperform their capabilities, and that's what was exciting. Everybody rose to a different level once they hit the big stage, and it sets a new path forward as far as the possibilities in this scene. And you're thrilled for a team like Jackpot. We know how much that's meant to them just coming from North America as well. They come here and they're able to deliver on a life-changing moment.
You only get so many chances at this, Jordan. I mean, years ago when you and I worked the World Championship in 2019, this was becoming a yearly endeavor there, and we just foolishly assumed that we'll be back here, see you next tournament, same time, same place, and we will fight it out. Once again, we'll crown another world champion here, and you just never know which opportunity will be your last, when something will change, when a team will disband. Even when the lifetime of Splatoon 3, Jackpot isn't even the first team to become dominant. there have been so many teams that have come and gone even in the first couple of years of Splatoon 3's lifespan. So difficult to hold on and, man, keep going back to the end of this game. As it ended off, and this is the tournament changer right here, how this ended.
It was the best of 5, Game 5, Humpback Pump Track Turf War. We have never seen this type of excitement from Jackpot. You would have thought they won the championship there, but they understood just how close they were to getting knocked out and the great sportsmanship. And that set the stage just around the corner, as well as we saw Phantom Thief of the Heart steamroll their way through the semifinals. They looked unbeatable, hadn't dropped a game at all as they were getting set for the finals. And this was a team that looked determined to claim the championship on their home turf, and you weren't sure what they were going to bring to the table. A team that was so talented at Turf War. What was it like when we got to the ranked modes? Well, not much change. They looked very, very good.
Yep, they'd certainly lived up to the billing in their semifinal, and I know for them, they felt that they had a lot to prove coming into this event as well. Again, winning Koshin, a very, very difficult task, but it's so difficult to continue that over and over in these ranked modes against Jackpot in these longer sets, and a team that feels like they get stronger as time goes on, and as the waning moments came into the game, there's just not any answer for what Jackpot was doing at that time. They were on a new level, and I mean, you could see them right there. They were at the back of the stage. They couldn't believe it. Arms in the air, hugs all over.
And I think what really struck out to everybody was the fact that they mentioned how much they sacrificed to get to this point and to claim that championship after all the hard work, the hours of practice and scrims. And here it is, your champions. You can breathe a sigh of relief. It means the world. And so thank you so much again for joining us. Some unbelievable sets as we cap off the Splatoon 3 World Championship 2024 for Jordan Kent and for Nine, and for our wonderful crew behind the scenes, our wonderful hosts here. What an event it was. But the world belongs to Jackpot, your champions this year. They are the victors as they now get a chance to celebrate. From all of us here, take care, and we'll see you next time.
Can't believe they've done it.
Okay. It is 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, go to bed.
No,
No
I'm gonna go for a
announcement?
jog.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.